You're listening to the Gamecasters.
Natalie, Jeff, and Ryan are the Gamecasters, and they do a board game show, inboxes, and nooks and games, and top 5 lists, and sometimes there's fart jokes. Hey there, Gamecasties, and welcome back to episode 130 of the Gamecasters, the show so crazy and redonk that you have to be a loon just to listen. Yes, while we're a bit unhinged, unbalanced, and unstable, we're also sometimes pretty hinged, balanced, and stable. You never know quite what you're going to get with us. Well, okay, that's not true. You know exactly what you're going to get with us, don't you? We're going to say fuck. We're going to make dick, sex, and fart jokes. Probably more than you're used to. We're going to interrupt each other a lot with something we think is funny that needs to be let out right now. We're going to laugh a lot. We're going to then undermine all of that by somehow talking seriously about our thoughts on games or other topics. We're not for everybody. We're maybe not an essential. But for the people we are for, we're it. We're like Twilight Imperium, I think. It takes forever, and lots of crazy shit happens along the way, and most people want nothing to do with us because the swings and the time investment, but others only want to play us and would set aside time just to play us if they had enough people who would also play us. I have a little poem I wrote about us called Fuck, Fuck, Shit, Shit.
Okay, that sounds good.
That I feel encapsulates what you're in store for if you listen to us.
I think so.
Fuck, fuck, shit, shit, balls, balls, ass. I have some gas I need to pass. Fuck, shit, shit, vagina. Do we like games? Yeah, no, duh. Fuck, shit, shit, laugh, laugh, sing. Play some games. Bell goes ding. Fuck, shit, shit, segments thrive. Inbox, beatdown, nook, top 5. Fuck, shit, shit, serious. Show so long, delirious. That's
well done. Your poem writing skills.
Thank you. Yeah. Okay. I could do some slam poetry, I think. Maybe I'll take that out to an open mic.
I think you should.
Oh, boy.
Listen up, children. Gather around, children. This one's called Fuck, Fuck, Shit, Shit.
Usually when people read poems, too, like stuff like that, it's all just like serious and like this. And
yeah,
you would come up like, fuck,
shit, shit, balls, balls, ass.
That'd be great. I would
kids,
pay
raise
lots
your
of
glass.
money to hear that. I would go to that. I think lots of people would go to that.
Yeah.
One night only. Fuck, fuck,
Instead
shit,
of
shit.
this, the crowd would just go wild. Like,
Yeah.
The cops would arrest me. Before we get started, I'd like to get a bit sappy for a second. We've been doing the show, for about 5 years now, which is crazy to think about. It started technically back in 2016, but that was a different show than this. The Gamecasters, as it is today, really didn't start until 2019. And since then, we've been pretty consistently shoving ourselves down your throats for 3 hours every other week, and you've taken it all like professionals. We only release about 26-ish times per year. We're not a weekly show, and we don't do video, and we're not the best about marketing ourselves. And despite all of that, we finally reached a number of downloads that I feel extremely proud of. Last week, you guys, we crossed 100,000 all-time downloads.
Woo! Where's the clapping thing?
Oh, I was going to do the snaps again.
Snap.
Yeah, snap. Keep snapping until I find it.
Snapping,
there it is.
snapping.
yay. Thanks, everybody. Thanks.
Thank you.
Seriously, that is crazy good.
That's
It's a number
awesome.
for us to be proud of. For some reason, most people in the podcast space don't talk about their download numbers. I don't know why, but for some reason, it's not a thing. Like it is on YouTube. We're on YouTube. You can see very transparently how many subscribers, views, likes the channel has.
You're right. So we don't know how we compare really to most.
Yeah, for some reason, nobody does it, and they're extremely guarded about that. And I don't really understand why. Well, I'm going to break that cycle a bit and share our lifetime stats up to now in a high level because I feel like our growth is the most exciting part of this 5-year journey. So, you guys, from 2016 with Inception, okay, me and Jeremy, we put out 10 episodes. I alone put out 2 more in the next 2 years.
Yeah.
Until the beginning of 2019, we had about 1,000 total downloads. Okay. The show, like I said, only had 12 episodes in that time, so it's not really surprising.
So you were about 100 downloads an episode.
Yeah, on average.
In that, sure.
Yep,
Okay.
if you average it out, for sure. In 2019, we had 3,000. Which at the time felt incredible. Okay, Jeff joined the show. Natalie and Jeff both joined the show in 2019, and we tripled in 1 year that we did our last 3. Okay, that's the thing in all of this is that each step of the process we felt like we had arrived. I remember, and it only just kept going. In 2020, we jumped up to 10,000 downloads. In 2021, we went up again to 13,000. In 2022, we skyrocketed to 28,000.
And then 2023 was our best year yet with 43,000 downloads.
Wow.
And we are on pace right now. I mean, it's only the beginning of February, but we're on pace to exceed those numbers of 2023 already in 2024.
Oh my goodness.
Hot damn.
That's so cool.
So hitting 100,000 is a milestone that really just feels like something we can attach our growth to. Normally, I want to attach my growth to Natalie.
Yeah, you do.
But this time,
That was there.
But this time,
About halfway through, I got, yep, this is going to happen. Yep.
I didn't fail you.
Yeah.
We're incredibly thankful for each and every listener we get and for the community that has built up around us. It still feels completely surreal when someone reaches out and tells me they found us and can't stop listening. That never gets old to me and always humbles me to my knees. Normally, I want to get humbled onto my knees by Natalie.
Yeah, there you go.
But seriously, we keep making content
Ryan.
and people keep listening. So on behalf of Jeff and Natalie, the person I like to go down on, thank you all for your support, engagement, and downloads. The only reason we keep going is because of you guys. Every time someone lets us know that they enjoy what we do, it just fuels us to go on for another 10 episodes or so. So we got about 7 left before we need to do
coming.
it again.
What was it, a few days ago, someone just joined the Discord and was like, people ask me at work why I'm just laughing in my own
Those are my
cubicle or whatever.
favorite things.
It was like,
Yeah,
that
and they
was
found
great.
us just a few months ago, and it's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm laughing
you're one
so
of the
hard,
newer
and I have
ones.
to,
Yay.
you know, like, oh my god, they come over and they're like, "What's going on?" I feel like we get that
Like I'm listening to a board game
a
podcast.
lot. Yeah,
Yeah, I'm like,
a lot. So what's up with you guys?
I don't know. Natalie, what's up with you?
Well, in 2 weeks, I'm going to Jamaica.
Jamaica, mom.
Oh,
Yeah.
this is news to Ryan.
Yeah, I never heard about it. You know
That's
somehow,
right.
Jeff.
I knew,
but
I
I didn't.
Surprise,
Holy cow!
Ryan.
Wow.
You're watching the dogs.
You're
for
taking
me,
the dogs
right?
with you. No, you're taking the dogs with you.
Who are you going with and why?
I'm going with my mom.
Ew, why?
Okay. Why?
Because she goes every year, and she's been wanting me to go with her the last few years, and I've always turned her down. And then she's basically like, I'm going, so if you want to go, like, you don't have to pay for the place because I'm going either way. You just pay for your plane ticket and
all my food.
and your food stuff. And so this
And
year,
the place.
this year I was desperate. This year I was desperate enough to go on like a tropical vacation.
Oh, poor Natalie is
Desperate
desperate enough to
So
go
desperate to go to Jamaica. I'm too desperate. I gotta go to
Is it all
Jamaica.
inclusive or is it?
No, it's not all inclusive.
This reminds me of when we interviewed Gamey Lannister. Do you remember this all the way,
was a long
way
time
back?
ago.
And he was like, for my birthday, my friends surprised me on a trip to Europe.
Yeah.
They
Like, oh.
kidnapped me in the middle of the night to Europe. I was like, I do not identify with you, man.
No,
I
we're not
cannot
the same.
relate to that.
We're not from the
cheaper
same
because I have to
planet.
pay for the place to stay. But I mean, the plane ticket was still very expensive, and yeah. Anyways, so I got my passport this past fall, and
Have you never had a passport?
I have. It was
Oh,
expired.
it was dead.
And
Got
so
it.
I just
I've never had a passport.
You don't like planes.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to Canada.
That was when you
Through a
can just
car. You
use
didn't need a
your
passport back then.
license, yeah.
Yeah. Do you need a passport
or you're
now?
an infant. No, I think you can just use your license.
Okay.
Yeah.
If we have the
Or a
Super
birth
one?
certificate?
yeah, the super license.
Yeah, or a birth certificate. Yeah, the super
Yeah.
license.
You just need a birth certificate.
Maybe.
It's not mine.
I don't
It's just
remember. I haven't been to Canada in a while.
Yeah, I found
found
this
it.
one.
Yeah.
Can I
Yeah.
use that?
Well, actually, my passport was expired, but I also lost it.
Oh,
so
okay.
In
it was
addition
kind of
to.
annoying
So now the
because
person that found it can't be you.
it was kind of annoying because I couldn't just renew it because I lost it.
Yeah.
I had to like do a different whatever. Anyways, I did it. It's done. I'm going to Jamaica. I'm very excited.
You gonna send me all them bikini pics?
God, what is
that's a
Ryan?
little
How long are you
awkward.
gone for?
Like a week.
Let's just talk about what Ryan's gonna do for a week.
Masturbate.
all by himself in the house.
It's funny too because like
He's
during
just gonna jack off
all day.
fucking day.
I just bought 3 bottles of lube. I'm just gonna go
bottles of
through them.
lube.
I got different ones so I can try which one's
Yeah, right,
slidier.
Yep. Slidier. This one has a slidey scale. That's about
extremely-
8 out of 10 on the slidey scale. Ooh,
What's that?
this
What's
one
about
4
7.5?
out of 10.
Oh, man, that's not very
the
slidey.
slidiness on this one ran out
But the
way too
stickiness
quick.
scale, it's a slide to sticky ratio that you really need with a good bottle of lube.
there's just gonna be like a BP episode
BP.
of you
Just
rating
wipe it.
lube.
Every episode is just like, I tried another lube today.
Gross.
All of a sudden, nobody's on
Yeah,
Patreon
Patreon
anymore.
Patreon backers. We thought we had too many of you, so here come Ryan Jerkoff Adventures.
I tried Harry Palm's glide action today, and it didn't go very well.
Harry Palm's glide
Oh my
action.
god! But yeah, that's mainly what's going on with me. I'm getting ready for that, and I'm very excited
Sorry, when do you leave?
for
You
the
leave in 2 weeks?
sunshine. Yep, the
So episode
24th.
131's canceled.
Yeah, I now have 131.
So I leave
131
on,
might just be the two of us.
Yeah,
I leave on
so
like Saturday, and I come home on a Friday.
sweet the day before.
Go back in time.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I think Jamaica's in a different time zone.
Yeah,
so
so technically you're losing a
fly
day.
really fast around the other side of the world. It spins and you lose a day. Then you just have to come right back.
You lose a day.
Yeah.
That's the way to get younger.
Yeah, that's it.
We've just found the eternal youth. That's
it.
Just go to a different time zone. Come back that way.
Random TV show. Devin and I are halfway through because it's every week is coming out. But True Detective, there's a new
I heard the new
season
one
of
is
True
great.
Detective.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
great so far. It feels like
The original.
1 and 3.
Yeah,
Two
the
was-
second one's terrible, right?
2 with Vince Vaughn was not great.
So who's in this one?
Jodie Foster
Oh,
and that's it.
Really?
No,
Okay,
there's another-
there is somebody
I feel
else,
like
and
I
I
saw
can't.
like a thing.
I can't put
remember.
my finger on.
yeah. You can't put your finger
My
pad
little
on
fingy.
it.
Yeah,
I'll look it up while you speak.
20
But
Momo.
it's like takes place in Alaska. So they're going through like all day of night kind of thing, and it's just this like cold, frigid.
That I like that kind of stuff.
It's cool.
That kind
Yeah.
of stuff's awesome. That's why Fargo's so great.
Yeah, and they have just like the other ones. There's like a hint of spiritual might not be the right word, or supernatural almost.
Yeah.
If you kind of remember the first one, it was there was some like overly like religious, spiritual sort of
Overtones.
undertone. It's been.
I just remember
it's great.
Daddario's
Oh man, that was
Oh my
honkers.
God.
that was such a good season.
Yeah, a couple good
Yeah,
seasons
it's a
there.
couple- all in one season. There was a couple good
Yeah, there's
seasons.
a couple good.
Yeah, and then Daddario had to she was like pretending to sleep with Woody Harrelson.
That's crazy. Go Woody.
Like if she'll sleep with him, I think we all
got a shot.
I think we all have a shot.
Hey, if you're listening to Dario in a couple weeks, you can come test out some lubes.
Did you hear we hit 100,000 downloads? What do you think about that?
For our board game podcast.
I did tell.
Daddario.
So I was hanging out with a friend yesterday, Dave, and I was like, he's like, so how's it going? I'm like, good. I'm like, we hit 100,000 downloads on our podcast, and he looked at me like, wow. Like,
Wow,
almost like
this is a legit thing
sarcastically,
you're
this
doing.
stupid little podcast you've been doing is doing okay.
What do you think about that, measles?
Right. Yeah, he was like,
so he didn't say it in like,
wow.
wow, I don't care.
No, because so
He's probably
him,
like, wow, this is like a legit thing.
both him and Chris, these are like my high school best friends. They are not board gamers. They never got into board games, so they miss us.
Yeah.
They don't listen to us. Chris will listen to us occasionally. He'll listen to us, and he'll actually tell me, he'll be like, "Oh, I was listening, and you said this thing that was really funny, and let's talk about it and stuff." But he doesn't really care about the games part, and so neither does Dave. Dave's kind of like almost completely out of it. So I think it surprised him a little bit, which basically was me thinking he was saying, "Good job, I'm proud of you."
Yeah.
But really, it was just like, "Wow,
Wow. All in one word. It was pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
I was like, "Aw."
You just know him well
Yeah.
enough to know.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, like, "Aw, Dave, thanks." Aw.
Thanks, pal. Thanks.
Yeah, and then we kissed.
Yeah, that was good.
What?
Yeah.
At a daddy-daughter date?
I was the daddy.
We assigned roles. We drew straws.
You're gonna be daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yuck. Yeah. Okay. So, is that any other shows, Jeff, or just True Detective
Well,
you guys been into?
That's kind of it. We've been like at the standstill. We started a couple shows and we didn't really get into them.
Yeah.
We're watching this. A shout out for Amanda. I talked about the show Traders before. We like paused on the current season of Traders because
Is that the one that you talked about with the reality show stars
Yeah,
that are
it's
in
like
it?
Werewolf, right? It's like
Yeah.
a giant
Right.
game of
Yeah,
Werewolf.
we saw like trailers for it, I think, when we had Peacock
Yeah,
for like a
yeah,
month.
because they pushed that because I
Right.
think it might be only on Peacock, and they so we stopped that. We stopped watching it because we wanted to like pile up. I was getting sick of waiting weekly to
Oh,
see
yeah.
it.
Yep.
So we decided to go
hard
back
to
and
do.
watch. There's a UK version and there's an Australian version. So we're watching season 1 of the UK, which is show's great. It's
So
fun. If you-
same premise, just different
except-
people.
And in the UK and the Australia one, there's no reality stars. They're just regular people.
Oh,
Versus
okay.
the US one is
Yeah.
some combination of the two or mostly the reality stars.
Well, staying in Australia, if we can, we're
just
watching this
watched-
show. You want to talk about
We
it?
finished it.
We finished it.
I don't care.
it's over.
Well, we finished it today, but yeah, there's a show we watched on Netflix called Boy Swallows Universe.
You
It's
heard of
based
that?
on
Okay,
a book.
yes. We looked at it. We didn't start it, but it
Oh
was
my
on
gosh.
like our.
You should watch it. It's very good.
It's good.
Is it really heavy?
Yep.
It feels like a
Yeah.
heavy emotional
You know what though?
show.
It
It
is,
and
but
it
it's
isn't.
not.
Yeah, like
It didn't give me the emotional. I wasn't like, fuck.
oh
Okay.
no,
Was it
yeah.
draining?
Well, it's
No,
also,
it did not-
It's a
that's
limited
exactly right. It
series.
didn't
It's only
drain me.
7 episodes, and then it's done. But I mean, yeah, there's some like heavy stuff in it, but also at the same time, it's just like
It's pretty. I don't think like we just talked about. I don't think it's going to drain you because I know
No.
exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
I know what you mean too.
By heavy show. It's really good. The acting is
It is
great.
Yeah, it's Australian. It takes place
it's
in
very
Australia.
Australian.
And yeah, I mean, we just fell in love with like all of the characters. And
That'll be
To the point where, okay, I'm not going to, this isn't spoiling. There was one thing that happened in the finale. I yelled.
oh my God.
Viscerally.
He even shot his arm up in the air like, no!
I was like, no! And I was like, as I did that, I was like, oh my God, what happened? That
where
just
am
came
I?
out of
Yeah.
me. Yeah, like, what the hell happened? It was like,
Like that's how like attached
that's how
to them
attached,
we were.
yeah, to the characters in the show are really well done. And what I liked about it, that I'm not going to say, again, I'm not going to spoil anything. What I enjoy about a show like this, so I'll give you the high level overview. It's about basically these two boys, and they grow up in Australia, and their parents are kind of, how do you say it? Like, they're like into drugs.
yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot
That's
of
probably the
you could
best
say
way
like
to say
that.
it. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're kind of like into drugs.
They're not necessarily like super addicts. They're just into them.
I just enjoy them.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like a hobby for them.
Yeah.
No,
I used to do drugs. I still
do, but I used to too. So they are, they're just like, it's not like a typical, family environment that you're.
Yeah. Well, I think the very first scene of the show kind of shows you that
Sets the tone.
shows you that like something bad's gonna go down related to a drug
Right.
situation.
So
a drug
essentially,
deal.
something bad goes down. These kids are basically kind of living impoverished, and they have to kind of fend
their
for
life's
themselves.
kind of fucked up because
Yeah, their lives are really fucked up,
yeah.
right? And so that's the part where it's kind of, the themes are heavy in that way. But the show has a lot of levity and a lot of,
Yeah.
it doesn't take itself too seriously, I feel like. And it's got some really heartwarming moments.
very heartwarming. The main character is this little boy who I think he's supposed to be like 13 in the show, and he's like impressive as an
Yes,
actor.
he is very
and
impressive.
he's very like likable and lovable.
Here's what I was trying to get at before with, it's heavy, right? But what I liked about this was they don't cast the drug dealing addict people, whatever, in a very tropey light. They're humanizing them.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you don't just immediately root against these characters. You know what I mean? Because of that.
Yeah,
it's not like,
you're more
we're
just like-
growing up in a house and our parents are addicted to drugs, so they're beating us and they hate us. And you know what I
Right,
mean?
no,
Like, where
it's
it's
not-
not
yeah.
like typical stuff like that. You can tell that they're actually like human
you
beings.
kind of feel for them because you're like, oh man, they've got it. Like I feel bad for them. Like they're trying to do their best, but they're just falling.
they're
into
making
this
wrong
thing.
decisions or doing bad stuff.
Yeah, that's
And
how
so
more.
that's my
how
favorite
you
part
feel.
about the show is I was really able to resonate with all the characters. It wasn't just tropey, kind of caricatures.
Over the top.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just
Right.
like, okay, I can tell these are the bad guys and these are the good guys. I don't like it when shows do that. I like it when it's more gray or it's just like it feels real.
Yeah.
And this definitely had some ridiculous moments in it, but it definitely feels like you just feel for these characters, all of them, not just the ones that are quote unquote
Yeah.
the good guys.
We watched
Yeah.
the last episode today, and we were like, oh man. Like
Yeah, I was
because
like,
it was
this is
over,
it?
we
It's
were like
over?
so.
Yeah.
I was like, is it coming back for season 2? And it's like, no.
Yeah, because it's just based
Maybe
on
that's
one
a good
book.
thing.
I know.
agree.
I know.
But
It
still,
is.
it's you.
But
It was
we
just,
were
I was
so
so sad.
into
You're right.
it.
Because
We were
it
just
could have
like-
let us down,
Yeah,
if it kept
I
going.
don't really see how it could keep going. And
I mean,
be
it would
as
have to
good.
be.
Yeah.
It would have. Yeah, they'd have. Well, because especially considering they based it all. It was like one novel, and they based it on the whole novel. So it's like,
Yeah.
well, if they went and did a season 2, they'd be going rogue,
Yeah,
which is
no.
not.
It said it was a limited
story.
series, so I think it's just like a
I
one.
think you
and
would like it,
done.
Jeff.
one.
I don't think
Okay.
it's going to drain you
No,
like we talked about.
I don't think so either.
I think we'll watch it. We'll put it on the list because we're really just watching, and us watching Traders is like an easy background show as
Yeah.
I'm playing my RG353V.
Are you
which I'm playing.
Are you still on Symphony of the Night?
Yeah, so what happened in Symphony of the Night is I've been exploring, and I'm like, okay, cool. And it's one of those games you like reach a point, and you're like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And then
Yep.
you find something
then you
that
can now
turns me into
unlock
mist, and now I
everything.
can go into this.
Yeah,
So
the
I'm
mist.
a bat, right?
Yep.
And the bat was the coolest thing. You fly around the whole fucking place.
Yep.
And then, so as I was exploring, I found the room that what's-his-face was in that I
Richter.
need to kill, and I killed him. And then
End
the game ends. I was
Yep.
like,
You're like, no, I gotta go back.
but I don't want to. So then when you reload it, you are like, it's
Yeah,
over.
at the save. Oh, you're not at the save before.
Maybe you're at the save before, or maybe I did do that. Anyway, the RG353V allows you to just
Save
save
state.
state. So I went back basically and save stated it, and then went through.
So did you do the
I'm still
upside down
going
castle?
through. I haven't got to that yet.
Okay.
I think when I saved it, it shows like your percentage. I think I have like 75% of the castle.
of the first castle.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it hasn't flipped because I know it technically would be like 200% is what you're looking for.
Right. You can even go above that.
I just
which is
went
crazy.
down. Yeah, I'm kind of. I need to figure out how to be able to go in the water without getting hurt
Yep.
and drowning.
Yep, you will.
And I think I'm in the catacombs. I think that's where I need to be. So I'm down there doing stuff.
Isn't it so fun?
And yes, and there's also some things in that game where I've Googled a handful of things.
You're going to have to.
And I imagine like the people that are playing this game on PS1 for the first time. What the fuck are you doing?
How?
Right? Okay, so Natalie, there's this thing in the game. You hit start and you can go and like equip your guy with all this shit. And there's this little gray box that says spells. Okay?
Okay.
You don't have any. Okay?
Okay.
And then in order to get these spells, you happen to have walked around randomly and pushed the right combination of buttons, and then the spell just shows up in your book. So as you're walking around, you happen to hit up, down, left, right, this, that, this, sideways, boom, and then you get a spell.
But you have no idea.
You had no fucking idea. You can buy some of like you if you end up talking to you go to the library, you can buy I don't think you can buy all of them.
I don't know. I use like
wrong.
Dark Metamorphosis, and I never really use the spells too
Dark
much.
Metamorphosis and that fire, but you don't need to.
Yeah, the fire one.
Because
Yeah.
I went in and whooped Richter's ass.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even close to being done with the whole thing. I had good stuff.
Yeah, you
But I'm
destroyed
like,
him.
at least I know I can whoop his ass now.
Yeah.
So when I feel like I'm at another point, I'll go back and kick
What's
his
another
ass.
thing is like getting to that second castle. You have to get these glasses. You'll
Yeah.
Google it because you're just not going to know.
Yeah.
You have to get these glasses, and then you go to Richter wearing the glasses, and then like he kind of like goes away,
Yeah.
and then it's like,
And
how
there's
would you
some things
fucking
where
know
it's
that?
like,
Yeah, how
you're in
how
this
does
clock
anyone know?
room.
Yeah, the time on the
if people
clock.
are not playing this game, this is a 40-year-old game. Shut
Yeah,
up.
it's right. It's been spoiled.
Yeah, it's 30 years old. But anyway, there's this one room where it's like, all right, you can go up the left side. It's the clock room. You can use the bat and fly up one side, fly up the other side. And it's like, how do you get up the middle? You happen to just be wearing the gold and silver rings, and the thing just opens. And it's like, how the fuck are you supposed to know that
And the
you're in
right
those
side,
two
the only
rings?
way to get on the right side is to use that time thing to stop time at the certain time. Yeah. So there's like a clock with hands, and the left side only opens on when the hands are in like the right spot.
Like every other minute,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah,
but it's just
like
like, how would people know that? And I guess that's maybe they pushed the Game Facts book or whatever that thing was forever. But now people have put it online. But I'm like, my God, this is insane.
Right.
So anyway, we watch Traders while I play that.
Oh, that's awesome.
We're looking for a show that we can like watch because we don't need Traders. I can just
I
listen
feel like
to.
this show, after the very first episode, we were like, okay, that was good.
Yeah.
And we wanted to like keep going.
Did you finish Poker Face?
Yep.
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We
Yep.
did.
Ran through
Pretty
it.
good, right?
Ran through it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it. Yeah,
Yeah.
it reminded me of like House. How it was
Yeah.
like every episode is kind of the same. I had some wishes. I was like, man, I wish they would advance the story more than they are.
Yeah.
They didn't really
Like
advance
the
it.
main story?
Yeah, I remember there was like 3 episodes that went by, and I was like, we have not seen or heard from Benjamin Bratt
guy.
in forever. Like,
Maybe
where is
season
he?
2. Maybe they'll try to.
Yeah. But no, I really enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
think Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah, I like her.
I think she's a good actress. I don't know why she has to have that same hairstyle and everything she does.
I know her hair looks
I know.
so awful.
Every single
What her
yeah.
hair is. Oh, this is what you get.
Yeah.
The people
like, no, that's who I am.
who do her hair probably like, there's nothing we can do.
I
So
can't
we're
do
just
anything
gonna make
for
it
it,
look
sorry.
crazy.
It almost looks like a wig. It's so crazy.
It looks so like fried.
Yeah.
Like
and frazzled and like
Yeah.
like she went into a car wash without the
Yeah.
car.
Yeah.
And then came out and
Although,
was like, that's
I
it.
mean, I think okay, this episode she's clearly like a kind of a chaotic person, and
This show.
or the show, and then in Orange Is the New Black, she's in
also
a prison,
chaotic.
so she's kind of
But it's exactly the same hairstyle.
It's the
yeah.
same.
So that was kind of makes sense. The
Did
only
she have
other-
that hairstyle in American Pie?
That's the only other thing I can remember her in, and I don't
I
remember.
wonder.
I don't think she does.
I don't think she does either. I
Yeah.
think
Wait,
it's kind
there's
of
no way she
poofy.
kinda
I'm gonna
looks
look it
like
up.
I think it's poofy, but it doesn't look as like dirty and disgusting.
Yeah. There's no way.
American
Look it up.
Pie. Natasha.
I want to see.
No, she's got
No,
like
it's
curly
like-
hair.
yeah, it's
like
pretty-
curly.
it's pretty normal.
That's right. It's like just regular curly.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That is funny.
But I feel like even in like interviews and stuff, like it doesn't look that nice.
I think that's just kind of who she is.
I guess that's just the way she was like, I'm going to use all of my resources into personality, and I'm going to put 0 of them into
Yeah.
my hair.
Yeah.
She's
There
got a
you go.
really
Done.
unique
She has
like
to allocate.
like voice too. She does that whole like
It's like raspy.
like
and,
yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like vocal fry,
Yeah.
right? And she's in her mid-4s, so come on, Natasha. So, Jeff, let me ask you this question.
Yeah.
Have you been playing any games?
Yep.
I'd like to hear
What
about
other
one,
questions?
please.
Yeah.
That's the only
Yeah,
one.
Okay. Yep.
Next.
And that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah. We'll see you next time.
That's going to do it for us
And
tonight,
that's gonna
everybody.
do it. We'll see you back for 131 without Natalie because she's in Jamaica.
I hope you come back with an accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
That would be so
Like, I want
good.
you to be like Michael Scott. I want you to have a little bead
Yep,
in your
we're
hair.
tying a little bit. You
and I want
have
to
a
be
steel drum.
feeling hot, hot, hot. And then that's all you know from it. That's all I want.
Like, or just like a very slight accent. Like, so I was going there, man, and I didn't. And like, what? Did you just say, man?
Did you just man us?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, just I picked some things up, man. You like have a bobsled jersey.
Bob Marley shirt.
Yeah. You come back with a tattoo of a Bob Marley song.
I already have that.
Okay.
Let's hear about games.
Okay, listen. There's this motherfucker named Sam.
What a motherfucker.
Okay.
Boy
Boy
Sam or
Sam.
girl Sam?
This is Boy Sam.
Boy Sam.
Now,
Meeple.
Boy Sam.
Don't play it.
We met him as Don't Play an 8, which we misunderstood his thing,
Yep.
but ours was better.
It was.
And then he became the McMeeples.
Yep.
And now our young Sam is growing up. And he's growing up into a board game designer / publisher thing.
Fuck.
Okay, he's it.
Yeah.
How?
Ryan's even in
this
tears over this.
Sam
He's so proud of
motherfucker-
him.
So proud of you, Sam.
I'm so proud. This Sam kid, he's a kid.
He is a kid.
fucking
He's a
kid.
young motherfucker.
Yeah.
Is he in his twos?
He's in his twos.
I think he is in his
Exactly.
twos.
He looks like he's in his twos.
I think he's in his twos. His late twos, I
twos.
suppose.
Yeah,
but
late twos probably. What was I talking about?
I don't know.
Sam. Okay.
Oh.
So I don't know how many
Girl Sam?
episodes ago that Ryan talked about this game. So I'm going to talk about the game
5 to 10-ish.
Everstone. Yeah, maybe 20. Who knows? It
Yeah.
could be like, I feel like it could be 100.
Could be
episodes
hundreds
ago.
episodes ago.
So
Maybe
Ryan talked
200.
about a game Everstone, which again, designed by Sam McMeeple Publishing, and Kickstarter is actually going to hit on
Wait,
Tuesday
is
morning.
it McDavitt Publishing?
McDavid.
McDavid? Or is it McMeeple?
It's McDavid.
I thought it was McMeeple Publishing.
Oh.
Shit.
I think it's McDavid.
I think it is
Maybe
too.
it's McDavid. Let's go with
think
that.
it
2 out of
is.
3. Okay.
Yeah, but
Now we're looking it
we
up.
were wrong about the way you pronounced it last time. You were right. I think
I can like picture.
it says
a post-
McDavid Publishing.
Okay, McDavid Publishing.
Yes.
So the I guess the MP threw me off. Anyway.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I would have thought McMeeple
So-
as well. It's McDavid.
So Sam has been working on this game for, I don't know, what do you think, 2 years?
If that. Lucky
know.
Really?
motherfucker.
That's
He's
it?
not lucky. He's not
Probably
lucky.
like 2.5 weeks.
Oh,
Okay.
damn.
He's been working on this for about He's been working on
Yesterday
it for a month
afternoon.
and a half. Yeah. Okay. And
Just whip something together.
I remember playing this game with him on TTS probably like really early, I
Yeah.
think, in the
Yeah.
whole design process. And I told him, I was like, this is fun.
You got something here.
And then I was lucky enough, he sent me one of his prototypes. Actually, I think it bounced around a few times, and now it's with me because it's going to go to Nerdfests in April.
Hell yeah.
So I was able to get like the physical copy and sort of see all these massive changes that have kind of happened. So I think what we're going to do with this game is I'm going to talk about the game a little bit, tell you what I feel like. The two of you have also played this game.
Yes.
Ryan's played it multiple times. Very familiar with the game, and sort of like a preview for the Kickstarter, which is on Tuesday.
Tuesday.
So if you feel like going
February
out and
13th.
yeah, maybe just do it like that. February 13th. And
February
not
13th.
Tuesday.
Yeah.
So,
February 13th, 2024.
2024. February 13th, 2024. Everstone hits Kickstarter. Okay. You are the role. Did you know this about do you know the theme?
I sure do.
Okay, good. Natalie, do you? Listen.
Nope.
Okay.
Only without
You are the
Ignis.
role of, you take the role of like a first Pathfinder to arrive in some undeveloped land. Okay, it's kind of what you're doing. So if you're playing 4 people, the 4 of you all show up at the same time. And what you do is you travel around the area, you make influence, you trade with pioneers, you harvest land, you repair relics, all to gain reputation. And this game is a race to 10 points, which is reputation. Think Dune or Alien Frontiers. What other games do that? Those are the 2 that always come to my head.
Scythe? I think does Scythe do that?
Scythe does that, but you're like
the
getting
stars,
rid of your
right?
stars.
Is it
So
the
I guess it's the
stars?
same kind of thing. You're trying to hit
Yeah.
those global thing. Speaking of Scythe, there are 4 actions that you can take in this game. Everyone gets their own individual player board. The main board in the middle of the table has like worker placement spots, the equivalent of that, and then kind of the tracks that you want to go up on. There are only 4 actions in the game, and on your turn, you must move and take a different action than the one you just took. All the actions are basically like the ones I just kind of said above there. Travel around and take actions. Try to repair relics. Try to finding relics and cards. And then, what's the other one? 1, 2, 3.
You said explore,
Barter. Barter's getting the stuff.
Yep.
So you move it and you take the action. And depending on what your action that you took is, you get like all these kind of bonus actions depending on the cards that you've built or the relics that you've developed or the caravan expansions, all this kind of stuff. There's a lot of like engine building to it. It has some worker placement, and you're taking turns back and forth, picking one of those 4 actions until someone reaches 10 points. that's like the game. And what I really want to talk about is how I felt about the game.
Yes.
Do you want me to go?
Sure.
Sure,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Hit it.
Now listen, Sam.
Sammy.
Time to get down to business here.
Samuel.
So Sam, we love Sam. We talk to Sam. We like Sam. And I was ready to play this game. I was also nervous to play this game for a few different reasons.
Yeah.
Yep.
One, what if it sucked ass?
What are you gonna do?
What are we going to do? We're going to tell Sam, listen, your game fucking sucks. We're not going to talk about it on the show. Or you sugarcoat it, right? And you go, Sam, listen, thanks for letting us play it. We're not going to talk about it on the show. You suck. Right? Like, how do you...
That's the sugarcoat.
You know,
It'd be a
how do
little
you...
awkward.
Yeah, how do you balance that, right?
Right. I think we'd have to be like, oh, cool. And then just like not talk about
And
it.
then not
Yeah.
talk about
Long
it.
story short.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Luckily, we don't have to do that.
and that is it's a dangerous thing. And he had a ton of friends play it, and by the time it got to me, at least because I had a physical prototype copy, right? I didn't do the TTS stuff. I didn't go through a lot of play testing. I'm playing. What do you think? 90% of the
it's like
the finished
basically
product
done.
Yeah.
of the game. So here's what I think. Everstone is very good. Is it great? I don't know yet, but I think it's pretty damn close. And I think even based on some of the things I talked to Sam with after the game and during the game, I think it's even inching closer to that with some of the adjustments that he's already made since the prototype. Mm-hmm. I had a really good time playing this game. So setup was very quick, especially for a game that is probably shooting between that 3+ weight range.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There is not this massive amount of like, here's 38 tiles to do this with, here's 15 resources to put here, here, and here. That setup was a absolute breeze. The teach was fast. Devin had very little questions during the game and throughout the game, which just made the flow feel really good. Speaking of that, I loved the like back and forth play. There is no like rounds. There's no reset. It is just I take a turn, Devin takes a turn.
Over and
I
over
take
and
a
over
turn,
till the end.
And you just go back and forth and back and forth. Mm-hmm. And some turns are really quick, right? Boom, I want that card. I'll take this resource. Boom, your turn's done. And then other turns, you have sort of a cascading comboing thing where you're also hitting some reputation and getting 2 or 3 pieces of whatever, and you're kind of taking longer turns, which
You're like running your engine.
really satisfying. And that with 2 players was fine. Could it be long with 4? I don't know. I haven't played with 4, but that never bothered me as I was playing it. The Explorer action, I actually really thought there was something unique in this, right? Where me taking a player pawn and moving it to a spot and taking an action is nothing new, right? Everyone does that. But what I thought that Sam did great in this game is the action spaces that you can go to rotate out. So in a 2-player game, there are 4 action spaces, I think, that you can go to right away. And then every time someone takes that action, one of the tiles goes away, and the next tile, like up in the queue, moves up.
Yep.
And it changes the board constantly, allowing for, again, a really cool like timing aspect during the game. And I think with 3 and 4 players, it's like 5 and 6 tiles that are out, and then they rotate through. The fact that all these relics, so the big part of the game, and I think where the theme is in this game, is you find this broken shit in this land, and you're like fixing it. Oh, I found this thing, and I'm going to fix it up. And these are called relic cards. And the relic cards, I love multi-use cards. And we always talk about how much we love multi-use cards. And Sam has put in, what, like 80 something?
There's 75, I think.
Like, and they're all fucking different. They're all going to be different. And one thing I want to say before I forget is that I think, correct me if I'm wrong, or we cut the shit out. I think there is a available tier on the Kickstarter where you might be able to name a card. Is that still a thing or no?
I don't know if that's a thing anymore.
Okay.
It might be. He might put that in. The version that I saw of the Kickstarter page did not have that. But
Okay.
maybe he might add that in. I'm not sure.
Okay, cut this out. So these relic cards, them being multiple use, there were, I feel like, really great decision points once you fix these relics. Because, I grab them sort of in a moment where I'm like, okay, that looks cool for the engine building part. But in a moment when you fix it and you go, man, the fixing power to discard it is awesome.
Yeah.
But I want to build my engine, right? Do I want to build it for later turns or do I want the cool thing right now? That was really fun and unique and felt different on every fucking card, which I had to read all the cards, which took an extra 2 seconds, but was awesome. I'd rather have that than have some rotating 10 different cards that are there where I know. So there was also this this mechanism in the game where you could roll, and if you happen to roll and manipulate the dice to match the top relic card, you got it, which was like kind of fun.
That was awesome.
Right, where
You always wanted to do
You always
that.
just
Yeah.
want to do it.
Even if you need the resources, you're like, but if I just do
don't
this
care.
one thing, I can just get that
Yeah.
card. What could it be?
It created a really cool, like, pressure luck almost of like, I want to do this, but me trying to get that card might mess up my tracks, which I was going to do, but I don't care. Like, I want the fixed relic right now because it could be a game changer. And it never felt like I got it for free. Right? It never felt
because
like
you're sacrificing getting resources.
And if I couldn't get it or didn't want to spend a ton of resources to manipulate my dice, I went up on these tracks, which was also important to do and got you stuff and got you the resources you need to do things. So it wasn't like I took an action, my roll got fucked up, here's one resource because you suck, right? It felt like two good decision points in the same action or two good choices throughout the game. So I also thought, again, tracks, nothing new. But what was cool about this is you got the resource or the action or whatever when you moved up or down the resource track,
Yeah.
which is just like, why not do that?
Right.
Yeah.
So
Right?
cool.
Because it's also not yes, I think the things at the top of the resource track were inherently a little better, but you didn't necessarily need them all the time.
Nope.
Like if I wanted a yellow one, I can move down on that track and get the yellow resource that I need right now, which is just one yellow resource. But again, if it saves you a turn in a game that is a race to 10, it could matter a lot. And then moving into that part, the race to 10 is always something that I think I like in games a lot. And I felt like this had the right timing and right ramp up to the game. The whole like crescendo of this game felt really good, right? Where you're kind of starting out slow and you're like, you each take 5 turns and maybe you get
you have
one,
2, maybe.
And you're like,
yeah.
okay, and then shit I think on my last 3 to 4 turns, maybe just 3 turns, I think I got 4 or 5 reputation, and watching that happen, both when Devin got 4 on a couple turns before me, and I got,
You're like, oh shit,
oh balls,
this is getting real.
yeah, because you can sit there at the beginning and be like, let me build up my engine, and then when someone creeps closer, you're like, oh fuck, okay,
gotta
the engine's
move.
got to start. We have to get rolling, and it created some really great intense feelings. Things I'm looking forward to and talking about like advancements of the game or things that I'd like to see. The game board that I have is different than the version that's going to be printed and that's on the Kickstarter. I love the new, more greener look of the current board rather than the board that I have. So I'm really excited to see that. I know he's updating card art. A lot of the card art that I had, I think, was just a generic picture, a stock photo to just be there. So I'm really excited to see the individual art on all the cards because the game box is beautiful. The new board is beautiful. Even just the stock image on the card was cool. But I'm excited to see what happens with all of that stuff. So my thought, I am backing Everstone. Even if Sam sends me a copy, I'm going to back it and support him because I think this game deserves your money.
He'll send you one if you back it.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, that's true. Good call. It is very good. It's very smooth. It is well thought out. And what a douche for doing this in such a
fuck this motherfucker.
Fuck him.
This motherfucker.
I think this game will be a hit with the people that back it. I can't say I don't know what makes
Everyone else will
games,
fucking hate it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what makes games explode on Kickstarter, right?
Same.
Queen Games they're gonna pump out Steffenfeld games and make $1 bajillion. Sam's game is very, very good and deserves the money, but I don't know what makes it explode. So I want people to play this game because I think it'll hit with gamers, non-gamers.
Yeah.
I also have Devin's thoughts. Would you like to hear Devin?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Devin, about halfway through the game, said the quote, I like this a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Oh, that's a good quote.
Which is good because I think through the initial thing, I was like, oh boy.
She's not liking this. Oh,
and then it started to click and she said some things. She had some really great turns in a row, which was great. She said she was way more excited and she actually was excited to look at Sam's Instagram page as well as the Kickstarter preview page to check out kind of what was new.
Yeah.
So she was actually scrolling through and looking at it and be like, oh, that's a cool thing.
Let me
so that
see.
was cool.
Okay.
She also said she was really happy that there was always something to do.
Yeah.
And that even though, even with that, there's so many things to do, you didn't have too many options. In theory, every turn, you only have 3 choices.
Yep.
There's 4 actions, but you only can pick 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And every action felt like you needed to do them about an equal amount of time. And she acknowledged liking that she could kind of bounce around. It didn't feel like you go here, then back, here, and then back, here, and then back.
That's a good observation.
She liked the whole just like limited resources and that you can expand the resource space, right? Get those little barrel things so you can hold more resources. And then she's only played Dune Imperium that has that 10-point scoring thing. So she thought that was really
She
kind
likes
of
that
cool
mechanic.
and unique. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that also just makes you feel like you're always in the game. Right? Anyway,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
That was a
totally.
lot of talking. What did you guys think of
No, for sure.
Everstone?
I need to preface what I'm about to say about Everstone. You're going to hear me say a lot of positive things. And it should be known that we're all friends with the designer.
Yes.
Jeff talked about this. Sam McDavid. Feel free to take my and all of our thoughts with a grain of salt here, as some of this may sound shilly. Shilly. She's Michiana.
Oh, Shilly,
Game
yeah.
Ranch.
Chili.
But seriously, I love this game. I like to think it has nothing to do with also loving Sam. It's hard to know, though, just how much I can subconsciously separate there. But with that being said, Everstone has a lot of really fun and awesome things going for it. Most notably is the point comboing. As the game goes on, there becomes a point, kind of like in Revive, where the reputation points come in droves.
Oh, man.
Like Jeff just talked about. It's not unusual for you to get 3, 4, even 5 reputation points in one turn in the late game, which is both really fun and incredibly stressful. Because if you're not careful, your opponents may have turns like that before you have a chance to, ending the game out from under you. And so the race in this one is real, and you feel it.
You want it to be a surprise.
Yeah.
You would almost rather go 2 or 3 turns getting nothing and then get
And then
4
kapow!
instead of like 1, 1,
Right,
1,
you're
1.
way far
then
back on the
everyone's like,
track,
oh, I
and then
better
all of a sudden,
catch up.
boom!
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. It has very good opportunities for clever play, which I love. Everything you do in this game is ancillary, working towards the goal. Whenever you place influence out on the board, you're naturally getting closer to reputation points. Building cards up underneath your caravan board naturally gets you closer to those reputation points. Playing the game gets you points, which, if done correctly, can feel like you have little agency. If it's done incorrectly, you can feel like you have little agency over your play, as simply playing the game gets you points. I've dealt with this myself, designing my own game, and really it's a design hurdle to overcome, and I think this game handles that very well. Yes, you get points by just playing the game, and eventually you will score, but you can do it better than your opponents. You aren't all arriving at the points the same way or at the same time, and so it becomes more of an efficiency puzzle and focuses more on the race than just getting points for playing the game's sake. Right? You're working hard to get done what you need to get done before other players get it done first. And I thought that was a really pleasant surprise to this one.
To that point, sorry to
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
jump in, so up top there's these global objectives that everyone's shooting for, and you can't, it's only a first person there gets
Boom,
that point.
you get it.
So Devin and my final score, we were 11-9. Okay. Devin got no global objectives.
Wow.
I got 3 or 4 of them.
Wow.
So she was getting
Right
them
close to you.
in very different ways than I was
Yeah.
getting them, and her next turn would probably get her to 10.
Yeah.
Or 11 if it was, something came up, right? So it was
Yep.
like she was right there doing
Right.
completely different things than I was doing.
That's
It was
very,
great.
very cool. So this is the kind of game I really enjoy because you rarely, and Jeff mentioned this a little bit too, you rarely have a throwaway turn. Because of how you're able to activate your board from top to bottom, every action has potential for multiple boons, and that always feels fun. I built up my explore action like crazy in my last game to try and get some personal quests simultaneously going with those global achievements, and the result was that whenever I took the explore action, I just got this ridiculous windfall of stuff that just felt so freaking awesome.
Yeah.
So simply taking an action in Everstone in itself is fun. Now, I mean, how can we talk about Everstone and not talk about TJ Jacob, the artist?
Yeah, okay.
Ooh, yeah.
Thanks for getting his name.
And let me tell you, if you knew nothing else about Everstone other than the front of the box, I think you might buy it.
Yeah.
It's
It
beautiful.
looks beautiful. It's gotten the treatment of one of the best board game artists in the business. It's reminiscent of something like Andrew Bosley to me. The color palette has a very tapestry kind of feel. It's whimsical and lush and feels alive and real. And what an achievement by TJ Jacob.
Yeah.
Sam's
Is this his first
artist.
board game?
I think so.
thing?
I think this
Wow,
is his
he
first
did a
board
great
game
job.
design.
It's
Holy
great.
shit, it's amazing. I also want to talk for a moment about the solo game. In the game, you can choose to play against one of the 4 solo characters, which really just means it's a different way of what stuff they block out onto the board. But the solo play plays very much like my favorite solo Euro game, Arc Nova. Basically, you take a turn, then slide a token from left to right on the solo board, which has the game do something, like purchase a card from the market that you can't now get, or move their caravan token around the board, blocking you, or climb up on influence tracks, and then you go again. After you have taken 5 turns, the top token of that track that you used moves over to the game board in some spot, blocking that space for you and moving the game to its inevitable conclusion. Essentially, you have 14 turns to get to 10 reputation before you lose. And it's difficult, but not impossible. So far, I've played it 3 times solo, and I've only won it once.
That's good to hear.
And it was on the very, very last turn that I won.
Oh, damn.
Like it was like the 14th turn. I was like, oh my God, can I do this? And I got to 10. So the solo game is very fun and worth looking into if you play a lot of games by yourself. Now, we're not escaping things I didn't like here just because we know you, Sam.
Yeah, fuck you, Sam.
So get ready to be torn the fuck apart. Bend over, bitch. If there's one thing I didn't like about Everstone, having only played it on Tabletop Simulator as my caveat, maybe this is not an issue in IRL, I don't know. The main board, to me, is a little bit busy. I found there's a lot going on visually on the main board. So certain pieces of information sort of seem to blend into that busyness. The board is beautiful. There's no denying that. Gorgeous. But it reminds me of something like another game that I think is gorgeous that's also kind of busy is Praga Kaput Regni.
Yes.
Great, beautiful board. Amazing game even, but almost like...
That thing's so fucking...
I kind of wish it was a touch less busy.
It's like a fucking Where's Waldo on that thing.
It is. And
it's
this
crazy.
isn't as bad as that, of course.
Can I ask you a question? What color is the board on TTS?
It's green. I think
that's probably the finished one.
I think it's the finished one, but I guess my point is it might look more washed out and blending
I feel
together.
like I couldn't even comment on that because it was on a computer screen.
I have a very awesome high resolution computer screen. It's huge. It's fucking huge.
Yeah.
I'm not
saying
saying
a teeny tiny laptop.
I'm not saying that. Okay, but that's my caveat there. And also, it is also a nitpick because I don't want to sound like a shilly Michiana board gamery. I want to sound like this is an actual thing I felt. And I want that to be out there. Okay.
Okay.
I can't comment on the components of the game one way or the other. As simply put, I don't have it yet. Even Jeff, I think, has the prototype, so there's nothing final about the components that you have. So we can't really talk
All
about
you can
that.
say about the art and the gameplay, really.
But again, what I want to say is take my thoughts.
You should make the boards dual layered, but
the board should fucking be dual layered.
If
you can, why aren't you?
Maybe you
should. Again, take my thoughts with a grain of salt. As Sam is a really, really good friend of ours. Hell, I'm the voiceover on the Kickstarter video for crying out loud.
Are you going to mention that?
I've done a lot of work
hear a familiar voice.
helping Sam, and I'm going to be helping edit the rulebook here pretty soon, and I'm heavily testing the solo mode for him. So it'd be ridiculous to say that I'm not biased here, but I truly enjoy Everstone. I was incredibly, like Jeff said, annoyingly impressed when I first played it with Sam months ago. I remember telling you guys how good it was then, and I'm genuinely excited and really, really fucking proud of him.
Me too.
For designing
and it's so there is another podcast that seemed like, man, they're talking a lot about games that are their sponsors.
Yeah.
Right? There's stuff like that, and you're like, do they actually like the games that are sponsors?
We would not fucking talk about this if we didn't like it.
This conversation would be very different, and I think you could hear the difference.
Yeah, hopefully you're not hearing. Hopefully, what we're saying so far doesn't sound disingenuous because it's not meant. It's not. I really enjoyed myself. I think this game stands head and shoulders with other games in its weight class, which, as Jeff mentioned, it's probably hovers around 3 plus. Mm-hmm. I kind of think it's some like Arnaki kind of weight. Yeah. Right. I really enjoyed myself. Natalie, what did you think of your play of Everstone?
Sam, well done.
Fuck you.
You don't want to hear my thoughts.
No.
Yeah. I want to take this digital game outside and stomp on it.
Well, I did want to stomp on TTS, but that wasn't the game's fault.
Every time.
Yeah.
It's been a while since I played on TTS, and I was kind of like, it'll be fine. And I was like, oh,
it's not fine.
Did you feel like a complete spaz? Like, were you just like, I can't even flip a fucking card over in that thing?
No, I feel like I'm like
someone,
a total moron.
Do I hit the F and click, or do I have to? Do I bring it to? How do I?
I want to like look at the board and then look at my player board, and it's like a whole effort, and I'm like, God damn.
I have thought about making a video on here's the basics of Tabletop Simulator, because I feel like unless you have someone teach it to you, you go into it and you're like, what the fuck?
The thing is, I know how to use it. It's just annoying as fuck.
Yeah, you feel like an old lady.
But again, Ryan has a giant, basically his monitor is like the size of a television. Mine is 6 inch by 12 inch.
Coming all size, Natalie.
And it's teeny tiny. And so And I
But
hate
it's perfect.
I hate not being able to see everything I need to see in one shot. I hate like
You
having
have
to move around.
Oh, Natalie, this is what I like to hear. Thank you for hating.
Yeah,
She does.
Or like a lot
She
of
doesn't
times
like it
I'm like, if I'm discarding something, I just like throw it on the table. I'm like, Ryan, take care of that, because I'm like, I don't
Yes,
even.
dear. Yes, dear.
Anyways,
dear.
back to the actual game though. That's a TTS problem. I really enjoyed this game. Almost feel like, I mean, he obviously didn't, but I feel like he made it like for us with all the stuff we like.
I
You
know.
what I mean?
I agree with
it's
that.
like the weight we love, that very medium weight.
Yep.
It's not too long. It's like a great length.
Oh, it's perfect. It's got that perfect length.
Visually, it
about the
looks
girth?
great. And
It's got a
then
can't stop mechanism.
it's
Natalie's
got that
favorite
thing
game.
where it's like
Yeah.
like the act, like you said, really on your turn. Like there's 4 actions, but you're only deciding about like which of one of 3.
Good. Yes.
Sorry.
You got that.
I'm like, how do I say
you
this?
got there.
One of 3 to take, because you obviously can't take the one that you previously took because your guy's already there. You know, so like in that, it's simple, but then whatever action you decide to take, it's, you know, it's a bit, there's a lot of decisions to make, even just with that one action. You know, like if you're going to explore, you're like, here's a variety of different things you can do. Or even if you're going to repair a card or a relic, there's also a variety of things you have to
always
decide.
want to be like, I want to wait to repair until my board is full and I have resources available. But that never happens. You're always like, I'm one short, and it's like, I should fucking repair so I can get my engine going.
Yeah, because in your
Right.
engine's a turn behind.
But
and
you
a
always
turn
feel
behind
like,
and a
fuck,
turn
I only
behind.
repaired 1 card this turn.
Yeah.
Like, shit, if I would have just waited another, maybe I could have repaired 2 more. And I
Right.
love those decisions.
Yeah, so like that part is like super fun. And then, you know, you guys kind of touched on this, but my favorite part of the whole game is it reminded me, it gave me like Istanbul feels, which everyone knows is one of my favorite games of all time. And, you know, it's not like Istanbul, but it has some things that feel like Istanbul to
Can
me.
you expand on that?
Yeah. So like in Istanbul, you know, to win the game, you're trying to collect a certain amount of gems.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, once somebody collects a certain amount of gems, the game's over, and then whoever has the most at the end wins. And while doing that, there's like a ton of different ways you can collect gems. And so like in this game, it's kind of like that, but instead of gems, you're just getting to 10.
Yeah.
Reputation or whatever it's
Yep,
called.
reputation.
And then there's tons of different ways to get that reputation. So not everybody's doing the same thing. You're not necessarily getting each other's way because you're all taking the same path. There's like so many different paths to get these
a great
reputation, just like Istanbul. And then it also has like a similar ramp up like they do, like Istanbul does, you know, where you're kind of like starting off slow and then suddenly at the end, everyone's like close to each other and they're like, who's going to get there
who's gonna
first?
get
And
that
then
last
everybody's
one?
like
Yeah.
kind of close. And so like, while the actual gameplay is not like Istanbul, the feels I get and my favorite parts of Istanbul, it has all of that. And that just made me like really like this game a lot. Yeah, that's my thoughts.
You just fucking love the thing.
Yeah, I thought it
It's
was
so
really good. And
good.
so even like after
So
we
in
played
summary-
it, I like you said, I was like kind of like, oh, I hope I like it. I don't want to have to like, you know, not
Right,
have
lie.
much to say about
Yeah,
it.
it is.
I wouldn't ever lie, but I think it'd be obvious. I think I'd kind of just be like, oh yeah, well this was good. You know what I mean? But after we played it, I told Ryan, I was like, I can seriously see us playing this
100%.
all the time. Like,
Oh, yeah.
being like a game we were like, oh, let's play this because
on the TV
of
show.
so many things, you know?
Yeah, it would be.
And yeah, that's it.
Yeah, so in summary, great game. Fuck you, Sam.
Fuck you, Sam. What the fuck, man? Go back, Everstone. Discovering Ignis, coming out to Kickstarter February 13th, Tuesday, 2024, the year of our Lord. Yeah, well done.
Yeah, good job.
Well done.
Very impressive.
Samantha McDavid.
Oh my gosh.
So we've teased a bit that we're going to start a look back series about games we've talked about before on the show. And today we're actually going to implement the idea, mostly because this particular game has seen a huge resurgence from Natalie and me over the past several months and has really exploded all over our faces and into our collective top 10. Jeff, do you see it on the board there?
Yeah,
It
it's our
is.
I see it.
There it is. It's on there somewhere.
What got booted?
I think Pulsar.
Pulsar, because we haven't,
Yeah,
only because we
yeah,
haven't played it in a
bye-bye.
while. Yep. Okay. So designed by Christian and Daniela Storr And winner of the Spiel des Jahres in 2020, the game I'm talking about, of course, is Pictures. If you don't know anything about Pictures, what am I, Google? Do your own fucking research.
Yeah.
Well, that's how we did our reviews from now on.
Yeah.
So after you go on to BGG to get a full description of what the game's about and how to play, also go find the comment I left on BGG telling you my vague opinion.
Wait.
Jeff, next,
Wait.
what do you
play?
Any more games? So, okay, Pictures is a party-ish game that plays 3 to 5 people, 6 with an expansion, where there is a 4x4 grid in the center of the table of cards and different photographs on them, okay? The photos are made up of anything from a shot in nature of a hummingbird to a jet ski zipping around the water to a close-up shot of an apple core, okay? Each player then gets secretly assigned one of these pictures and takes an object that they're going to use to abstractly create that picture. The objects are anything from actual sticks and stones to wooden blocks to cards with drawings on them to shoelaces to these colored cubes. Okay, the goal is for you to recreate the image of the card that you got using your object, and you're trying to get everyone else to guess it correctly. It applies sort of a Dixit level of scoring where you get the number of points as the people who guessed yours correctly, and you get a single point if you guess someone else's correctly. After each round, you simply pass your object that you had to the player on your left, and you continue on to the next round, getting a new secret card each time. After each player has had a chance to recreate a picture with every object, the game ends, and whoever has the most points wins. There are 3 expansions that exist for Pictures that both add more cards as well as more objects, which is such a great fucking thing. The game is very expandable due to that. The orange expansion adds clothespins and felt and bakelite tiles on a board. The Christmas expansion adds actual 3D Christmassy objects that you put in a bag and then you feel them to get the card. It's crazy. Yes,
Yeah,
it's
instead of-
crazy.
Can we
You
stop
put, you
for a
have
minute?
like
Yeah,
a
So
pile
I put
of
stuff
thing.
in a satchel.
Yep.
Yep.
So I would what are the stuff?
So the
Like
stuff
a
could be
Christmas
like
ornament?
like one of them, like a Christmas ornament, or one of them is like a what's it called,
A
a
rock.
cotton ball.
Oh, yeah.
So
Right?
so if I have that thing, I would throw a cotton ball and a Christmas ornament in there, and then I would hand you the bag,
And
then
maybe
you-
I'm like, oh,
you
there's a
feel my
tree
sack.
and there's a cloud on the card, and maybe I interpret that
Right.
to
You
be
can't
Right,
look
so
at
you
it.
feel
So you
the
have
sack.
to pass it around, and everyone
Yep,
can put
we all
their
pass
hand
it around
in
and feel it, and then we have to-
and then guess based on that.
based on our finger pads.
we at first we were like, that's fucking hard.
Yeah, we were
And
like,
it
no,
is.
this is stupid. But then it was like, oh my god,
But
I get what you're saying.
Sometimes you get it, but sometimes
Yep.
it's really hard.
So it's got those 3D objects. It also has tokens shaped like Christmassy things that you arrange on a board, like gingerbread men.
it looks like a Christmas table with
Yeah.
a plate.
Yeah, and then you
have to
put the tokens
in
on
the
that,
plate,
and then the
yeah.
USA expansion adds transparent cards with designs on them that you'll stack up to recreate the image, and then it's got dice that you roll that have symbols on them. You roll them Yahtzee style, and then you get what you roll to get what you like, for the picture, and then you just put them on this board, and you kind of almost see like Rory Story Cubes pictures on them, and then you look at those. All of this adds variety into the game that really ramps up the replayability, because with the base game, you're beholden to the same 5 objects each play. But with 6 more objects already released in the expansions, you can mix and match now and breathe new life into this game each time. So let's talk about why this game has been such a colossal hit in our house. It really rides that sweet spot for me in a lot of ways. Number 1, it hits the sweet spot of party game feel, but with less players, making it a more intimate kind of party style game, which I like. There's a few games that feel like party games, even though they only play 5 or 6, right? Like we talk about, like So Clover. Because of this, it's a very easy game to hit the table with a myriad of different groups.
Yes.
You don't need a huge number of players to get this to the table. And this leads into my second point, which is it hits that sweet spot where it's just as good with the adult friends as it is with the family. This is our go-to game to play with the kids right now. We all love it equally and always want to play it when we think of playing a game together. But it works just as well, and I want to play it just as often with my adult friends. The concept is so very simple. Just make the picture with the stuff you have and try to figure out what picture everyone else made. The window of creative space is large and satisfying, but it's not so large that a kid can't participate and do it as well. There's a cap because of the stuff you have. You can only get so creative with the colored cubes and the shoelaces, for example. To compare it to a game like Codenames, where you can say anything. The creativity there is a bit more open and difficult because of that. You're constrained by the words you have, but at times you can feel locked up and like it's impossible to think of anything good to string these words together. And a kid is rarely going to get that 3-word clue that feels really cool in code names, right? But in pictures, you have one card you must create with this one object. And so you get to work in that space and that space only with what you have. And that is universally simple to grasp for 7-year-olds and up, right? And somehow it's equally fun. I don't look forward to playing this more with adults than I do with the family. It's just fun to play no matter who with. Number 3, my third point is it hits that sweet spot of creativity for me. My favorite thing in games is to be creative and find ways to be creative to do things. And pictures really scratches that itch for me. I mean, if you just get handed sticks and stones and you have to somehow recreate a scene of a statue of a crab in a park, the moment I see that, the gears start turning in my head and I try to figure out the most creative way to do this. What do I focus on? One rock maybe is the body of the crab. Okay, then maybe one of the sticks juts off and that's one of his claws. And maybe I set the sticks up behind the rocks as the trees of the park. And it's just that decision space that I really love immersing myself in. I also love, after I'm done, going and looking and trying to decipher and get into the head of all the other players to see how what they built translates to a card. It's always fun to do that. And then you get to do the best part of the game, which is the reveal, which is just a great dopamine hit as you get to hear what everyone guessed your card was. You feel a real sense of accomplishment and validation when everyone guesses yours correctly. And you get offended and arrogant when they guess it wrong, going overboard, explaining what it was that you were going for, only for them to look at you and shrug and be like, I don't know, didn't see it, bro. It's also really fun to get what someone else was going for when nobody else was able to. You feel like a super sleuth that rivals Sherlock Holmes. And it just makes you feel smart and connects you with that player. And it's just so much fun. And so my fourth and final point is it hits the sweet spot of a game that's not really like other games out there. And so it's a perfect game to play with a non or a gamer who needs something to cleanse the palate. This game doesn't do something that a bunch of other games do. There are other games like it, yes, but this one is I can't think of many other games where you have just like a bundle of junk that you find and then you're creating a picture with that junk. There's not many games out there like that. And every single person who's played games or not played games understands that concept by just looking at the stuff. You don't really have to explain much to them. Here's a card. Your card is a tree. Make that tree with these shoelaces.
Yeah.
That's
Other than second grade art class.
Yeah,
right?
That's all you need. Exactly. So what is it that has caused this game to erect itself in the waistband of our collection and set itself apart? Well, we first got it back
That's
when
like when
it
you get
came
your
out.
you put it up in the waistband. Okay.
I know.
Thanks.
It just feels really good.
Yeah.
You said it feels really good. I thought it was like so it didn't poke
My
out.
favorite thing on earth is when I make like a sexual joke and then Jeff translate it to Natalie for Natalie. That might be my favorite thing that happens.
Well, yeah, it
All right.
hides it, but it also feels good. That's
It feels fucking great, but it does hide it. You're right. It does hide it, so it doesn't
'Cause,
poke
like,
right
the
out. But
pressure?
Just a little bit
yes,
something.
definitely. But I would argue we love this game lately. We liked it when it came out, but I think for some reason lately we love it. And I think the main draw is how much the entire family loves it. Natalie and I have always really enjoyed the game, but now that we've played it with the kids so much, it's gotten so much more play and attention, and everyone's good at it, and it's just made us want to play and get that high with everyone else. We played it at Nerdfest with 2 different groups of adults, and both plays were some of the best times ever of the game.
And nons.
Yeah, and the first play was with 2 adult nons.
Yeah.
One of those who said "wow" about the podcast. It's a great game. It's a game that's hard to dislike. Yeah. If creativity games aren't your thing, or party-ish games don't really do it for you, or games where the points don't really matter, or you just don't enjoy playing with toys, because that's basically what this game is, it's playing with toys and making a picture out of it. Something that appeals to the child in most people. But if you're a dried-up old hag and don't like that sort of thing, then this game isn't for you. And for everyone else, there's pictures. Natalie, what do you think of pictures?
Well
Our
said,
look-back
'cause
game.
I don't really have too much to expand on there. You kind of said it all.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I put a lot of work into this. This is our first look-back game.
I mean,
Good, because I got nothing. No,
I would just repeat everything you said, but you are right, though. We have been obsessed with this. I've always loved this game, but, you know, I'm thrilled that we're playing it a ton lately, and I don't want to stop. Like, I would just rack it every single time. Like, I'm not getting sick of it at all.
No.
I just want to play it over and over and over again. I find it so fun and satisfying to, like you said, just to get creative and like create these pictures. Like, okay, now I got this picture and I got this to work with. Like, what can I do? And I get like sometimes I'm like, sorry guys, like I feel like I failed, but then a lot of times I'm like, I'm so proud of this.
Yeah, but
like,
isn't it even more fun when you say, sorry, I don't know what I did, and then we get it?
yeah,
That's happened to me
Or
a
is
lot.
it equally annoying the other way? Where you're like, nailed it. And everyone picks the other one. You're like,
that's annoying.
the worst
That's
feeling.
the most
Yeah.
annoying.
Yeah.
That is the worst feeling. Oh,
but part of the game.
Yeah,
it
right.
happens.
Yeah.
It happens every single time.
Right.
That stuff
yeah,
always happens.
inevitably it's going to happen. But it's like it's no big deal. There's technically points. And if you care about points, there's some points. And if you don't care about them, then they don't really matter. You know what I mean? It's just fun to play.
That's another good point. You can play it kind of either way. You can kind of play it more.
Like if you care about
I guess competitive is not the right
winning,
word, but you
then,
can play
there's
it.
definitely going to be a winner.
Yeah.
Or something. But like also like we with
Probably
the
a
kids,
tie.
we'll keep track of points, but we don't make a big deal out of the points
Yeah,
at the end.
right.
We're like, oh, I got this, but we're like, who cares? Kind of thing. Because that was just really fun. With the kids, it's funny because we introduced this to them maybe like over a year ago or so, and it didn't really work out
They
great
sucked
at first.
They were
because
Could have
so
been-
bad.
it was the perspective
Could it have
situation.
been? Could it have been 3 years ago?
Yeah, maybe our first play. Maybe not
know.
3, maybe
Okay,
2,
I'm
but
just-
it could have been. It
Because
was.
I'd say 1
they're
to
at
2 years
ages where
ago.
even a year would
It does
make
seem like
Yeah.
forever.
Well, we
but
kind of
yeah.
like
This
made
game came
some-
out a lot longer
we
than I
made some
think.
tweaks. too.
2019, I think,
Yeah, they
yeah.
are older. We made a point now when we play with them to seat all 3 of them facing the cards.
Yes.
the right
Oh,
way
like the
up.
right
Their
order.
And Ryan
perspectives
and I will
it was
sit-
so hard for them to get that.
Yeah.
They're great at it now.
Yeah.
All of them. All 3 of them are really
Yeah.
good
They
at
have to
it.
sit in each other's laps.
Yeah.
In the same-
Yeah,
Yeah,
right. Well, they have to sit in a
basically.
row, in front
Yeah.
of the cards, and then Ryan and I will sit like on the sides or behind the
I
cards.
wouldn't even say perspective is their problem. What their problem is displaying their creation to us in a way that we understand what they're what side
Right, we're like, is
it
this
is.
the bottom? And they're like, yes.
Yeah.
And then we find out it's like
was
not.
the
And we're like,
side.
no, you're not
It's like, no, you don't get what we mean.
So
Yeah.
that solved that problem. But also they're just better at it. One of the kids is like, one of them's young. So, she sometimes doesn't quite.
But a lot of times she really surprises you.
I know,
Scarlett's
but that's
really
what I mean,
good
though.
at
It's
it.
almost like we've played enough now with them where you kind of get how they play it, and so
Yeah.
you kind of like can make your guess based on that. There's a lot of times we still don't get
brain
it.
cells are
But,
still
like,
growing.
Yeah.
Us adults are
yeah.
But then,
Ours are
like-
dying.
cornered. Yeah.
yeah. But I love that we can play with them because they love playing games with us, and we are just obsessed with this game. And then I love playing with literally anyone else. Like every single group we've ever played this with has been great.
It's a hit.
And also, all the new stuff is awesome. Like we love all of it. And like you said, it makes it even more fun when every time we pull it out, we can pick 5 things
Now where I thought
and
you
we have a lot more to pick from. And so they're not always the same. Or
Yep.
like we can even do a thing now where like if, when we play with the family, there's 5 of us. So
We kind of like draft.
we'll each pick a thing
yeah.
that we want to
Yeah.
be in the game, and then we play with those things. And there's none of them that were like,
And nobody picks the shoelaces. Who would have guessed?
Sometimes Scarlett will, yeah.
Okay.
I don't really mind.
Yes, you
most of
do.
them. Well, the shoelaces
What is
you can get
wrong
more
with you?
flexible with.
Yeah,
Literally.
except when you put it down, then the one like shoots
like a-
out of the side.
Yeah,
and you're like, okay,
that's
well, it was
true.
supposed to be
Like, I
a
can't do
mountain,
that.
but it looks like a shoe. So I don't really know what to tell you.
Yeah, I
Everything's
know.
a shoe with the shoelaces.
But yes, this game is. I love it. I love it so much. You kind of lost my momentum there.
Want me to take it away? Jeff, do you have any thoughts about pictures?
Yeah,
You
so
played pictures.
I have not. So I'm interested with because you guys have we played the shit out of that game right when it came out.
Yeah.
Right? Both got it. We played it probably 10 to 15
Yeah,
times,
like right
within-
away.
and then
Yep.
and then it disappeared.
It did. We didn't play it for a long time. We once in a while we would,
Right,
but,
but
yeah,
it wasn't and it has not come back to the table for me like it has
Yeah.
for the two of you, and that might be who I'm playing games with.
for sure. I think it's the
Yeah.
family with us that
Yeah,
really
and
helped
that
it come
helps.
back.
Devin and I aren't going to sit down and play that
No.
ever. That's ridiculous. The two of us. It's a terrible game of two.
Yeah, I don't think it's good at two.
Yeah, that's probably
And
not
then
the right
game
fit
night,
for your game night group. Yeah,
like maybe at the end, but I just for some reason it hasn't been in the front of my brain to like grab and play.
Yeah.
but say like Chad came into town.
Yeah, or
That could be a game.
I want to say the last time I played
get
it
out
was
with
probably with our friends Corey and Stephanie, who came
Yeah.
over probably a year ago.
Okay.
And I have the orange expansion. I don't have the other two. But I do know the game is just it's fun. It's unique. It's unlike anything I've ever played, which is why it will always stay in my collection because like. Here, grab these twig and berries and fucking try to
to make this thing.
make a sunset. Good luck,
Yeah.
idiot. And then it's hilarious and it's
Yes,
fun.
right.
And all of those scenarios, whether they get it when you don't think they get it, or they don't get it when you wanted them to, or they should have, is all just part of that fun and hilarity. I would say maybe a slight turnoff. Something that bothered me, I think, when I got the orange expansion is I think it was like $30.
Yeah, I don't remember how much the expansion.
And I'm like, there's a clothespin and felt in that freaking box, and I'm paying
a couple more
$30.
cards.
Right.
And the game itself, at least I can justify when I get the game. It has like a rule book, It's $40 or $35, and then I'm paying $35 for again twig and berries, or for a satchel of whatever, which that could be annoying. So you're looking at, to get everything, you're over $100. You're probably at 100 and something. Maybe.
Yeah.
They've come down. I have checked. It seems like the other two are 25 and 20 for the USA and
the Christmas expansion.
The Christmas one. So that's cool. Or just don't get them. Try.
I'd say if you didn't get one, and don't get the Christmas one.
Yeah, I think if you're not going to get one, the Christmas one's probably the one that you could pass on and be fine.
Sure. Yeah.
The orange expansion's great, and the USA expansion's great.
Yeah.
I just remember being like,
that stings. This is a very light game for a little.
So it took me 4 seconds.
For
to buy
me, we love it so much now that I will sight unseen buy everything that comes off. We even bought, Jeff. They make these cards that they're big. They're like 60% bigger than the normal cards, or 30% bigger than the normal cards. Are they different
pictures as well?
No, unfortunately they're the same as the base game pictures.
Yeah.
Do the expansions come with more pictures?
Yes, they come with a whole new deck.
Yeah.
That's
another thing that makes it so different every time. They're double-sided cards with tons of different pictures.
There's so many different pictures now that we have.
And I think the first playthrough, right, the first year and a half of playing it, 40 times, I feel like I saw every picture.
You feel like you see every picture. I agree.
So it's good that there's more.
There's tons more.
There's even pictures with the Christmas one. There's Christmassy pictures.
Ooh, Christmas pictures.
There's USAE pictures.
USAE.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's a great game, and I think that it would fit perfectly into a lot of collections.
Yeah.
Agreed.
For lots of different scenarios, and you might not play it 30 times a year, but the maybe 2 times you play it at Christmassy, or at some random holiday, I think it would be a hit with almost anybody.
Totally.
True.
I just want to say, when we played with the 60% bigger cards, we laid them out and we were like,
these are bigger? These look normal.
We were like, how is this not the normal size?
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously way better.
Especially at our big table with 5 of us, it's better because it's everybody can see them no matter where you are. But yeah, we weren't like, whoa,
it didn't seem like they were
we were
that
wait,
much bigger until we went back
ones?
to the small ones. We're like, oh yeah, those are really
those
small.
are very small. So Jeff, what else have you been playing, dude?
We have been playing something as in the collective.
The three of we?
The three of
Nintendo
we
Wii?
have been playing a Wii. Speaking of, I need to talk to you about the Switch before I go. Now,
we forgot to hand it to you last time.
So,
we'll get to you this time.
I don't know why I did this. Okay, so I went to I go to RIW all the time. But anyway, at RIW, I saw this game. This game is called Race to the Raft.
Race to the Raft. Okay.
And for some reason, I bought it.
Just spoke.
Yeah, I went to ask you about that.
I have no fucking idea.
What drew you to it?
I don't know. I may have been drunk. I don't really know.
You had that. You had acquisition disorder.
I was like, okay, it's right there. It's looking at me, and so it's from the City of Games. It is a Frank West game, who is the Isle of Cats fame. Okay.
Yep.
And it is we'll call it a spin-off of.
Yeah, it's in the same
Isle of
universe,
Cats.
right?
Yeah. It is nothing like the Isle of Cats, other than there's cats and you're on an island. Okay. It is not a card drafting game. It's not like that, but it's in the same universe with cats. And that was an immediate turnoff.
But you bought it anyway.
But I bought it anyway. Yeah. So
must have been $10.
What I did is I flipped it over and I kind of looked at the back and I saw the words path building, tile placement, cooperative game. Okay, if it was tile placement, path building, competitive game, I might have stayed away from it, because I have a lot of those.
Yeah.
The fact that it was cooperative, I read a few, and this is even more than I normally do for actual games I just fucking buy, right? I'll walk in and just buy Barcelona. I'm not buying that.
Yep. It's mine.
I went on Board Game Geek, and a lot of people were saying that the cooperative puzzle is fun. And I was like, okay, cool.
Like that?
This would be a game that I could sit down with Devin and we could play quickly. So I bought it. Race to the Raft. And then it sat on my shelf for months.
You've had this for that long?
Yeah, too
I thought
long.
you just bought it.
I know, you think that.
I thought you just bought it before you came over.
You think that. And so a couple days ago, I learned it, and I played it solo. I was going to say solo by myself. It's kind of redundant. I played it twice by myself. I played the tutorial missions.
Okay.
And in this book, there's 81 campaign scenarios.
Wow, that's a lot.
It's a weird number, but yeah.
And yes, and you can go online also. There's, I don't know, some QR code or some website where you can go on and I don't know if it's like user created or whatever, right? There's endless setup to this game and sort of different challenges that you can do. So the whole theme of this game is the group is taking control of these cats. They're lost on an island and the island is burning.
Okay.
And you have to try to save these cats by playing path cards to rescue them and get them to the raft. You may say you have to race to the raft.
Oh, I get it.
Okay, so you start by picking one of your 81 scenarios. And if you want to go in order, good for you. Or you can just pick them based on difficulty or based on whatever. I played the first 2 tutorial things. I thought those were way too easy. So I jumped past like campaign 1 into campaign 2. So we were at the 2 pause difficulty, 2 out of 5 instead of 0.
PAWS.
Yes. We were instead of the tutorials, which are 0 out of 5 difficulty,
Damn.
we played 2 out of 5 difficulty. So I was
Okay.
like, let's go forward. So the book tells you how to set up this big square or rectangle. So there's a handful of tiles, and you set them up how the book tells you to do that.
Yep.
On these on the board, there are smaller squares of 1 of 5 different terrains that match the different colors of the cats. Green, orangey, yellow, purple, red, and some other ones. And that also gives you starting spots for the cats as well as where the cats need to go, which is to the raft. And then you set up these fire cards. So some of the board is on fire. You place these fire cards out, and it just sets the stage for the puzzle of trying to get these cats out. And then on your turn, and what's kind of different about this game is the players can pick who goes. So I'm sitting to Ryan's right. It's not like it goes me, Ryan, Natalie, me, Ryan, Natalie. If Ryan thinks he has a couple good cards in a row, he can take his turns back to back. Or he doesn't. He's like, I think I need to wait, right? So you can kind of decide who goes, but you play around until everybody plays their 3 cards, and you sort of draw back up to that. So you can play a card onto the board, and your cards are a 3x3 grid that has one of those 5 scenarios on it. And when you play it to the board, it essentially changes the grid or changes the path on the board. So when you play a card, you expand the path. And what you want to do is you want to create a path from a cat of a color to the boat. So the red cat needs to go on the red path all the way to the raft.
To the red spot on the raft.
To the red spot on the raft in
Yeah,
one of ours.
not
So
just the raft.
in the tutorial ones, you can get them to the raft.
Oh, okay.
You get them to the raft, you win. So ours, we had to get them to a specific spot on the raft.
Very magic mazy.
Yeah, very magic maze. Yep. And so it has kind of some thematic things in the rule book of like cats are stubborn, so they always want to stay on the same thing. Even though there's a fire, they're going to try to stay on the same path, right? It's all this kind of goofy stuff. So, or instead of placing a card to change the path and to fix the board, you can play a card to move a cat, which moves a cat closer to the raft. And in our rules, which is not the super advanced rules or super hard rules, you move a cat as far as you want to move it along the same color path or the same terrain. And you basically do that over and over and over again until either your whole tiles burn down, because after every card you play, you have to draw a giant polyomino tile.
Huge.
Which you think would just be like, it's not just little L anymore.
No,
It's not
and
just
it's not
the
like a normal
Cleveland Z.
shape. It's all like weird.
Yeah, so they're
It's like taking radiation and it's like sprouting limbs.
Yeah, so they're they're big tiles, and you have to place them adjacent to a fire because the fire is spreading. So if the fire ever traps a cat or you can't place the fire tile, you lose. And if you get to all the cats to the raft, you win, and you're the wiener.
Yep, you're the wiener.
And then you go to the next scenario.
I love being the wiener.
Yeah, the wiener. And then you go to this next scenario.
In the
if you want.
waistband.
And so we played 2 scenarios right before the show.
Yep.
So I'll kick it over to you. What did you think of? Should we go to Natalie first?
Sure.
Natalie, what did you think of Race to the Raft?
Wow.
We go counterclockwise.
Kind of like I was in the show.
I really liked this game. I can see us going through all the scenarios,
All 81.
or maybe not all of them, but like I can see us like.
81 and then some?
Each game is so quick. I could just see us like racking it and like doing another one, doing another one, doing another one, and it also was like, I don't know. I really like that it was a cooperative puzzle, and that we like work together, and that it gets more challenging. You know, there's more challenging scenarios, or it adds more things to like mix it up and
Yeah,
make it
that's
more
really
challenging.
cool.
It reminded me a little bit of, don't be mad at me,
It reminded you of Don't Be Mad at Me?
No,
I'll try.
because
Yeah.
you're like, that's what I thought. It reminded me of The Crew and Decorum in
Yeah,
the way
The
that it's cooperative. But it also, there's like tons of different like scenarios that you play over and over again that kind of like ramp up.
Yeah.
Like The Crew, or like even in Decorum, it does that too. But also in Decorum, you can like share limited information when you're like trying to discuss what to do. You can only, like in this game, you can only be like, I can do something that's good for the yellow path, you know, or I don't have good cards for this, but you can't like be like super
It
specific.
felt like the game in
Right.
that way.
Yeah, good point.
You know what
'Cause
I
I
mean?
didn't say that.
I can
yeah.
play here.
That
right.
removes some
and like
of the
Decorum,
alpha.
you can be like, I like this, I don't like this,
Yeah,
kind of
right.
thing, you know, like
Right.
because
Yeah.
you could talk, but you couldn't just share everything.
right.
But you still had to like work together. And
Truth paste.
and I mean, yeah, it was kind of like on the lighter side, but like still, I mean, again, maybe it's a lot harder when you get to the way more challenging ones, but I like the quickness, I like the cooperativeness, the puzzle. And the couple scenarios we played, it felt like the perfect amount of challenging where like if you took one or two more turns longer, we'd be like taken over by fire.
Yeah.
You know, so it felt like, you know, a little bit of tenseness, like we better get there. And you had to make like certain decisions, like, okay, we need to make space for the fire to put fire spots that we're inevitably going to get. So move these cats first. So we don't need that area over there, and you can place fire there and, you know, get the cats out of the way so we don't get like screwed over kind of thing. And, but yeah, I enjoyed it. I did not expect to like it that much. And so I was pleasantly surprised.
I am no longer pleasantly surprised by these because I have resigned myself to the fact that whatever Jeff brings over before the show is going to be fun.
Well, I
And
based
now
it
we're-
on Isle of Cats, which I was kind of like,
I know.
eh.
It started in the negative.
No, I
That's
do
why
agree.
I said that. Not
I do
because
agree
Jeff
when you
brought
said
it over.
that.
Sure.
Well, yeah, but typically we like to know a little bit about the game we're going to play. You
Yeah.
know, we like to redo our own research. But when we play games before the show, it's just like Jeff's like, "Hey, I got something I want to play. Let's play it." And we're like, "Okay." And I have changed my tune on it. Used to be like, okay, let's see what we got. And then game after game, I'm like, I liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's to the point where I'm like, why am I acting fuddy-duddy-ish? Now it's just like,
Well, keep
cool.
doing it. Keep the
All right,
expectations
yeah.
low. I don't want to.
Yeah, you don't
want
wanna
to raise it.
Then you'll
So,
always be pleasantly
This
surprised.
game gave me reminiscence of a lot of stuff. One of them that Natalie hit on was The Crew. And I think that's a really good comparison that Natalie said, The Crew, because it has that feel of it could get samey, right?
Yeah.
The game is not, there's not a lot to it.
Right.
So if it didn't have different ways to switch it up, like the scenarios do, like we even just played one in our second play where now you have to get this one cat there in order.
Right.
Like, okay, even just that is enough. Because if it was just every scenario was just a harder puzzle to manipulate around, I would get bored.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not just that. It adds, Jeff explained a litany of other things that it adds to change it up. The core of the game is the same game, like The Crew. The
Yeah.
core of the game and The Crew is the same. But The Crew changes it up every mission with a completely different way that you have to achieve your goal.
Yes.
And this game has that too. And I think that it would stop it from getting samey because of that exact thing. Because I was worried about that initially. It reminded me also of this game called Dulce. Do you remember Dulce?
Yes, I do.
It had, if you guys are listening remember Dulce, it's got the cards that are like square cards with a grid pattern. They're almost exactly the same cards in this game, and you're doing the same thing. You're overlaying them in ways that are making different patterns, and you can kind of lay them on top of each other in different ways. And that was my favorite part of Dulce. I really liked that. And I was happy to see that mechanism in this game. When you were explaining it, Jeff, I was like, oh, fuck yeah. That's cool. I like that. And you're just trying to make a path from the one cat to the raft. And it was very simple. And I think my favorite part of the game was I don't know how these fucking designers know they can do this. I always wonder how much playtesting it takes to get a game, to make a game feel like there's tension. That has to be the hardest fucking thing to get into your game. And so we played this, and Jeff was like, listen, guys, I played it on the tutorial mode, and it was so fucking easy. I don't even know if I was like, uh-oh, what have I done here?
Yeah.
And so when you said that to me, I was like, well, it sounds like they didn't give this game enough attention, maybe.
Yeah.
It didn't get enough time. And we played it on, you said level 2?
Yes.
So 40% to 40% difficulty, basically. It's not even like halfway hard. And
It's just a half.
there was a lot of tension very early on in this game as you're playing these Dice Manor humongoid fucking polyomino tiles onto the board. And if you play it wrong, just a couple of them, you get a couple turns back to back where you pull these like wrong tiles.
Yeah, like,
all of a sudden,
shit.
like, I'm fucked here.
Yeah.
And so, but at the same time, it felt like in both our plays that we won, but we didn't have that much time left.
No.
If we didn't win now, we would have possibly been fucked in the next couple of turns. Sometimes maybe even the very next turn. I remember on our second play, we were like, we got to do it in this order because I don't think we have time.
Yeah, we
don't
had
have
to go
time.
into another round because we were short.
Yeah, we're
We
short.
didn't
We're
plan
not
it out
gonna
well.
be able to create the path and then survive another pull from the bag of the polyomino tiles. And that really impressed me. And if this is Frank West that designed it, you said?
Yes.
That very much impressed me. That I think is one of the hardest intangible things to get into a game is that's why I love so much about this game, Claustrophobia. Is every game I've played of Claustrophobia, it seems like the pinnacle moment is at the end. And that's what you want. You want it to ramp up to this conclusion that it leaves it in a dramatic
fight,
fashion.
something,
And
right?
this game had that kind of like dramatic feel to it, where you're pulling tiles out of the bag and you're like, oh my god, we got to move these cats. Like every pull of a tile from the bag to me was stressful and dangerous because not only are they potentially getting in your way, but they're polyomino tiles and they're not perfect polyomino tiles, so they don't fit together the way that you want them to all the time, and you have to fit them together in a certain way that's not going to fuck you over,
Right.
And that's really stressful and panic inducing. If I had a negative about this game, I think my initial negative that I think is assuaged a bit was that it could potentially become samey very quickly. But I do think that with the scenarios and
there's
all the
so
different
many.
stuff that Jeff told me
Yeah.
about that's in there, I think that it won't be. I think that it won't feel samey, and I think that it's got enough stress to it that we were only 40% through, and I felt that stress big time. If now all of a sudden we get to 60%, difficulty, and it's like, now it's like we're probably going to lose.
Yeah.
We have to play it a couple times to make sure we do it. Where right now I felt like we're on
probably gonna
40%.
win,
We're
but
probably
it
going to
felt
win,
like a
but it
good
was
amount of
stressful. And
tension.
the math checks out there. You're at a level 2. That's how it should feel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It should feel like you're probably going to win, but it's going to be a little difficult. And so I'm interested to see how it feels as it ramps, mostly from a design perspective, because that impresses the shit out of me. I think if I had one negative thing to say, though, I would say it is revolving around putting your hand in the bag and taking out polyomino tiles. You put your hand in that bag, you can easily feel the size of these fucking things. And if
Yeah.
you don't just like reach in and grab, you can easily be like, that one's too big, I don't want to grab that one, and go a little further. Oh, now this one's only 3.
Yeah.
And then pull that out.
And they're
I don't know
usually
how
pretty
you.
big.
But
like,
most of them I think are really big.
Most of them are really
there's
big,
no
but you.
single. I don't think there is anything smaller than 4.
Yeah,
of
there's a 4,
squares,
but there's
yeah.
also like a 6 and a 7, right?
Yeah,
they get
there's big
huge.
ones,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Yeah, you
is
could
there a
definitely
rule
play that.
about that?
I don't
Is it
think
just like a
so.
spirit of the rule of the game kind of thing?
Probably
I
more
mean,
of just
I feel
like
like we
maybe
came
the first
across,
one
like,
you touch
1-4.
or but yeah,
Yeah.
maybe it's like
Yeah,
the
it's like
first
you
one
reach in, you touch. It's just hard
or maybe
because
they're all smushed, you don't necessarily know the shape or
Yeah.
You'd hope that people don't play
do
that.
I
that,
couldn't really tell.
but there was one time I dug my hand in and I reached by one and I was like, "That's fucking big," and I kept moving, and I was like, "I'm probably not supposed to do that. I'm probably supposed to just grab the first one I touch," and it's almost like that's impossible to get around. So I didn't really love that part about it. Other than that. I think I could see us owning this game.
I know,
this
me
is
too.
Natalie and I love cooperative games so
Yeah.
much. We love cooperative puzzle games so much. This kind of seems like it could be a really good one to add to the collection.
Yeah.
I really liked it.
I liked the whole puzzle of the thing. And I think the puzzle was better than I thought it was going to be. And just the reason I wanted to play it with the two of you because I know you like those type of cooperative games that you just said, the Crew, Decorum, other ones.
Yeah.
And this one it's fast. The setup is very, very quick.
Yeah.
You just read what's in the thing and like
Yeah, we were up
there
and
was
running
almost
very
nothing
fast.
Oh, yeah.
to do. And then again, you can play it twice in under an hour.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
You can play it, and if
For
you're
sure.
probably you can probably play it 3 times in an hour.
Yeah, especially
Yeah.
if you lose
Definitely.
quickly.
Yeah, and you can just go. And it felt tight. What we played today versus what I played in the tutorial. I would say if you have never played this game or ever played, I think you should easily jump into regular campaign. You probably don't even need to do the tutorial.
that.
No,
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Just
Especially if you're a
especially
gamer.
with people, that could be an instant turnoff
Yeah, it was too easy.
For like something like Dwarf Romantic, when we played that first one, I was just like, this is
You're
not.
like, "Ew, what is
Yeah.
this?" Yeah.
Start me
you know,
off.
Start
me
off
off
with
with
maybe
something.
campaign
Harder.
one,
Yeah.
or so. I was not going to come over here and just play the tutorial because that would have. I think we would have been like, oh, that's kind of.
Yeah, I don't want to play this anymore.
And I also think this is a game that I might just set up on my table and play it by myself randomly.
Wow, that's huge.
Like-
You don't play solo games.
No, and this one is just so fucking easy. I don't need to know. I don't need to like do other things or like flip
Yeah.
cards or someone block. Like I can just take a turn, right? I can go and in the 20 minutes between I put Jack to bed, Devin's like putting Jack to bed, and I go downstairs and wait for her to come down, and it's 20 minutes.
Yep,
I can
play
play.
two
I
games,
can play
yeah.
two. Because by myself, it's just me thinking through the
Yeah.
puzzle.
So do you think you might go through the campaign then?
Maybe I think I might start where we left off. I don't think I'm going to go backwards.
Do you think Devin's not going to like this game?
I think she would give it a try.
Because it's got a little of that polyomino stuff that she's not
and
a
she
fan
doesn't
of.
love that. I even like there's like the cards that you draw from show you a little bit of information of what might be on the other side of the cards.
Yeah,
So
that's interesting.
there's 4 different piles, and like in one pile it shows hey, a third of the squares in this pile are going to be blue. Doesn't mean you're going to get a blue. It just means a third of them are blue, and a third of them are yellow, and a sixth of them are this. And I like that because there was even like a decently fun decision right at the beginning to go, all right, let's split up. Maybe you take some of the blue cards, you take some of the yellow cards.
Good point.
And-
I
Yeah.
like that. I
And then
like
at the
that
end-
decision.
Cool.
That was a really cool decision to
Yeah.
make.
Or like one point we're like, okay, we only have blue and red left, so we all just took cards that
Yeah,
had
screw those other
as
piles.
much blue and red as we could, and then hopefully we had a good
It makes
chance to
you-
like quickly like take
Makes
care
you
of the rest
feel like
of
you
it.
have a little bit of agency in the cards you're drawing instead of a giant stack, and you're like, we're screwed. But you could draw them, and then you could draw them and be like, we're kind of screwed. And the cards, but you didn't need to play every card on the board, right? You discard maybe the ones that don't work and
Yep.
move. So I'm excited to actually try more of the game, even if it's just by myself. And
I really enjoyed it with 3.
me too. I thought it was great.
Yeah, me too.
And add in even just the like advanced rules that kind of, if it seems like it's still getting easy, or because it's just me, is it easier to work out because I have all the information in my hand that I can see what I'm doing versus Ryan saying he has a good yellow card and he plays a yellow card, but I'm like, I had a little better yellow card. Like I didn't know.
Yeah.
But when all the information's me, maybe it becomes a little easier and I can ramp up the level there. But it exceeded my expectations starting in the minus because Isle of Cats didn't hit for me,
Same.
Devin, or the two of you.
Yep.
But yeah, Race to the Raft. I enjoyed it.
That was a great game. I liked it a lot too. Thanks for showing it to us. So I'm not going to talk a ton about this last game. We are going to talk about it if we keep going with it. We'll talk about it either more on the podcast or we might talk about it a little more on the Patreon. This one is. I just got this on Kickstarter. Just yesterday we got it.
I think so.
I think so. And this is the next Off the Page Games game. Do you remember the first Off the Page Games game, Natalie?
Mind management?
Mind management. So what Off the Page Games does is they make board games based on like graphic novels, comic books. I'm not sure if they're going to do actual other books as well, but this latest game is a comic called Harrow County. And I just bought the first and second omnibus off Amazon.
What's that?
It's like a collection of the comics that are like in a,
the comics.
in a book,
Got
right?
it.
So I just bought them because I think the story is really interesting. So the game, Natalie, this game has a weight of 4. Okay. 4 out of 5.
Really?
Yes. It's very heavy, which is crazy
Oh,
to
I
me.
mean, we only played the very base.
Which we'll talk about in a second. So the story basically goes, there's a witch, okay, named Hester. She was hung, burned, and buried under a tree.
Which?
A witch! Very small rocks.
Rocks. A deck.
Sometime later, the family of Hester comes to Harrow County to destroy it. But standing in their way is an 18-year-old girl named Emmy, who was mysteriously born from the tree, I believe, that the witch Hester was hung and burned and buried underneath. She's got powers of her own. Okay, I took a lot of that from the BGG description, but basically, you are playing an asymmetric game here. It's kind of like a battler, but if you're playing as the family of Hester, who was burned alive at this tree.
Sure, it's not Nestor.
You're right. It is Nestor.
So it's that tree's in Miami.
You know what's funny about that? Nestor
Nestor's,
is talking in the
blowing up
Discord
the
right
Discord.
now.
Yeah, he is. I know. Nestor, take it easy.
Yeah.
We're
Clearly you
recording
don't-
here
we're
recording,
during
Nestor.
Super
We're recording
Bowl.
during the Super Bowl.
Listen, Hester.
Speaking of that, we were like shocked that you were like gonna record with us because we were like, we can only do Sunday, and
I
you're
was
like,
like,
how
Jeff's
about
probably not
Sunday
gonna want
evening? And
to.
we're like, that's the
Well, I
Super
sat there and I'm
Bowl.
like, fuck those teams.
Yes,
Yes,
that's what I thought.
We're like, who cares?
Fuck both of those teams.
We
I hope they
canceled
both
both.
lose.
Yeah.
We canceled all the ways to watch it after the Lions lost, and we're like, we're not even gonna watch it.
No
the
way.
Super Bowl.
So let's talk about Nestor in this Harrow County
Yeah,
game.
okay.
So it's a 2-player, sometimes 3-player.
Oh.
I think it even could potentially be a 4-player, but it's mostly a
It says 2
2-player.
to 3 on the
sometimes.
box.
It's mostly 2-player, asymmetric game where the family of Nestor, who was burned at the tree, is coming back to try to take revenge and destroy the town. Okay, the other player plays as basically the protectors of the town, who are trying to rescue townsfolk from the family. Okay, and you each do this. And it's a race to 7 points. Essentially, is the, if I can abstract the game, it's a race to 7 points. If you're the family, you're trying to create a line. The board is like this, like, I don't know, it's like a grid of hexes.
It reminded me of like Terra Mystica.
It did kind of seem like Terra Mystica
Just
in
like
a way.
hexes with different
some
terrains.
terrain types on them.
Yeah.
If you're the protectors of the town, you're trying to get your little minion guys and yourself situated in such a way that you can create a path from where you are to this townsfolk meeple, who's basically kind of next to the bad guys. If you can create a complete path, you will rescue that townsfolk person and earn 2 points. Okay. If you're the family trying to destroy the town, there's little town building meeples that are kind of situated by the protectors of the town, and you have these powers that are like storms. You have to create a path basically of these storm tiles that connect from the building all the way to your home spot. If you do that, you destroy the building and you earn 2 points. You can also earn points by battling each other, and battling, Jeff, works in the way of a cube tower
this
that's
is cool.
built into the box.
Whoa,
The
what?
cube tower is the box.
It's crazy.
Whoa, it's crazy cool.
You know how you stand the box up when you play a game just to like show the cover?
Yeah.
That's what you do.
That's the
And
cube
there's a
tower.
hole in the top and then a hole in the front and it goes
That's
through
cool.
and
Yeah.
it pops out.
So it creates that chance result where there's actions you can take that put more cubes onto your side, and then when you actually have a battle, you take both cubes of each side, you put them in the cube tower. Whichever one comes out that has more is basically the winner of the battle, and then you can do some things to mess with the player. Essentially, what you're trying to do is you're trying to create a path from the home tile to your thing, right? If you're the protectors, the thing you're trying to create the path to is the villagers. If you're the family, the thing you're trying to create the path to is the village itself. And you also get points for killing off in battles your opponent's pieces. You also get points. There's this center tile is this bramble bush, and you can earn points if you're in there at the end of the round, but it's hard to stay in there because you can get killed much easier. And there's a bunch of different powers you can employ. There's a bunch of different characters to use that we have not discovered yet. So I am just going to give a kind of very high level overview of this game. It's very chess-like. It's very tactical. And for that reason, I enjoy it a lot. There's a lot to discover, a lot to figure out, and so much that we have yet to learn. So I was just really excited to just kind of share with you guys that we played it. And if you've never played an off-the-page game like Mind Management or this, what have you played, Natalie, that's like Harrow County?
Nothing.
I mean, there's not much like this game. It's very, very different.
Is the hole in the tree? Is that where the dice comes out of?
Yep, it comes out of the tree.
Okay,
Yep.
just look at the box cover, and there's a very clear.
That's pretty cool. I've never
Yep.
seen
Thing
anything like that. Yeah, it comes out there and there's a hole in
Okay.
the top.
There's a hole in the top. That you
And
put the cubes in.
inside there's like a dice tower.
A cube tower. Yeah.
Cube tower.
Yep. Yeah. I haven't played anything quite like this game. And just the fact that it's got this amazing visceral artwork that I can only imagine is just like the comic book. Hearing that story at the beginning about Nestor being burned at the tree, at this tree, for being a witch, and then the family who also has magical powers is coming back to take revenge. But there's this girl Emmy who was like born from the tree,
very thematic.
and she has these powers too. Just like seeing all that in the box artwork and everything really made me excited to try to read the comic book, and so I'm very excited to get that in the mail.
So just
Tyler Crook is the artist. Looks like first time artist on a board game.
Wow.
oh, okay,
I don't-
so it's not like
Very
the artist
Jamesian.
of the
TJ.
comic book, like
It
the
could
Matt Kint thing.
Well, it could
might be. Yeah.
So this what I'm looking at
okay.
on Board
Probably
Game
is.
Geek is only their board game art listing. So I could look this person up
Gotcha.
while you finish talking.
Yeah. So I'm just very, very excited that this game company, I should say, they seem to make these board games that are so visceral to the subject matter, the source material. Mind Management wasn't only great because it was a hidden movement, really cool mechanical game. It's also great in part to the subject source material that it's made and based on. And it's extremely visceral, and it's just really, really cool. And I really like playing this game mostly for the way it looks. The theme is awesome because the story is cool. Most board games don't do narrative very well at all. Right. And the topic and the the artwork, it just really draws you into this game. And I'm very excited to hopefully, if Natalie and I will actually
Get our shit together
and play this more. I'm excited to see more about what this game has to offer, because we've only played on the very, very first chapter, which doesn't even really give you all of the mechanisms of the game.
It makes you
There's-
kind of start
yes.
out with the base
He's the artist. He's the artist for the comic book.
I figured. That's cool. That's
Tyler
awesome.
Crook also wrote the comic book. Him and Cullen Bunn wrote the comic book. He did the art for the comic book and the board game, obviously.
You can tell. I mean, I haven't even seen the comic book, but you can tell this game is a comic book game by looking at the box,
Yeah,
right? You can tell this is
sure.
a graphic novel, just like the same way you could Mind Management. It's beautiful. It's so cool. It's like nothing I've played before right now, but it's very tactical. So if you enjoy like a 2-player kind of tactical-ish game, it's not necessarily like a skirmish game though. You can battle, yes, but the battling in a cube tower doesn't feel like the same somehow as we're next to each other rolling dice. I don't know why, but it doesn't. It doesn't feel the same.
I agree
It doesn't hurt you as bad.
with your comparison to chess, where you're like, we're sitting on two different sides, and I'm kind of like, okay, what's my next move? Do I do this? Do I do this? And then I kind of have to kind of plan ahead, and then I'm going to try to do this.
And then
do
based
this.
on what you do, now what do I do?
And then
Like,
you
okay, you got
react.
these guys
Yeah.
here. I should try to block you. And it's like, oh, but then you might attack me. But if you so maybe I should add cubes to the forest. So if you attack me, I'm ready.
Yeah.
And it's got all these really cool ways to just kind of like strategize, I guess is the only thing I can say.
Yeah.
Like strategically, position yourself on a turn by turn basis. You're not really looking 10 moves ahead. You can have an overall like, okay, I'm going to do this because you want to get that path.
Yeah.
But you really have to be like, okay, she's coming right for me in the path I wanted to go for. We're going to clash.
Right.
You
And
know,
then you're also
and-
limited by like the actions that you can take, because like if you take one during that round, you can't take it again until the next round. And
One thing
you
so
gotta
far in the
plan it.
negative of this game is this was so fucking difficult to learn and teach. I watched a rules video, and it was considered the best. All the comments were like, "This is the best rules video for Harrow County."
Who do we know
I think it's the publisher itself.
Okay.
Is the channel, and so I watched it, and I was like, okay, what?
Like, that was the best.
I'm like, yeah, I was like, oh no, I didn't, what? And so I watched it again, and I was like, okay, I think I maybe just wasn't paying attention the whole time, and you have to. And then I was like, all right, Natalie, I set it up, and I'm like, let's play it. And I was like, fuck, I don't think I can play it. I got to do more. So I read the rule book, and the rule book, it's written in 5 chapters. The first chapter,
Yes, chapters.
it explains like
Who'd have guessed?
it explains like part of the game. The second chapter, it adds more. And then the third chapter is the main game. But if you just go to the third chapter to learn the game, it's like apply everything you learned in chapters 1 and 2. And it's like, so you have to like read the whole thing to even the first 2 to get to the third, even though the third is really what employs.
Yeah.
I hated that. I really wished that there was just one thing that was like, if you want to play with the full experience, read this, and this will teach it to you. The way it's laid out is confusing. And the rules, there's a lot of rules. This is a heavy game. It's only like 45 minutes though, right? It's like a chess
it's
game.
not long.
So it's heavy because you're really trying to like figure out what to do and how best to get there because it's over, like lickety split.
Do you think you'll need to read the rules again? Or
Yes,
kind of
that's the problem. Unless we play tomorrow.
Sure.
Or maybe at most next week. Any further than that, I'm going to be like, what? I can't remember. And unfortunately, that is going to be the one potential thing that's going to make this game not work out for us. I could probably put mind management on the table right now after not playing it for 6 months,
me
and
too.
we know how to do it.
Yeah.
And that's a big detractor for us at this stage of our gaming journeys. If I have to relearn all the rules, if I haven't played a game in a few months, it's gonna be a hard press to get to the table over other games I don't. We could put Castles of Burgundy on the table right now. We know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's games like that where it's just like, okay, well, we're just gonna play that then, probably. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if you can get Harrow County yet. It just kind of arrived on the Kickstarter backers just kind of gotten it. Yep, I kickstarted it because again, this was the next follow-up game from Mind Management. That hit like crazy for not just us, right? A ton of people. I'm not saying that this is a sophomore slump here at all. We have only played the very, very beginning. I am looking forward to getting into it more.
Yeah, we haven't played.
If any of what I said
game yet.
interests you, take a look into Harrow County, and you might enjoy yourself because, like I said, the subject source material is fucking sweet, and I can't wait to dig into that. So that's Harrow County.
The Gamecasters have a sponsor. We have partnered up with Modern Meeple, company behind the famous Gamey Susan, which is a lazy Susan that holds extremely high-quality board game component trays. These trays are the picture of luxury. Made right here in the USA, they are made from a wood-based material that's dyed throughout with a number of different colors to choose from, and should you drop or ding them, they will still retain that color. These things are so great looking on the table, and displaying them on your game shelves will really elevate your status with your neighbor, which is good because he's been lording that damn elk head over the fireplace for the last 5 years and really needs to shut up. So head on over to modernmeeple.com to check out all the great products they have. And if you find something you like, enter discount code GAMECASTERS at checkout to receive free shipping. And a couple cool Gamecasters keychains as well. Once again, that's modernmeeple.com. The Gateway Network is now defunct, but our merchandise sure isn't. If you're looking to get some great Gamecasters or Mad Board Gamer gear, head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store and you'll find that there. We have also partnered up with Tim of Sir Meeple, who is creating custom Gamecasters designs for us, so you can go to sirmeeple.com, click the pull down under creators, and find us there under Board Game Podcasts. More stuff will be added frequently, and what a great way to support two creators at the same time. A dream for most of us, am I right, Natalie? So once again, that's sirmeeple.com. You click the pull down under creators and find us under Board Game Podcasts. If you're looking to support the show, maybe consider flushing your money down the Gamecasters toilet by way of our Patreon page. There are 4 different tiers which will get you access to behind-the-scenes content, exclusive content, or content ahead of time. You will also get swag that nobody else has access to, and just the opportunity to help out and support a podcast which you sometimes listen to. We have amazing patrons. Thank you so much for your support, guys. If you'd like to donate to help us pay for things like hosting fees and that blank that Jeff's had his eye on, please head on over to patreon.com/The Gamecasters to help out. Possibly the best way to interact with all of us, though, is via our Discord server. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, you can check out our link tree in our bio to get access to our server. It's a great way to engage with all 3 of us on a daily basis, as well as meet a bunch of like-minded, awesome people. So check out our Discord server. It's now the time of the show where Jeffs, you, and we on today's installment of the Instagram Inboxer.
And now it's time for the Instagram Inbox with the Mad Board Gamer.
Welcome to the Instagram Inbox. It's time to wee.
Wee.
All right. So I went on the social medias of the world, and I asked the question, which was brought up. I should have realized who told us this.
Sean.
Sean. Sean was like, let's hear about this.
I think so.
And Sean was kind of asking like, what game got you into the hobby or whatever. So I kind of wanted to expand that a little bit, so we weren't sort of just reading a list of games.
Right.
And talk about how did you get into the hobby? So how did you get into the board game hobby? you're a fucking nerd. You're listening to a board game podcast, so just accept your nerdness. How did you get into
Everyone listening got into it.
How did
at
you
some point
get into this? So, do you guys want to start with your?
I would love
story?
to.
I was going to say
yeah.
Ryan would love to.
I would love to. I get to speak? Yeah.
talk
go
about
ahead.
myself.
Well,
Yeah.
Shut up, Natalie.
Why don't you talk about Natalie's and Natalie talk about yours?
So Natalie got into games because of me. So a long time ago in high school, we played this game called Hero Quest.
Yeah.
Okay. Our friend Bill that we talk about all the time owned it. And he was like, hey, I used to play this a long time ago. What if you want to try it and see how it goes? And I was kind of like, I guess so. I mean, I always played board games, right? Like everyone did, like Cranium and stuff like that.
Right.
And I always was like, oh yeah, board game nights are fun. But really, I had no fucking clue what I was talking about. So we played Hero Quest, and I was like, oh, what is this? This is so great. Mm-hmm. And that kind of kickstarted my love of that kind of gaming. But still, that was that, and that's all I did in high school.
Yeah.
Then fast forward till 2009, maybe. Again at Bill's, he was like, hey, let's play Hero Quest again. And I was like, yes, awesome. And so we started playing, and it was fucking great. We go over there every week, and we play Hero Quest for months. I feel like we did that. And then one day, he was like, you know what? I want to play. Because in Hero Quest, one person is like the GM and runs it. So they don't really get to play. They just kind of set the stuff up for you. He's like, I want to play with you. So he went on this website called GameFAQs, which was really a video game website that you use to get like FAQs about how to beat a video game. And they had a forum in there that was about board games. And so he, in that board game forum, asked a question, hey, are there any games like Hero Quest that I could play? That forum led him to Board Game Geek, which led him to Arkham Horror. He bought Arkham Horror, and then we played that, and it was like, wow, holy shit. And I don't like Arkham Horror at all. But I did at the time. It was like, whoa. And that led him to Kalis and to Carcassonne and Ticket to Ride and those games. And then when I first played Carcassonne, I knew that this was the hobby for me.
Yeah.
So those were all Bill's games.
Yeah.
And when did you start like buying games?
Early on. I mean, like 2010, I think, was when I first bought Carcassonne and this game called Last Night on Earth. Yeah, when I remember Bill made an order on Cool Stuff Inc.
Yep.
All right. And the order he was like, do you want? And I was like, I want Carcassonne. He's like, there's a big box version. I was like, get that for me.
He was like, why don't you pay me to get you something so I can
pay me to get you something so I can get free shipping. Yeah. Right. It worked out for me, so I was fine with it. So the game arrived, and I don't know that I have felt this way getting something. I was so excited when I got that big box Carcassonne game. I was like, this is the coolest. I felt it was like, I don't know how to explain
the one
it.
we have today?
Yeah, that same one we got.
Wow,
yep,
that's your
absolutely. That was my
first
first game I ever had. I ever purchased.
I don't think I realized that.
Well, hobby game, of course, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had stuff like we used to play like what's the one where you're touching the tiles to the corners?
Cute.
Blockus.
Yeah.
Like,
I was like, what?
like that's what we played a lot. We would go over there and hang out and play games. We played like Blockus 3D and stuff like that. But like actual game was Carcassonne. And then I bought Last Night on Earth and then Fitz and games like that. And those were like my first games. And now now I have a podcast.
Oh, look at you.
What about you, Natalie?
Natalie?
Well, similar to you, I played a lot of Target-y games. Back in the day, like with my family and stuff, I was like the game person. Every time we'd have a get together, they'd be like, Natalie, bring the games. And I'd bring a bag of games. But like you said, it's like Taboo and like
Craniums.
Categories, stuff like that.
Categories,
Yeah,
Balderdash.
Oh, Balderdash was awesome.
Things like that. And I had a lot of different games, but they were those kind of games, like party games or
Mass market
games. And then I met you, and you,
Me or Jeff?
Ryan.
Oh, okay.
Then I met Ryan, and he was like,
I didn't meet that far after that.
It was actually we met at work, and I remember my boss, my boss and her boss were going to take you out to lunch early on when you started working there.
It was like when I got hired. I got hired in, and they were like, "We're going to take you out to lunch."
But then her boss like dropped out, and I think she kind of felt awkward just taking you to lunch. So she just asked me just randomly because she really liked me, and she's like, "Oh, you want to go with us?" And I was like, "Okay." And so then me, Ryan, and my boss went out to lunch, and then we were just chatting, and we somehow mentioned that like we both liked games, and he's like, "Oh, do you want to play a game at lunch sometime?" And I'm like, "Okay." And so he brought Splendor to lunch, and we played it, and I was kind of like, ooh, what? Like, this is great. And so then he's like, oh, she likes this. And then we kind of just started playing more games together. And at lunch, we incorporated our other friend Megan, and he introduced us to just like a bunch of games, and that's where it started for me.
And now you're on a board game podcast.
Now
you're on a board game
Jeff, how about you, man?
I think so. I played some games like that. There wasn't like a daily or a weekly like categories night or something, but I do remember vaguely kind of playing those games. I played a lot of like little card games with my dad, or we played like this game Sequence. Do you kind of remember that
I remember
game?
Sequence. We played Outburst a lot too.
Dad and I played a lot of
Outburst was great.
cribbage growing up.
I never actually played cribbage. It's a card game, right?
Yep. And he liked it a lot because it was like a kind of a mathy sort of game, and he liked that. I played euchre like crazy in high school, and that's if you don't know euchre, it's sort of a
Midwest.
northerny, midwestern U.S. kind of game. But it's a game. If you've ever played like hearts or spades, it's
like a playing card
in that category.
game.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I played a lot of that, and then went off to college. And during one of the video game Nerd Fest back a long time ago, there was a copy of Ghost Stories, and I was lured into Ghost Stories with, hey, just play with us really quick. We'll die in 10 minutes and you can go back to playing Halo or whatever the fuck we were playing.
Yep.
And then we ended up like having this epic victory. I don't know if it was like the first time you ever beat the game or something. And it was just.
I wrote about it. You can go on Board Game Geek and you can find my actual write up about it, which apparently was Jeff's swan song into the hobby.
So that was a big part. I was like, this is really fun, right? It was a fun because it was a co-op game. So again, that's a good way to introduce people. And it was exciting, right? There were new things that I've never seen in games before. And then I was still like at college, so I went back, and every once in a while, I jumped in on that Monday game group that Ryan and Bill had been going on, and we played Arkham Horror, and I liked Arkham Horror. Again, that was a new thing,
right.
And then we played Carcassonne. It was just kind of like that slow evolution into.
Isn't that funny? Like at the beginning, every like new game you play, you're like, wow,
This is amazing. This is amazing.
Wow,
This is amazing.
There's something like this.
Yeah.
Wow, there's something like this.
And that was cool. And and I at Michigan State there was a like comic book / game shop, just like they all kind of are, where I kind of rolled around and bought a couple games, and I bought like D-Day dice on cool stuff. And,
yes, D-Day
and
dice.
And getting that first package of 5 games or something was really exciting. And just thinking now of just what shows up like every other week is just
daunting,
just disgusting. Yeah. But again, having that awesome feeling at the beginning of buying those new games was really exciting. You could do a little bit of research, you buy it. Like Ryan said, I don't know when I felt like that, other than maybe like the Castles of Burgundy Collector's Edition was a cool fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because I'd just been waiting so long for
years.
that.
I just got so into these stories that I like stopped for a second, and I'm like, why are we talking about
what
this?
are we-
I'm like, oh yeah, we're in the inbox.
What are we doing? All right, so let's go to the inbox. Let's go to the
Having a good
people.
time. We're just having a show.
I went on and I said, just how did you get into the board game hobby? What really happened? And you're going to hear some similarities to kind of ours as well. So Joe over at Board to Play on Instagram said he played games growing up like euchre and actually played crokinole growing up, which was really
I mean, he's from the Great White North, so that's what.
and
that's
one
where that
day
hails
just
from.
happened to go into a board game store. I don't know, just lured him in there and bought Pandemic. And then one thing led to another, and he's balls deep, and he's got a problem.
Yeah.
That's it. And so Pandemic
And now
really
he's
led him in
photographing
there.
these games.
Yep. Ryan Harms on Instagram said a similar thing. He used to play Rummy Cube and
that's a great
Sorry
game. That.
and Phase 10 with his grandparents. Played that sort of until his early 20s, and then fell into the hobby when he started playing Ticket to Ride. He played Raiders of the North Sea when it came out, and then just, again, you can't stop it.
Can't stop.
Once you're like,
Once
I love
a few
this.
suck you in, then
It's
you're just
over.
like,
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's really, it's like the
sucking
first
me?
time, like
Oh
when
my
you have
God.
sex, you're like, I
Ryan.
can't not have
I would
sex
love
anymore.
a few to suck me.
yeah.
Yeah, right. What are you going to do? Not have sex?
What am I
What do you
doing?
expect me to do? Not fuck this vagina?
What do you want me to do? Not fuck this? I don't understand.
How am I supposed to not fuck this? This is so good.
It was great. I don't get
Great.
it.
God, it feels awesome. Fucking is so fun. Can we talk about fucking
Oh
for a
my
second?
God.
I
What
love
got you into the fucking hobby?
I love
Yeah.
fucking. One time I
One
fucked
time
and I
you
was
did
like,
it, and then you're like, I have to keep doing
I want to
this.
fuck again.
Like,
can I fuck
like
you
a
now?
lot.
As soon as you
Like
started
I know we
talking
just
about
finished, but if you give me just a
Give me
small
like
amount of time,
20 minutes and we can
do
fuck
it
one more
again.
time.
We can do it again. See if it feels the same or
Then
better.
I'll have to sleep for a couple days. But after that, let's fuck some more.
It's gonna be great.
I love fucking so much.
as soon as you started talking about fucking, there's like this big vein
Yeah,
that
it's
like
fucking
popped out
vein.
in your
There's a big vein in your penis just started popping up.
intense.
Blood is a flowing.
It's going
That's
straight
what it
from your
runs.
forehead
Right
to your
to the
Right
penis.
to my peen. We'll be right back.
All right. Oh boy. And we're back.
Wow.
All right, well, Swoozle decided to say.
Okay.
After playing games very sporadically from time to time, a friend of him asked him to join in on a sort of a campaignish type of game that needed 4 players. So he said, okay, cool. That game turned out to be Mechs vs. Minions, and playing it all over the course of 4 weeks with 3 of his really close friends said that was just one of the most fun experiences he's ever
What
had.
a great game Mechs versus Minions is.
It is.
Yeah. And
I don't know
just-
how it ends, but
Just him thinking about, like, how many times have you played a
almost made
game
it.
and then you play a game and you sort of forget it, right? You forget the moments and you
Yep.
forget this thing, but this memory kind of
core
sticking in
memory.
his brain
Yeah.
is really cool. So he just said it ended up being just the perfect situation. He started to fall in love with the hobby. And that was the Swooze.
Swooze.
Nestor, who was dying
Burned
on
under a
or
tree.
burned under a
Burned.
tree. Yep. So he casually walked into a game store. Again, I don't know what just lures these people in, but they casually walked in a game store, saw a bunch of people playing card games. He knew that wasn't his thing. He was like, fuck that. But at the far end of this group, someone was playing Sagrada. He stood there looking at the beautiful colored dice and wondered how the game was played.
Yeah.
So he actually was invited. Someone sitting there said, come play the next game. And he played it. And he said a few moments later, he basically stayed for an hour and played the games and played a couple more. And then he bought a copy of Sagrada for $15 because it was opened. And there it is.
Damn.
That's cool.
Speaking of Nestor, if you're listening to this, will you bring back the memes? I missed the memes.
He got a couple last time.
He did. I missed the after
The 30, that
episode
was
30
great.
memes he would do. I'm Nestor, meme us, please.
Meme us.
Meme us.
Just meme us.
Meme us up, Nestor.
Yeah. Mason Pierce on where am I at? I'm on the Discord, I think. Yep, Mason Pierce on the Discord, which I'm actually getting the Discord responses now that I messed up the whole moist one from a few episodes ago.
Oh, you did?
So sorry, you
What did
moist
you do- what do you-
people.
what happened?
I just missed everything on Discord.
Oh, people like messaged you and you just
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I
because
just
the direct
didn't-
messages are in like a different spot.
Yeah, and I just
kind of thing.
screenshotted them and I didn't put whatever. Who cares? No one
Who cares?
about
Who
that.
cares?
Mason Pierce, senior year of college, lived with 3 other guys who they usually just played euchre and poker with. Right?
Yeah, euchre poker.
Which that was one of our things that we did
Yeah.
a lot before we got into board games was play a shitload of poker.
Yeah, poker in the front, euchre in the rear.
Yep. And then one day,
God.
one day they started to play Dominion, and he instantly fell in love with Dominion, and it opened all these doors up to all these other games that his friends were happy to teach him. Right? Where they were like,
Yeah.
we got
Here
you
we
with
go.
Dominion. Let's keep going." And then he said, "Fun fact: Dominion was also the first hobby game that he had to purchase." Because he spilled on the original copy of Dominion to his friend. So he had to buy that to give to his friend.
Yeah.
And
didn't even
also,
get to
big
keep
shout
it.
out to Mason Pierce, who played Castles Burgundy for the first time recently.
Yeah, that was
Oh,
crazy.
cool.
Okay, and do you want to know what
He
happened?
loved it.
He fucking loved it, and he bought the special edition. He's like, that
Oh my
escalated really
gosh.
quickly.
So he didn't even get to go through what we all went
No.
through for a decade
So
or
he
more.
bought it, played the maybe the original one or the 2019 copy, played it a few times, loved it so much he went and
Oh,
bought.
okay, so he did
He didn't
play.
play it.
He didn't play for the first time on the
yeah,
new
I
fancy
think the
version.
2019 is the like maybe the 10th
God,
anniversary
to be
or
Mason
whatever.
Pierce playing Castle of Burgundy for the first time, being like, "This is incredible." Oh, there's a super sweet
Oh,
special
I'll just buy
edition.
the
I'll just
Super
get that
Sweet
one.
Yeah.
We have
No,
to languish
no, you have to
for
play it 80 times
a
before
decade.
you-
Yeah,
Cool that, like
exactly.
he just now played it, and it's like a game that's fairly old, and it still like holds up.
Well, that's good. We talked about that in the NFW kind of about, is Castles of Burgundy,
Yeah, Feld's.
Stefan Feld's swan song, right? And I think it was Z
Yeah.
that was talking about, like, if it was designed now, if it was just designed now, I think Marrakesh is better. So Mason Pierce kind of, his experience kind
Yeah.
of, juxtaposes against that. a
Yes,
little
I
bit.
disagree with Z on that, but here's Z on this one.
All right, let's hear Z.
Z says when he was in the Air Force, we had a conference room set up with a game of Axis and Allies, and they would play every day at lunch. And his first non-mass market game was playing a bunch of Arkham Horror.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Captain Pedantic over on the Discord said, my friend Shelly invited me to this thing called Nerd Fest, and I thought these board games are kind of fun.
that was not
It
his
wasn't, I know.
first time in the hobby,
He said, I want to see if
Sean.
Ryan and Natalie will fall for this one. They did.
No.
I know
So-
that was his first introduction to us, though.
Yeah.
It was?
Yeah,
'Cause
he
he
said
didn't
on the
listen to
way
us.
there, they played our podcast, and he's kind of like, okay. And then he's like, by the end of the weekend, I was like, obsessed.
Oh, he got right. That's right.
Remember
Wasn't-
he wrote that thing after
Didn't he
Nerd
say
Fest,
like
and we were.
he was like Nerdfest? Well, they only have like 10 events. This stupid fucking thing. Right at first,
Yeah.
and then he
Yeah.
was like, "Oh, I remember
Well, 'cause
that
he didn't
right up
listen,
now."
like, he
And he
didn't
was
know
like,
it.
"I
Now
didn't get it."
He's like
That
number
was
one
awesome.
fan.
That's well, I'm getting chills thinking back to those responses.
Yeah, that
he
was
said.
great.
That was really
So he says, real story. So when he was in high school, he played Axis and Allies a couple times with like D&D friends. Later, he was in college working at a grocery store, flirted with this customer, ended up heading back to her place.
Oh,
Oh,
We made dinner together and played some weird math card game he doesn't remember.
I wouldn't either.
He says, nothing went any further.
Oh!
But fucking is so fun.
Fucking
I don't
is the
understand.
greatest. I know. I was hoping this would be about
blew it.
fucking.
Yeah,
Well, I thought that
fast
was why
forward-
he didn't remember the math card game.
Yeah,
Because he was fucking. That's what I thought.
He was
Too
like,
much
I just want
fucking.
to fuck. I don't care about this game. What is this game?
I was doing so much
1
fucking.
plus 1 is I want to fuck you. I don't understand. Math is dumb. Okay. So fast forward a year or two, working at a different grocery store. The same girl was working there, and my boss was flirting with her. He invited me over to their place together.
That's awkward.
So to be like, try to be like a wingman. Okay.
Sure.
So they played Settlers of Catan.
Okay.
Fast forward a couple of years later, he started to go to Gen Con for D&D.
Oh.
And then through that, started playing more board games, started playing them a little
Right.
regularly.
Sean's a big RPG
Yep.
player.
And then fast forward a few more years, Shelly invited him over. Shilly invited him over to play with Lintz and
Good. That's good.
at the new boyfriend's apartment. And then he thinks they played Seven Wonders and Small World, and really that was kind of the
That was the
push.
Very
catalyst.
cool.
so that was pretty cool. Slapian on
Greg.
Greg, I think
It's coming to Nerdfest.
Okay, I think this is it. Greg posted on the right on the Discord page. Nobody gives a shit. He said he was deployed overseas in the sandbox, and a buddy of his whipped out
Nice.
Carcassonne while the Wi-Fi was down. And when he got home, he started to dabble in different games, and now 4 years later, he has 500 board games sitting in his basement.
Wow.
It might not be his basement. I'm just saying basement.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Fully 54 on
Yes.
the Discord.
Alan Fullerton.
I think so, yeah.
And
Also
said,
coming to Nerdfest.
yes.
Is he?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, he lives in like Oregon too.
Yeah. Big
Oregon
trip.
2?
Yeah.
Where's that?
I mean, like he's far.
That's like off
It's in the ocean. Yeah. So when he first met his wife, they regularly played Catan with friends. So then they started to kind of expand it into playing like they played Munchkin, which was his first ever. Munchkin Zombies was the first one.
Okay.
And then over 10 years, she still regrets introducing him to the hobby. So there's that.
Right.
There's that thing.
Us boys have that really like when we like something, we get really into it. So I
Yeah.
can understand.
You
like if you're like, hey, I
do.
kind of like board games. You want to do this with me? And I'm like, sure.
I'm gonna buy
one of these
1
board
million.
games.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start a podcast.
Jack on Instagram. He said he started kind of playing Magic the Gathering with like family growing up. So that was sort
Okay.
of the beginning. And then they would play things like Risk and Monopoly. And then his sister brought home Seven Wonders and Flux. And that
Okay.
sort of really opened him up into other things that
Yeah.
existed outside of just Magic. So
Real quick, Jack
Yeah.
is also designing a board game. I don't know if you know
Yes.
this.
Yeah,
and
the art's been
he's
really cool.
doing the art for it, I think. I think the art
Yes.
is him, and it's great. Jack has also done some work on Everstone as well.
I think he might bring his game to Nerdfest.
I hope he does.
Should.
What I've seen so far, it looks really cool.
I'm excited.
So I'm excited to try it out. Yeah.
These people making things.
Motherfuckers.
He did say years
Talented
later his
bitches.
wife rolled a game-winning role in King of Tokyo, and then she got hooked.
Awesome.
So yeah.
That'll do it. That's a really fun game.
Yep. So my Instagram responses, Matthew Gallion, always enjoyed games like all the time kind of growing up, but really got into the hobby as a coping mechanism during COVID.
Sure.
So that
yeah.
really kind of opened
I think
up
a lot
him
of
to
people
play.
got into
Yeah,
the
it, like,
hobby during
blew up.
COVID.
Yep. Mick Dave Mick says always was really involved in RPGs.
Yep.
Right? That was always kind of his thing.
Still is.
And then in early 2000s sort of got into more of like board games at conventions because he was at those things.
Yeah.
Right. JR Sketch and stuff I already said. Measles said played a little bit, but Mick Dave Mick helped him really see more of the gaming
Butts.
world.
Yeah.
Butts.
Some more butts.
See more fun.
The lady math magician. Do you know who this is?
No.
She said, I got into a board gamer.
I bet it was Heather.
It is Heather.
What's
Ta's
the name?
girlfriend.
Oh, poor Ta's girlfriend.
Heather Dorka?
Yeah, Heath
Yeah.
Dorka.
Heath Dorka?
Yeah.
She is a math teacher. That's how I got.
Yeah, she's a math teacher.
Oh,
Yeah.
cool.
She's high school math to a bunch of old kids who don't like math.
Okay.
But yeah, she said she got into a board gamer. That's how she got into
Yep,
board
got
games.
into a board gamer. That'll do it. That'll do it.
Heather Schwinneman said, Brian Beach the end.
She also got into a board.
Yeah.
Another
Board
Heather
gamer.
getting into a board gamer.
Yep.
2 in a row.
Shelley, whatever.
Right. Chili.
Shilly said, and backs up Captain Pedantic's story, says she used to like the lowbrow games, but got into the hobby when she met Lance, by
okay.
playing Small World and Seven Wonders, which was
Great
the Captain
game.
Pedantic, which is what he said as well.
Humans. Remember that?
Yeah. Man, that was great.
Yeah.
Hastama said the usual gateway drug, which was Catan.
Okay.
Same thing with Jess Fen 54.
Okay.
Jesfen. Said Settlers of
Also
Catan, and the
Catan.
rest was kind of the amount of people that game introduced to the hobby. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Catan, Ticket to Ride, Carcassonne,
Yeah.
maybe Pandemic is the fourth one. Is
Dominion?
They're just
Dominion too, yeah.
yeah. They for what you want to say about them now, and people still love them. I don't like Carcassonne. I like, but so I'm like I don't really want to play that anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't use those games to introduce people. But
True.
I think if you've been in the hobby for longer than 10 years,
Yeah, about a decade or more.
that probably was one of your first games.
Yes.
That could have been it. Osgore said, and shout out to Osgore, it's coming up on year 3 of his rare disease day.
That's happening soon?
Yeah.
Yep. So
I think I saw something on Instagram.
yeah, so go over there on Osgore's page and kind of learn a little bit about that. So he had said 1995, someone gifted little Osgore Catan.
Oh,
And he
cute
fell in
little
love with it.
Osgore.
Yep.
I
So
want
let
to
me
see
get
a little
over.
baby Osgore.
Let me get over to Facebook, which again usually kicks me out when I get over there, and it did. To just a few more people. So Brian Stever.
Sure.
Stever.
Brian-
Stever.
Stever.
I would say Stever.
Stever.
Yeah. So Brian said he was
Stever.
invited to a game night to play Munchkin and had a blast,
Ooh, unfortunately.
which we would not, but you
Nope,
did.
we
And
wouldn't.
that's awesome.
That's awesome
Yeah.
that
A
you
couple
did.
years later, invited to the same game night, probably with people to play Catan, and then
The rest
kind of
was
hooked from
history.
there. Got into watching some board games on YouTube and watching Tabletop, which you mentions the Will Wheaton series.
That's actually a great thing that we haven't talked about in a while. That was a lot of people's
yeah,
Introduction.
YouTube series introduction to board games.
yeah, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
Pamela Bloom says my husband drugged me into it, so that's good. Peter Rigg says I've always been a nerd and I loved games, but as I got older and started to have kids, I started to want to play more board games with them. Also introduced and played a lot of like Stratego growing up.
Great game.
Yeah.
And it was the Castles of Mad King Ludwig that really
hooked
kind of
him.
like hooked him.
That's a great
kinda
game.
cool.
Yeah, that is.
That's a great game.
That is
Yeah.
cool. That's what got him into it.
Yeah. What else we got here? We got Brian Lyles. He was captured by Somalia pirates and held for ransom. In captivity over the last 2 years, he had he liked to kill time by playing Munchkin. Eventually, they started forcing me to play, so I won. Unfortunately, the more I won, the more I got beaten.
Yeah.
So I learned how to lose convincingly.
That's 100% true.
Yeah.
Right.
Brian Beach said, when I was a kid, I had he had Mousetrap, Aggravation, Torpedo
Same.
Run,
Yeah.
those
Mousetrap.
kind of cool games.
I don't think I ever played Mousetrap. I was just set it up.
Okay.
That Rube Goldberg
Yeah.
thing. It was just
Yeah.
fun to
Yeah.
watch it go.
And he had a friend, Dan, who had this catapult game where we would fling red marbles over the floor.
Sweet.
Okay.
That sounds fun.
Loved playing games, and he could rarely get his brothers to play. So, so him and he tried to, and then his brother Aaron would play some games with him. And then the love affair started until maybe 10 years ago, and then the gaming really like took over his life.
Yep.
Like it was
Yeah.
like slow start, and then it just kind of did it.
Yeah. Now he's ensconced.
Matthew Lawrence again. These are very like similar into just kind of like the slow of like, let me see these games. And
Yeah.
and a lot of people grew up playing games like Matthew Lawrence of playing Risk and Payday, Monopoly, Scrabble, and it just really grew from there as he started to collect them and play with like friend groups from high school. Christopher Preston says a friend started bringing games over in 2015 and making us play, and got hooked on Terraforming Mars. He's like,
wow.
I was so confused for 3 hours, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I bet.
And
So
he wanted
he's
more.
younger into the hobby then. If Terraforming Mars was what got him in.
He said 2015.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cathal said he was just kind of like hanging out with people who were talking about board games and he really had no interest in it. And then he agreed to try a couple out. And again, the obsession it got him.
Yeah.
Did he say what games?
No, not really. Just
Okay.
kind of,
Yeah,
I don't
just
know,
like-
it's an
yep.
aura.
Funny, like there's this whole pattern, like you said. Like I feel like either somebody
Like you accidentally got into it?
introduces you to a game, and either you're like, "Fuck yes, give me more," or you're probably like, "Eh, it was all right," and
That
then
was
you're
fine.
not in the game.
I'll still just play party.
the game
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ben Kennard said in 2011 got invited to a game night, didn't go because he had a little baby.
A little baby named Olivia.
A
Yep.
baby.
But he eventually went to their BGG profile, ended up looking at the rankings list and bought number 1 through the ages and number 2 Agricola.
Ooh.
And they played the
Some
shit
good
out
games.
of Agricola.
Yeah, they did.
So that was him. And then they do they still have that original copy of Agricola?
I don't think so.
Or has it been
I think they got rid of it.
No.
Micah Mills got hooked with King of Tokyo. So they went to an FLGS and
That's a great fucking game.
bought King of Tokyo.
Especially when you're first getting into the
Yeah.
hobby.
Yeah, bought Dominion and again, obsessed.
Yeah.
Right? not everybody can just buy Kalis to start with.
Right. That's a little intense.
I'm surprised that didn't completely turn me off to board games, to be honest with you, because I played that and I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on.
Right.
And Bill just destroyed everybody.
Yeah. Until that one time.
Yeah, until that one time. Yeah, that's right.
Jared Reeves has a game that Ryan really loved called Last Night on Earth.
It's a great game.
That I think he might have kickstarted it.
Whoa. No, that was not Kickstarter.
No, okay, sorry. It said it kickstarted his interest.
Yeah, right.
Oh, okay.
So he liked the zombie games at first and exploring sort of the zombie movies, and that was sort of like his fad. So he went and got Last Night on Earth, and that really blew his
I've
mind
never
with
heard of
Catan and
that.
Carcassonne.
It's a cool game. It's not, I mean, it's like.
You would know the cover.
Really?
Yeah,
Because I
think
feel
you
like,
would.
I mean, I've heard you talk about your early gaming life a lot, and I remember everything you said earlier, except Last Night on
The
Earth.
very first time I
don't
ever
remember
went
that.
to a local, so my first game I got was Carcassonne, right? But that was from Bill's Cool Stuff board. Then I went to RIW back, Jeff, it was probably 2 locations ago for RIW. And the first game that I bought, I just asked a guy at the store, I was like, hey, I'm brand new, I have Carcassonne, what do you recommend? And he handed me Last Night on Earth, and I bought it, and we played the shit out of it.
That's cool. 2 more. Zach on Facebook says he got Game of Thrones 2nd edition as a joke. As a joke. I don't know if he read the books maybe or was into it. And they're like,
Yeah,
here's
look,
this
there's a
board
board game.
And then he's like, I fucking love it.
Yeah, like the game's great.
Which is awesome.
Joke's
and then
on you.
Michael Vanoy, like we talked about, started watching Will Wheaton's Tabletop on YouTube. And he's like, I don't know if I necessarily like Will Wheaton, but he owes a lot to him.
Same.
For
That's cool.
There was a
board
lot
game
of
industry.
he did Small World on there. He did the Resistance. I remember.
Yeah, and again, whatever you think of it, that was a great series to
It was
watch.
so
he had personality.
good.
The people on the show were amazing. A couple of them really hot, and it was just
really hot. Dibs.
Did we say we like fucking? And
Dibs.
so yeah, that was. I know it's a lot of that felt like similar stories, but it was cool. I liked reading.
I like hearing
everyone's
that.
stories and just hearing how people.
I
got
like
into this
having
craziness.
heartwarming stuff like that on the show to find out why and how people got into the hobby. I don't know. It's really fun for me, I think. So, you guys ready for this?
No fucking way. No fucking way. No fucking way.
That's right, you guys. We're back again with the No Fucking Way segment from last episode. And I've got some more topics I want to engage your brains in to see if you agree with what I say. In which case, you give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. If you're neutral on what I say, then you'll give me a, well, I can see that.
I can see that. Nah, I can see that.
And if you disagree strongly with what I say, I want you to hit me with the no fucking way.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. Okay, so here we go.
Just
you guys
like
ready?
a hype man right now.
Hell yeah, hype me up, baby. You could, I could stand to have that from you once in a while, Natalie.
Hello. Help.
That's what we
I
do.
don't wanna be the
We're
third
gassing
wheel.
each other up. I was actually telling Sam McMeeple this the other day. I was like, dude, I'm really proud of you for your game, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I was like, I'm not one of me and my group, we're not those friends who just break your balls and are assholes like a lot of people are. We are the gas you up type of friends. That's the group that we get.
Yeah.
He was just kind of like, I'm going to have to get used to that because my friends are not like that.
Really?
All right, here we go. Number 1. Games are relying too much on artwork to be successful nowadays. You guys can jump in at any point.
This
Doesn't
is
matter.
the one.
Oh, real quick before I continue.
Go ahead.
These are not necessary. This is not my thought. I'm not giving you my thoughts, and you're
Right, you're
agreeing
just
with
making
me.
a statement.
Right.
I'm just making a statement that
Yeah.
I'm also going to give my opinion on.
Right.
Okay, so number 1, games are relying too much on artwork to be successful nowadays. Natalie, you had a thought.
This is the only one where I was like flip flopping between 2
You're a flip-flopper.
responses. It was either I can see that or no fucking way.
Okay.
Because it's the word relying that got me.
Okay.
I don't think that they're relying on artwork to what was the sentence?
To be successful.
To be successful.
The idea there is the game might not be as successful if the art wasn't amazing, right? So I guess it's essentially saying artwork over mechanisms.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Okay.
I think I'd say no fucking way.
No.
No, yeah, you gotta hit it.
Sorry, no fucking way.
Okay.
Because while I think that people are using maybe artwork to like grab people's attention,
Yep.
I don't necessarily think that a game would ever just be successful because of the artwork. And because of that, I don't think the statement is something I agree with.
So you have talked yourself into fully on board with no
I think
fucking
so.
way as you've gone through that.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with I can see that.
Okay.
I also don't fault the games because I think that idea that you need to have artwork or need to have something is being pushed by our community.
Yeah.
The board game community is saying, if I'm going to look at your game on the shelf, it better be pretty looking.
Yep.
Just not always, not all the time.
Yeah.
But just like when you walk into a board game store or you're looking at covers on Board Game Geek, or you are going to click on the ones that are more attractive to your eyes than others.
Yeah.
And whether
So do you think
I
it's
don't
just a
want-
marketing technique?
Yeah.
Not necessarily a reliance on.
But I think, I think games that look better will trick you into making you think that they are better games
Yeah.
when they're not.
Okay, so this is why you're more neutral on it.
Yeah.
But I also think that like if a game comes out and people are like starting to buy it because of the artwork and then you're not really hearing about it or people aren't, like raving about it, then it's not going to hit that success level maybe unless the game is actually good just because it was purchased because of art.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm kind of I can see that skewing maybe a little bit more towards hell yeah, to be honest.
Oh,
with you.
snap.
What I think about it is it's going to kind of dovetail into the second one here in a minute that I'm going to say. But I think the market of board games is so flooded. And Jeff, I think this is kind of what you were getting at. I think the market is so flooded with games that in order to stand out for sales, right? You got to look as good as you play. So while maybe Natalie's right that they're not necessarily relying on artwork over mechanisms, I do think a lot of times game companies are relying on artwork to get their foot in the door.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So there could be a game that's like, look, this is not the Castles of Burgundy, but we got to look fucking crazy good because we're not gonna get by on our Castles of Burgundy gameplay. We need you to look at us to even give us a shot. Mm-hmm. I feel that way as a podcast sometimes. Mm-hmm. I'm like, look at us. How do we get you to look at us?
Right,
I think
maybe
we're
if
really
you give
good,
us a try,
but you
you'd
don't
like
know
us.
us.
Did
Yeah,
you hear our poetry?
yeah.
Fuck shit.
Yeah. Haven't you heard it?
Have you not heard?
Come
fuck,
on.
shit. Yeah. So I do feel like. Yeah, this doesn't necessarily mean to me that that the games suck and that their artwork is the only thing selling the game is their artwork. But I think I might even go to hell yeah. That I think games are relying on artwork to be successful, and I think it's a bummer. And the reason I think it's a bummer is because of number 2, which might kind of give away my number 2. Do you guys have any other thoughts on the first one before we move on?
You can go, I think.
Number 2, and I'm not necessarily agreeing with this, but what do you think about this one? Crowdfunding, Kickstarter, GameFound is bad for the hobby.
I'm going to say no fucking way.
No fucking way. Can you expand?
No.
Natalie, what do you think?
I think so. Not bad. It's not bad for the hobby at all. Is it annoying? Yeah.
Why?
It's annoying because sometimes you want games right now.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
But in a hobby that is as small as we are, and with the margins of razor thinness,
yeah.
it is difficult to mass produce a game not knowing how it's going to sell and all that kind of. Kickstarter gives people an idea of how is your game going to do and front loads something that could be an incredible idea. Everyone in the hobby, for the most part, most people in the hobby have kickstarted a game that is still in their collection that they love. That game would not have been produced if it was not for Kickstarter, because you take these giant companies, you take Asmodee, and you take now these Hachette and these places that are swallowing up these companies, for better or worse, and they don't want your game. They have their team, but if you can kickstart a game and you can make a little bit of a name for yourself, and you can be the Sam McMeeple of the world, or you can be Isaac Childress, who was like, I'm going to make this fucking big-ass game. And do that, like, I imagine the hobby without Kickstarter, how much less
You think it's worse?
we would have.
Worse off.
Yeah.
I agree with you where we would have much less. Absolutely. I don't know if I agree that we're better off with it. I think I'm in the I can see that camp for this one. I think to what you said about kickstarting games, I think I've kickstarted God, I don't want to say. I'm not going to say how many I've kickstarted. I think I probably have less than 5% of the games that I kickstarted still in my collection. So my kind of thing on this is I think Sturgeon's law applies here, and I think 90% of everything is shit, and I think most of the games that are on Kickstarter shouldn't be, and maybe a lot of those don't fund, but maybe a lot of those do. And maybe those games that funded that just are really mediocre wouldn't have made it to a publisher, and we never would have saw them. And then now they're not flooding our hobby and, noising up and making it so games have to be the most beautiful looking games ever to get a shot. Because everybody that can does. And maybe you shouldn't. Even if you can do it, maybe you shouldn't do it. Maybe not everybody's as awesome as Sam McMeeple and Matt Cousineau, and they're making really cool games. But there's a lot of games I've gotten where I'm like, this sucks. This sucked. There's a game that I'm not going to say the game that we played not that long ago, and I was like, this isn't very good.
Yeah.
And that might successfully fund, and it's like, dang it. I mean, it's not like it's a big deal. Like, oh, now our hobby's worse because that game exists. But it's also kind of like, well, that's just flooding the market here. And now I don't know if the hobby if it's bad for the hobby, because I agree with Jeff, where I think that for people like Sam McMeeple and maybe Matt Cousineau, this is what Kickstarter's for.
Right.
It's for the little guy. But then you get companies like Simon, who basically use it as a pre-order system.
Yeah, Queen as well.
Yeah, Queen as well. And so now you get people rare chasing for these stretch goals that get pissed off, and then they get butthurt when the company that does this sells the games at a convention before their backers get it, or you find out the backers didn't really get it for much of a discount, and
not
everyone's
every company
butthurt about
can be
it.
Stonemaier, right? Stonemaier used Kickstarter to perfection,
And now they don't use it anymore.
But now they don't use it because they have the money. So like when they announced Wormspan, that boat was like already on the fucking docks.
Yeah.
They announced it, and then people were like, "Oh my god!"
They
and then
always
you could buy
do
it
that, and then you
instantly.
get it right away.
And
I love that
Obviously,
model.
that might be a perfect scenario,
Yeah.
right? Where it's like, "Hey, we announced a game; it's gonna be available next week. Here it is." And I definitely understand the point of like flooded.
The abuse, I think, sucks, and then and then the amount of crap that exists that just wouldn't is also a lot and massive. But I don't think I would go as far to say hell yeah. I don't think it's bad for the hobby. I'm more in your camp, Jeff. I think, but I think I'm a little bit to the right of you. So I think I'll say I can see that. What about you, Natalie? Do you have any thoughts on crowdfunding?
I mean, I'll say I can see that, but like this is the one where I don't really have much of an opinion on it, because I'm not the one kickstarting games or anything, so I don't really know. I just know high level what I know about it, and to me, it doesn't seem bad for the hobby.
Sure.
I mean, I can see your points, how there can be some negative, points to that stuff. But I think more than that, I feel like it's good for, people, for the opportunities that people have to put their games out there where they might
Totally agree.
not be able to otherwise.
Sure. Any other thoughts before we move on, Jeff?
I think that's
all
good.
right. We're going to do a couple that I actually posited to the Discord community. So if you are looking to get into a community, a board game community, and you listen to our show and you've heard our commercial, you probably fast forwarded through it. But if you have fast forwarded through it, you might not know that we have a Discord. And I really, truly am very proud of our Discord community. If you go to the Gamecasters Instagram page, there's a link tree that you'll find there. You can get involved in the Discord, and you can get involved there. We have a ton of channels in there with a bunch of different ways to engage. We have people who literally only go and engage in the Painting Minis channel. There's people who only talk in there, right? And you can do stuff like that. You can just come in and be like, all I want to talk about is what I've been playing lately.
We don't even just
There's
have
a channel
board
for that.
game stuff. We have food, books, TV shows, like.
There's a ton of different ways to engage, and one way that we just made was we have a No Fucking Way channel now. No fucking way. So I'm making polls in there, and I'm positing questions that the community can get involved in and engage with. And there's 2 questions here that I'm going to read that came directly from there, and I'm really interested to hear Jeff and Natalie's opinions on these ones, because we don't really involve ourselves as much in there. We'll vote maybe, but I like seeing everyone else's thought process, on what these are. But I want to ask these to you guys now, and so for everyone listening who's not in the Discord can hear. So number 3 is the BGG Top 100 is a good representation of the best games the hobby has to offer. What do you guys think about that?
Natalie, what do you think?
I think I can see that. I mean, okay. How do I say this? I think the top 100 games is probably a good indicator of the best games in the hobby.
Well, then you're not going to say hell yeah?
Overall, like, while I can see that
Real
maybe
neutral today,
maybe
Natalie.
not all of my yeah. I have other ones too, but I can see like maybe not like all of my favorite games are in the top 100, but like a lot of games I really like are in the top 100, but that's just me. And I know my tastes differ from a lot of other people's. And so my opinion is kind of like, I think the top 100 is probably a decent picture of the best board games generally overall for all tastes in all the people's taste in board games. I don't know. Does
So
that
you're
make sense?
waffling on the fence of I can see that for this one? Or are you bumping it up to hell yeah?
No, I'm saying I can see that.
That's what I said.
Oh.
So you're sitting right on the fence with I can see
I
that?
thought you said waffling. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that meant like going back and forth.
Like a waffle.
Like you're-
like a Belgian waffle.
Yeah, I meant like fence sitting. You're sitting on the fence.
Oh,
Between hell yeah and
Got it.
no fucking way.
yes.
All right, we got there. Jeff, do you have
all-
thoughts?
I already said it. That's what I said.
For
at the
all-
beginning.
I know,
I'm
the
just
same
saying, I wasn't sure if you talked yourself into hell
no,
yeah.
no.
For
I didn't
all of
talk
the same
myself
reasons
into
that Natalie just said, I'm going to say hell yeah and just make a stance.
Okay, let's hear it.
Okay, it is not, are these your favorite games?
Right.
Right.
They are not. Are some of them my favorite games? Yeah. If you look at this list and you look at the top 100 games, these games are fucking great.
Yeah, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you look at games and like to Natalie's point, I guarantee, okay, almost. If you look at the top 100, there is at least one game in there that is one of your top 3 games of all time, 4 games of all time. And to universally say that and be like, here's a list of 100 games that are in the vast majority of board gamers' top 10.
Yeah.
That's a pretty damn good representation of what is great in the
Yes.
hobby. So games as far as like, you go, all right, you have Twilight Imperium. I don't want to play that game every day.
No.
That people are like,
But tons of people
that is
do.
I'm glad it's represented.
That's board
Yeah,
games.
I'm glad it's represented.
All of them should be
Whereas Birmingham
represented.
Pandemic, I don't want to play Pandemic for a completely different reason of Twilight Imperium, but how many people just said that Pandemic got them into
Exactly.
board game? You have
And it was
co-op games like
number
Spirit
one.
Island. That game's fucking hard.
How many people do we know that got mad at us last episode for saying Brass wasn't that good?
Right.
Right? They
Yeah.
love so that.
And then you can go and you can play a game like Twilight Struggle from 20 years ago, which that's a 2-player game about the Cold fucking War.
Yep.
You know, like Seven Wonders Duel. You have Wingspan, which brought in how many? That's like a modern day Carcassonne, right?
Yeah.
Very true.
Or you can get like deep. You play a game like Root, right? You can play a game like Mage Knight. Too Many Boners. All these games. Or again, you're sitting around a game night and you play The Crew, which is number 36.
Wow.
Wow.
Right? How do you want? You can get people into the hobby. I think in any scenario where you're wanting to play board games, you can find a game that would fit that need in the top 100, which would be why I'd say hell yeah to that it's the best representation of a good representation, not the best, a good representation of the best games in our
We are 2 horses in harness. Ooh, Jeff. I am in lockstep with literally everything you said. Hell yeah to this one. I absolutely think the BGG Top 100 is a good representation of the best board games the hobby has to offer. Agreed with you 100% that these are not necessarily my favorite. Some of them are, but I don't think. I think honestly, Kristen Haymarket said it in the Discord, and he said, you go to the top 100. These are generally. I mean, and it makes sense because they're the top 100. Like most people, if you want to get a sense of what the best games are, you go to the top 100 because these are the games that most people agree are very, very good.
Yeah.
And so I think the top 100 list does have its issues. There's definitely issues of Cult of the New. Some Cult of the New games sneak in there a lot, and it's like, really? Is that one of the
Yeah.
best games of all time? But I do think overall there's a lot of tried and
Yeah.
trues in there that if you go there, if you've never been into the hobby before and you take a look at the top 100, like
You'll
you said,
find something
you'll find
you'll
something
like.
that's going to be great. There's a myriad of different possibilities and things in there. It's a very good representation of the best games.
It's 100 games. So even like in the Discord, some people had, like you said, had some problems with the way that things get rated or whatever the process is. But there's 100 games. Not all of them are going to
Yeah.
have that. So
If
you're
you'd have
still
said-
going to find something in those 100 games.
If you just said 10, the top 10, I
Yeah,
would have been
then
like,
maybe
no
it's
fucking
a
way.
different
no fucking
story.
way.
But
yeah.
when you expand that into 100, to think about The Crew being a top 100 game's great.
It's great.
And because the top 100 is not just full of barrages and
Yeah,
Great Western
like
Trails,
heavy,
right? It's not all full of that.
strategic,
So
All right. You guys have anything else on that one?
Nah.
All right. The next one from the Discord as well. TV shows have surpassed movies.
hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Okay, I think we're all hell yeah on this
Really?
one. Well, I'd like to know why, though. Jeff, I'd like to hear from you first, actually.
Hell
Why,
yeah.
why is this hell yeah?
Hell yeah, because.
Okay, Natalie, what about you?
Yeah,
All right.
that's it, because.
Hell yeah, because.
I think I want to trace it back at some point to when TV shows got to a point where they were not just telling individual stories every episode, and they somehow like honed it
Yeah.
in and were like, we're gonna make 12 episodes and it's gonna be fucking
Streaming.
great.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was like Breaking Bad or it was something where
yeah.
Yeah.
they started to tell like just really good overarching stories and not time filling.
Yeah, no, you think of Breaking Bad, you think of The Sopranos, you think of The Wire.
Yeah. And then you go into like now there's I think so many streaming places. So many people making good television shows. That's all I want to watch. I would much rather for some reason I would rather watch something that's 7 hours over 7 episodes than watch a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
I think it's
You can do more. You can tell more
yeah.
of a story.
I don't know. That's all I got.
You can expand more. There's more you can, like a 3-hour movie, 2-hour movie, they can be amazing. And I have there's some of my favorite movies are like, I want to watch them all the time.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree that like, we just watched Boy Swallows Universe. It was only 7 episodes. I was like, I loved that so much. If I saw that condensed into a movie, I feel like they wouldn't have enough time.
Yeah, you get more time. And that leads to also
Yep.
like, God, that's too long. Like that went one episode too long. That went too, but I'd rather them fully tell a story and waste my little bit of time than not tell it well enough.
The production values are almost the same now.
Yeah.
Really?
You know, so it's like, and then the actors. Before it was like you wouldn't get movie star quality actors in TV shows,
Right, 'cause they were
and
making
now
more-
you
yeah.
do. Now you get like we just watched The Crowded Room with Tom Holland.
Oh
You know,
my
and
gosh,
it's
yeah.
like that was a great fucking show,
Yeah.
and it had an A-list star,
Yeah.
an A-list celebrity.
Most of them do now. When you go over to HBO and you watch like, there's a show. I think it's Big Little Liar, or Big Little Lies
Yep.
or something,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
How many fucking movie stars are in that thing?
Really?
Oh my gosh. Nicole Kidman, Reese Witherspoon, Laura Dern,
Reese
Zoe
Witherspoon?
Kravitz.
It's loaded.
Yeah.
Really?
There's tons of people.
That girl from Divergent. What the hell's her name?
Ooh, yeah, Shailene Woodley.
Yep,
Yeah.
she's in it.
Oh, damn it! Fuck. It's like load like those shows
Adam
that
Scott's
get
in it.
yeah those
Awesome.
shows that get these like mini series type of things. They
Yeah.
pull in these big actors, I think, because they can get money. Right, the
Plus,
money's there.
because there are so many different streaming services, there's so many options available to you, and
Yes.
they're all good. We just
yeah.
watched Boy Swallows Universe. We might have never heard of that ever, and we never would have watched it and known it existed, and it's out there being incredible. We would have watched something else, and it's also just as incredible. And you can probably say that about movies too, but I feel like there's just not... The crop of movies that's out and available to watch nowadays is not the same. Now, don't get me wrong. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, I think is my favorite movie of all time, and that just came out last year.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like my reasoning is, I mean, I agree with all the stuff you guys said. There's so many quality, extreme quality shows out there that you can watch, and you know, when you find something you like, you can spend more time with it because of the show.
Yep.
All of that. But another point is, I feel like there's just no movies anymore. I feel
that way too.
Like there, first of all, movies used to come out like crazy, and I would want to see them all. And nothing comes out anymore, because like I'm looking all the time, because I'm like in the back of my mind, I'm like, what's something we can do?
let's go to the movies.
And
'Cause
I
that
look
is
and
fun.
I'm like, I'm not interested in any of this. Or I want something for the kids. And I feel like kids movies used to pop out like crazy. And now it's like one kid movie comes out, the kids see it, nothing good comes out again for kids for like 2 months. And I'm like, oh, really? Like that long in between?
Right.
And I mean, mostly it's more just like there's no movies coming out that I'm interested in, or it's always just like repeat stuff like another one of these, a remake of this, you
Yeah.
know? And then And then I have watched some movies not at the theater that just come out, on streaming services too. And like, they're just all right. Like I've actually watched several movies in the last couple weeks by myself. And it's just like it's like, okay, there's an hour and a half. Like, oh yeah, that was fine. But like 0 of them where I'm like, wow, that was a great movie. Yeah. Like I loved that. I was kind of like, all right, well, that was entertaining for an hour and a half.
What was that movie we just watched that I didn't really like? The Apocalypse one.
Oh, yeah, the one with Julia Roberts.
It was okay.
Yeah.
But it's like, man, there's so many shows I watch where I'm like, oh my God, I love that fucking show. Yeah. Anything else on that? I think we're all hell yeahs on that. Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on. Yes. Board gaming is now considered to be mainstream.
Natalie?
I say no fucking way.
No fucking way.
I say no fucking way.
Oh, you do? 2 no fucking ways?
Yeah, no fucking way. I just Googled some stuff. Okay, the board game industry, I think Natalie said this a few episodes ago, made $15 billion last year.
Multi-billion-dollar industry.
The video game industry made $180 billion.
Oh!
There is a projection for board games in the year 2030, so 6 years from now, to about double to $35 billion.
Wow.
Still not even fucking close.
Nope.
To video games. And if you want to think of like a hobby to be like, you can't compare board games to video games. Yes, you fucking can. Okay? They're both nerds. You're both in a hobby. You're both taking time to play a game and to do something.
Yep, I see what you're saying.
You're spending money on a thing that you do at your house, right? Yeah. Those industries have to be comparable. Okay. There's no fucking way that board games
What do you think
are going
board
to reach
games
video game
would
level.
have to do to be considered mainstream money-wise then? If $30 million, $35 million is not considered mainstream, what? Because like obviously video games are beyond mainstream, right?
Correct.
So
maybe,
like what would they have to get up to?
I think I would have to walk into a place of 100 people, let's say, and if I said like a, trying to think of like a niche, like Skyrim.
Yeah.
I bet 60% of those people would know that. Versus if I walked in and said terraforming Mars, 25 would know that.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I would say you'd have to reach a point where if I said a name of a game that is like in the hobby, people would have to know about it.
I thought the same thing. You kind of like you have a group of people and there's a certain percentage. Maybe it's 50, maybe it's above 50% know or have played this. Then yeah, that's mainstream.
I think there is a sharp. Go ahead.
Yeah, just that they even know about this stuff, and like because like I could see like going in a room and like you say a video game name and like maybe not everyone's played it, but they probably have heard of it or know someone that's played it, and I don't think it's like that with board games to that percentage. I mean, 50%, right? I mean that's pretty mainstream. Like half the people know about this or know somebody who plays it.
I think there's a sharp drop off after the popular games. So if I said like a popular video game, if I was like, everyone knows Mario.
Yeah.
Right? Just like everyone knows Monopoly.
Yeah.
Right.
I think I can name a lot more board games that people would say, yeah, I know that. I've heard of that. Versus as soon as I hit a point in board games, people are going to be like, I don't know what the fuck that means.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what it would take, but I don't necessarily know if I want it to be that. I don't know. With the expansion of Target, I think that's been huge.
Agreed.
Over the last
That
10
was
years.
the point I was about
Is
to
it
make.
More mainstream than it was 10 years ago?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
I
Again,
think
that
it's
was the
more
point I was about to
popular
make as
than
well.
it was, but I wouldn't call it mainstream.
Yes. I think I agree with both
You know
of
what
guys.
I would compare it to?
Yeah.
I'd compare it to like the music we like. That's not mainstream. It's very popular.
You mean Stomp and Holler?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's very popular. And I think it's amazing, but that is not mainstream. I feel like most people have not heard of the bands we like. I feel like, they don't know those songs.
They don't know those songs.
That's not mainstream, but they are very popular and successful, but not like the mainstream artists
Got
are.
it. Yeah. Okay. You guys have swayed me a little bit. I was more in I can see that territory. I wasn't hell yeah. I was more like in I can see that. I think you guys have kind of
I like just making a
convinced me.
stance.
Yeah, I do too. I like you making a stance too. I think you've convinced me to go into the no fucking way camp because I was mostly looking at this from but think of what it was 10 years ago to what it is now. And I think maybe that's the wrong way to look at it. I do think that it is more mainstream.
Oh, yeah, I agree.
And if 2030 it doubles, that would be wow, holy cow.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But like his point, even if it doubles, it's
even
still
if it doubles,
nowhere
it's still a
close to something
fraction of
mainstream.
what is that percentage of whatever video games are considered to be in 2030. I wonder. You probably didn't see what
Yeah, I
video
didn't see
games
the
are in
video game.
2030.
Yeah.
Even 35 million as a percentage of 180 million. What is the percentage there?
19%.
So yeah, that's probably not. I guess that's probably not considered. Okay. You guys have.
But you are
have
right. Video
convinced
games
me.
is beyond mainstream.
Right.
Video
right?
games
So
is more.
It's not that video games is the bar, but it's still just thinking about those as
Right. And you
comparable
can't
hobbies.
I guess even compare. Maybe this is a better comparison. We compare hobby board games to mainstream to mass market board games. Like you compare Monopoly, which everybody knows, to Brass Birmingham, the #1 game on Board Game Geek. Even those two, I still think it's no fucking way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agreed.
But you're right. But I do think it's closer than it was. The fact that they're in Target now, Barnes and Noble, all these like popular stores, a lot of people I think are just kind of passively learning about them. But I agree. I think
Yeah.
I agree with you guys. Okay, let's move on. Number 6, reading the rule book is the best way to learn a board game.
After all of my stances, I will say
You're gonna go in the middle?
I will
Go in the
say
middle.
I can see that.
Okay.
I agree.
Videos are great. Like I will watch videos when I can, when there's someone that I trust teaching it. There's a lot of teaching videos that are miserable. You start watching me like you should not be.
Yeah, this isn't
teaching
your
me
thing, man.
anything. Just go away.
Right.
Is it I would say I'm going to say I can see that. If you would say it's the most consistent way to learn a game correctly, I would say absolutely. Because again, I've watched videos and been like that.
You're getting it wrong.
That's
You're
wrong.
getting
You
it
got it
wrong.
and you're just teaching me very poorly.
Yeah.
And I would say like I'm in the middle of like I do both. There is don't know if I could name a game where I didn't read the rule book as well as watch. I couldn't tell you the last time I just watched a video to learn an entire game without opening.
Without looking at the rule book.
Yeah.
But of course you've done it the other way.
Of course, I've not watched a video and just read the rule book, especially when they're great. It's like I don't even need to watch. A
I
video.
feel like
Now, Natalie, you have not read a rule book, really.
I have. But I'm going to say I can see that only because this is something that I feel like it is entirely dependent on the person because everybody has different ways of learning that work best for them. And so you cannot say that reading the rule book's the best way to learn it. While Jeff, I agree with what he said about, reading it is probably the best way to learn it correctly. Just because you're guaranteed to like have it straight from the source, instead of like a third party or something. Mm-hmm. But as far as like, it's just generally the best way to learn the rules. I think it just depends on what works for you.
Speak for what works for you.
Yeah. Oh, for me?
Yes. This is you. This is not you opining on what other people think. This is Natalie's opinion.
For me,
who doesn't read the rule books, you get games taught to you.
Okay, for me, it is reading the rule. If I'm learning the game,
Yeah.
it's reading the rule books.
You'd rather read a rule book. You think that's better than if I teach it to you?
Oh, well, no.
Well, Natalie, that's what we're talking about. Reading the rule books is the best way to learn the game. Is it the best way to learn the game for you to read the rule book, or to watch a video, or to be taught by somebody?
Oh, well, for me, it's to be taught by you.
Then say no fucking way.
Then you say no fucking
You would
way.
rather
I
be
didn't know
taught.
it was for me. I thought it was
What?
just in general.
This is your thoughts on the thing.
That I gave my thoughts.
Ryan, what do you think?
Okay, so for me,
Well, you can't. First of all, hold on one second.
Okay.
When
Yeah.
you said the thing about the top 100, everybody was like, in general, it is the best list. Not the, for me. And
no,
now you're
that
saying
was
this
my
one.
opinion. Though I'm saying my opinion on BGG games in the top 100. I personally, Ryan James, thinks that is the best thinks that is a good representation of the best games our hobby has to offer, which is what the prompt was.
Okay.
So this is reading the rule book is the best way to learn the game, and I want to know what Natalie's opinion on that is. Not what Natalie thinks is the best for other people. Because of course it's going to be. Of course your answer will be. I can see that.
I didn't even consider that. I took
Being
it as
taught.
like you're learning. You're the one learning the game.
Right, you are the one
for
learning
your
the game,
group.
but you're learning it by me teaching it to you. That's how you're learning the game.
Okay,
I
well, I
see
guess
why
if you're
you
going to
didn't
throw
think
that in
that was
there,
it.
then sure. Then that's my favorite way.
So
Correct.
you're no fucking way?
No fucking way. What's number 7?
You're not no fucking way?
No.
So you're still what were you then?
that.
You can see
He's
that
in the middle.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I would have been hell yeah, not long ago. Lately, for some reason, Jeff, every single game I buy now, I'm like, I hope there's a video so I can watch the video. And I go to the video first. And then I'm backward to what I was before, where before I would use a video sometimes as a companion to the rule book. Now I'm backward and I use the rule book to companion the video. I learn better watching somebody like let's talk about our friend Branislav Barec or John Gets Games, or Rodney, right? Where you can see what they're doing as they're explaining it. I feel like that is the best way for me to learn is when they're explaining it and they're doing it. And I'm like, okay, I see how that works now. A lot of times I'll read the rule book. I was reading Harrow County today and I was like, they're explaining something and there's no picture to go along with what they're explaining and I'm not cementing it. And so I need that picture. So then I'll go to that's why I like to watching the video. So for me, I think I'm in no fucking way now.
Wow.
Where I wasn't. I know this is, again, crazy stance. Fucking way.
I like knowing where everything is in the rule book. At least go, like if I just watched it and then I played and you asked me a question, I'd be like, I don't even know where to look.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's why I think
having a layout
rule book
in my
is
brain,
companion to me.
I
still
would
will
be in the
open
reverse,
it.
which would put me, I think, in the middle.
Yeah, in the middle.
I do like seeing, that's extremely helpful to like see things like that.
Yeah.
But for me, if I'm watching a video, I will so easily just tune out and then miss a chunk of it. Where if I'm reading, I'm usually more focused on what I'm reading.
So you don't tune out while you're reading? I'll read like a paragraph and then I get to the end of it and I'm like, what did I just read?
I think Natalie would do exactly what I do with board. I think she would watch a video and have a rulebook in front of her. And what I do is I'll like read a part because a lot of times these videos go in order in the rulebook. And I'll read and be like, okay, this is the action about moving my wagon. And I read it and then I watch a video.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Here's the thing. Okay. And then I'm like, I'll read a little more. I'll watch a little more and catch up.
Games,
kind of.
I'll read through the whole rule book and then I'll watch a video
to cement
it to make sure I got stuff right.
And go back.
But then
and
I
pick.
also feel like I already generally know it. So if I'm like not 100% focused on this video, it's not a big deal.
Yeah. So you typically tune out more to video than you do to
100%.
reading?
Well, she's a book reader.
You are a book reader. I'm the opposite, I think. I tune out more
in general.
reading.
I tune out to listening to things. It's a problem. That's why, like, a lot of times I have trouble
listening to Ryan
on the podcast.
No, listening to audiobooks as opposed to reading them. Because, like, I cannot listen to an audiobook while I'm working because I'll just miss all of it. But if the only time I can listen to an audiobook is when I'm like doing something extremely mindless, like driving my car. Like all I'm doing is driving my car, so I can focus on listening. There's, you know what I mean?
Operating a motor vehicle.
But even then, sometimes,
I know what you
I'll
mean.
like accidentally tune out. But if I'm reading, I'm like
you're focused on what you're reading. It's
and I'm
one
into
task.
it, and
I get that.
my mind doesn't
reader.
wander as much.
I understand that conceptually. For me, it's like I'm reading, I bore myself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whereas if I'm like looking at a video and they're looking at the board, I'm engaged.
Yeah.
And when I'm reading a rule book can be as boring as it gets.
Yeah.
If you're reading a rule book, it can be like, oh God. And especially if the book is like, this is like 40 pages long. Oh my God.
Well, another thing too is, and this has happened to me a lot and I get very annoyed by it, but like if you're reading a book and I do happen to like tune out for a second or like my mind wanders, I'm just like, oops, I missed that. And then my eyes just have to move up to the last spot. But if I'm listening to an audiobook and then I'm like, fuck, I missed all that. And I'm like, what did I do? And I have to rewind it. And I don't know what place I like left off at because I wasn't paying attention,
Okay. So you landed in, I can see that.
Yep.
Jeff, you also landed in I can see that?
Yes.
Okay. And I went no fucking way. Crazy. All right. Our last one.
Okay.
Board gaming is a fad.
No fucking way.
No fucking way.
Natalie, expand on that.
Okay. No fucking way, because all of the people who are in board gaming, it's become like a lifestyle to them.
Okay.
And I don't think it's a fad. While us in particular, we were like very into it, and I feel like we are unique in the way that we've kind of like
waned.
We're still in it.
Garth.
And I think we're in the minority. Everybody just like goes into it extreme, and then even if they back out a little bit, like they're still in it.
Do you think we're in the minority, or let me posit this to you. Do you think that we are, because we've been in it for probably a little bit longer than a lot of the people that you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Do you think that we're kind of like on the
Right.
down
Well, 'cause-
slope and they haven't hit that yet and they're where we were 5 years ago?
Maybe. But I also don't think that we're not in it. I mean, we still have a freaking podcast.
That's true. We do that.
And,
friggin'
but also,
podcast.
like, I wouldn't even call it a fad. Like, I'm not like, oh, board games are out for us.
Yeah.
They're just like, we just don't play them quite as much
Yeah.
as we used to, kind of thing.
So no fucking way.
No fucking way.
All right. Jeff, what about you?
No fucking way.
No
I'd say
fucking
the
way.
same thing. Like the as a whole, it's growing, right? The whole is
Yes.
growing.
Yeah, that's a good indicator, too.
Yeah, we're looking at growth in revenue. We're looking at growth in conventions. We're looking at new conventions popping up. Come to Nerdfest.
Nerdfest
And
2024.
And we've, as board gamers, I want to say, decorated our house. We've adjusted our living space
Yeah, true.
to hold boxes, right?
Cardboard, paper.
and arrange them in a way that we like looking at or
Yeah.
moving them.
Yeah,
or,
people dedicate entire rooms for their
and I
board game
think-
collection.
I do think Ryan's right in that you guys are ebbing and flowing. But so Natalie's been in the hobby for how long? Like 6
Almost
years,
10 years.
10 years now. You've been
Yeah.
so I wonder if you had just started,
like 15 for me.
or if like your partner just got you into it, they might motivate you for another 5 years, right? Like Ryan might have hit that wall earlier if he didn't have met you,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah,
maybe
true.
you motivated him when Ryan was like, I guess I'll play Splendor. I guess I'll play
Yeah.
Kingsburg, right? All
Yeah.
these games that he might have been over, which might have got him over games earlier. Now he's kind of back
Yeah.
into it and discovering this with you, which kind of made it more important. But I don't think so. I think it's something that's going to grow, maybe not exponentially like
Yeah, but I think
Like it
you're
has
right.
been, but
It's
I
not
think it's-
like usually a fad is like it grows fast, peaks, and then there's like a downfall. But this is still growing.
Yeah.
and growing.
You're looking at like the industry as a whole.
Yeah.
You're in for growth. Yeah, I agree with you guys. No fucking way.
No fucking way.
No fucking way. I don't think it's a fad. I wonder if there's a bubble that might burst at some point, but I don't
Yeah.
necessarily think that's board games as a whole. Like there's never going to be a time, regardless of how this hobby ebbs and flows with us, Natalie. I don't think there's ever a time where we're just like, I never want to play a game again because, like you said, board gaming is out now.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We might not be.
Like I'm over board games.
We might kind of be over board games at some point in our life. I could feel like, but I don't think that necessarily means that board gaming is a fad.
Correct.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
for sure.
awesome. Do you guys have any additional thoughts on that before we wrap up our second installment of No Fucking Way?
No fucking way.
A new year is upon us, and so too another Nerdfest convention. Yes, that's right, Nerdfest is back. The second annual board gaming convention run out of Wixom, Michigan, powered by the Gamecasters. We're looking forward to seeing all of you there April 26th, 27th, and 28th to help us avoid the sophomore slump. One such reason that we were able to be successful last year was in large part to our main sponsor, the Upkeep Games. They're back sponsoring us again this year, providing us with that sweet, sweet gaming library. The Upkeep Games have 2 locations here in Michigan, one in Ann Arbor and one in Howell. Both locations are open 7 days a week and run kids events at 10 a.m. on Saturday. They buy used board games. I've taken most of my collection there to sell off, but they also buy miniatures, RPG books, and in-print TCG cards with pricing on their website, theupkeepgames.com. The Ann Arbor location has board game nights on Thursdays and serves a selection of Michigan-made adult beverages. You can also expect to see some great things back this year at Nerdfest, like the Tumblin' Dice Tournament. Twitch star Jamie Daggers will be there teaching you all how to paint those minis you can then use in Mick Dave Mick's D&D one-shot. Modern Meeple is going to be there working on some really cool Nerdfest-only type surprises, so come and meet Josh, the man behind the Gamey Susan. A couple of great designers will also be in attendance, like Matt Riddle of Motor City Gameworks. Matt Kuzina will be there showing off his hot new Kickstarter-fulfilled game, Kyperium. Sam McDavid of McDavid Publishing will be there to show off his game, Everstone, coming to Kickstarter soon. And Jeremy Pete, yes, the OG Gamecaster himself, will be in attendance introducing people to his new Fantasy Rules Light RPG system, Grit. We've got the entire building this year for Nerdfest, so we hope to make it bigger and better than ever before. There's a full bar downstairs in the hall, so if you enjoy partaking in some libations while you play games, that's available to you. We will have giveaways. My son Cameron had a great idea to use a prize wheel to give away all sorts of Gamecasters Nerdfest swag, so look for him there doing that. We're doing another charity auction that will see proceeds going to Extra Life on behalf of Jiu-Jitsu, and there's just all sorts of other fun things that will be happening at the event that you won't want to miss. So if you're interested in learning more about Nerdfest and how to get involved, head on over to eventcreate.com/Nerdfest24.
There you will find a link to registration, which is only $15 for the entire weekend of gaming. Once registered, you will get the link to all the events you can sign up for, and most of them are completely free. Once again, that's eventcreate.com/nerdfest24. We cannot wait to see each and every one of you there April 26th, 27th, and 28th in Wixom, Michigan for Nerdfest 2024. For today's game of the episode, our own Jeff the Mad Board Gamer is going to take it away. So, Jeff, take it away.
We're going to play What's in the Box?
What's in the box?
What's in the... We need a dinger.
We do. Okay.
Dingers.
Get those fingers.
What's in the box? Okay, so in this game, I'm going to tell you what's in the box, which is basically the content list of what is in this game box. And the two of you are going to ding in when you believe you know the answer.
What's in the box? Okay.
I have maybe started with, let's say there's a list of 10 things that are in the box.
Yep.
I've started with things that you might not know.
Right, there's
Sure.
like
And then it
general.
gets a little
Progressively
easier as
easier?
it goes. Yep, I
Okay.
have 10 of these.
Okay.
So I'm assuming I'll have to keep score.
If you would.
And
I don't have anything in front of me.
I mean, I can if you want.
I instinctively wrote N and J for Natalie. Okay, here we go. The first one. 1 supply board.
A supply board, Natalie. What is it?
4 player boards. 1 linen draw bag.
Supply board. Player.
You know what I'm saying? Like a linen draw
Yeah.
bag.
Yeah.
Draw shit up. Okay. 17 family cards. 13 essential tiles. That's what they're called.
Obsession?
Obsession.
I thought that, but I'm like, what's a supply board?
Family tiles. Got it for me.
That was then, there was
cards.
14 service tiles, 14 estate tiles, 4 butlers, 4 housekeepers, 2 under butlers, 8 valets, and 13 footmen.
Ah, the Footman. Footman. What was that game that we played with the Footman? Rune Age.
Yeah, one of the rune things.
Yep.
All right, here we go. The next one, number 2.
Number 2.
60 character cards. 76. Maybe that's full
Trombones in the big parade.
76 victory point tokens.
Whoa.
Maybe 75. I don't know.
What was
why
the first
that's
thing?
six there.
Character
60
card.
character cards. 76 or 5 victory point tokens. 36 power tokens. 6 player screens. 1 card advancement bag.
Card advancement bag?
And 80 card sleeves.
Oh.
Would be 20 extra. Yeah. Ryan?
Are you gonna say it?
Yeah. I have it in my head.
Oh, boy.
No, I know what it is.
Okay.
I know the game. I'm trying to think of. I see the picture in my head is AEG.
Yep.
And it's called.
Maybe Natalie, maybe you should ding in.
Ah!
I don't know it.
Yeah, it's called.
Natalie, you love this game.
Oh my god! Ah, what's it called? I'm looking it up.
No, you can't look it up. That's cheating.
Damn it! I know it's right in my head. I can't think of what it's fucking called. So
Oh my
we'll have to move on.
goodness.
Should we come back to
Another
it?
one.
Okay, I'll give you a clue. They're the color orange and the color blue. How about that? That's the box.
Or I can maybe add like a.
No, that's it. If she
it?
doesn't know it, and I don't know. No. She doesn't
Okay,
give me
we'll
more
come back to
clues.
What? What do you mean?
We'll come back to it.
What?
He wasn't done with the list.
Yeah,
right?
he
No,
was.
I'm done.
He was
Oh,
done
you
with the
were?
fucking
80 card
yeah.
sleeves. I thought you'd get it on
He was
80
done with
card
the. Oh, I
sleeves.
got it. I just can't think of the name
Yeah.
of the goddamn. It's in my fucking head, and I can't think of it.
Wait,
Yeah, that's-
can you? Oh, dang it.
60 character cards,
Yes.
76 victory point tokens, 36 power tokens.
Custom heroes?
Yes.
Custom
God
heroes,
damn it! I couldn't
that's
think
it.
of the name.
Yeah, that's it.
Custom heroes.
All right,
I knew
next
this fucking
one.
publisher.
60 enemy cards. 1 docking bay tile.
Oh yeah.
Like that. 12 pilot cards. 3 for each player. Pilot cards. Okay. 6 double-sided battle zone tiles. 28 ship discs. 1 thing that folds up to create a mother ship. Stop saying the word ship over and over.
This is me dinging.
Go.
This is me.
What is it?
Flip ships.
Flip ship.
I was like, if you say it so I can say it.
Dr.
you
Flip
don't know.
ships. You knew it.
I did it.
All right. Ready for the next one?
That's it.
Number
Let's go.
something.
I really am it's really 3-0, Natalie. I got custom heroes.
You didn't say it.
I know.
You wanted to Google it.
Google it.
Well, because I knew it. It's like I knew the game. I even knew the publisher. I'm like, it's an AEG. I can't think of the fucking title.
Just give me one.
Number 4.
You'll get the rest. You'll get the rest.
20 betting tickets. 40 finish cards, 8 partnership cards, 80 Egyptian pounds. Ryan?
Camel up.
Camel up.
Oh.
Yeah.
The next ones were 5 racing dice in 5 different colors and 5 racing camels.
Sweet.
All right.
Notice I said the
number
correct
5.
name of the game,
Yes,
by the way.
It's not Camel Cup.
I think you and me
I
might be
would've-
the only
I
two
would've said
who are
no.
riding Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's not a game. Look that up on Board Game.
Yeah.
Camel Cup does not come
Camel
up.
Cup does not go anywhere.
All right, 6 player boards in 2 parts each. 50 stone resources. 48 fate cards. 72 player cards. There's 12 per person. 18 soldiers. Those are like, the soldiers are little, like, meeply looking things.
Okay.
24 blue builders, which are also like little meeply things. 24 purple servants, also little meeply things.
Builders.
24 yellow civilians, also little meeply things.
Yes.
Would
Okay.
you like me to say them again?
Is that it? That was
No,
the
I
end?
got one more,
Keep going.
but the one more is the giveaway one. I think. 200 game sheets, 2 per player.
Hadrian's Wall.
Hadrian's
Dang it.
Wall.
Yeah. Did you? Is that what you're gonna say?
Yeah. I just didn't ding fast enough.
Your dinger finger. Well, see, I use my finger a lot.
Dinger finger.
You don't finger as much as I do now.
Yeah.
I've been preparing my whole life for this.
All right, next one. 1 red die. Okay, like a dice, not like.
Yep.
like-
Yeah.
I think I know what it is.
Okay.
I'm not gonna do it yet.
Just do it.
No, I'm not gonna do it.
Do it.
No, I'm not.
Do
gonna
it.
30 plastic tokens. They're kind of see-through in 4 different colors. 1 median marker.
Oh, it's wrong.
12 dice modifier tokens. And then there's 9 of like 2 pip modifier tokens. So like the 12 dice ones are like single pip modifiers, and there's 9 2 pips.
Oh man, this seems familiar.
Oh man.
Single pip, 2 pip.
Single
Red
pip, 2
red pip, blue pip.
Red pip, blue pip. Fuck, balls.
Oh gosh.
17 planetary system tiles.
A red die.
6 claim rings in each color. Natalie?
Pulsar?
Pulsar 2849.
Nice.
Good one.
Very
good. One.
good.
4 to 2.
Nice.
All right. Here we go.
All right.
Next one. 1 project board. 1 prestige board. 4 entrance tiles.
I know that word.
4 tiles that are considered library, kitchen, and bedroom. 25 single square tiles that have different, names. Like
Sure.
It's a computer and a water thing and a something else. 36 dice, 9 in each player color. And the last one, 4 house-shaped advertising markers.
I don't have it, Natalie. I don't have it. Go again, Jeff. Go around the horn.
Say it again.
Yeah.
1 project board, 1 prestige board, 4 entrance tiles, 4 tiles that are labeled library, kitchen, and bedroom. So 4 of each of those. 4 library, 4 kitchen, 4 bedroom tiles.
People are
lar-
screaming at the.
They're large.
I know.
People are screaming.
They're giant.
like I
ones.
should
They're
know
big, They're
this.
big tiles. 25 smaller tiles, like single square tiles, in different colors.
Yeah.
36 dice. Each player starts with 7, and you can get 2 later. And then 4 house-shaped advertising markers. Ryan.
Dice Manor.
Dice Manor, the game we just played last episode.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yep. I'm
Yep,
like
it is.
advertising. I feel
Okay.
like
Yep. She didn't
Yeah.
believe you until then.
The advertising
I
of the
just forgot
house.
that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
they're called like advertising markers. I was like, I
Yeah,
need to add
that makes
house-shaped to try to.
Well, I was like, I feel like we just played something with advertising, but I couldn't
Yeah.
think of like what it was.
Yeah.
Well, and then I was like, the big tiles.
Yeah.
All right, next one. 1 board. Got it.
Ding.
47 Zen cards.
Zen card.
4, I don't know if I'm going to say this right, 4 Seshi starting tiles, which is a place of like growth. Okay.
Okay.
15 gold tiles, 4 pot tiles, 1 per player. Starting pot tiles. Natalie?
Verdant?
No.
You mean verdant?
Verdant?
And then
I was trying to think of a plant
The last
name.
one, so Natalie can't ding in.
Right.
All right, so Ryan, there's 156 bonsai tiles.
I was gonna say bonsai.
Okay, bonsai.
Yeah, I was gonna say bonsai.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. This one you might have to dig deep into your memory.
Okay.
Okay.
6 reputation markers. 1 town mat. So it's not a game board, it's a town mat.
Okay.
7 companion cards. 36 enchantment cards. 210 goods tokens.
Whoa.
It's a lot of goods tokens. I think there is like 4 or 5 different types of the goods. 28 shop cards, which go onto the town mat. Like, you know, like a neoprene mat. Nangi?
Flamecraft?
Flamecraft.
Nice.
Good
I was
job.
nowhere near it. Very good.
The next ones, I thought it was deep in our memory because we played it that one
Yeah.
time
You're right.
for a show.
You're right.
The other ones were 28 shop cards, 6 starter dragons, 36
the dragons were giving it
artisan
to me.
dragons, 36 fancy dragons.
Yes,
I got
that-
it from like
nice.
the
Good job.
shop cards.
Yeah,
shop.
good
And I
job.
was
Good
like, oh, I
job.
think that does have a mat.
So we got one more?
We have one more, and I did make a tiebreaker that we don't need, but we'll do it anyway.
Okay.
All right. 5 starter habitat tiles. Start with these habitat tiles. Okay.
Okay.
100 wildlife tokens. 25 nature tokens. This is happening in nature, if you didn't know.
Oh.
21 wildlife scoring cards. And I think they break them down into bear, elk, salmon, hawk, and fox.
Okay. Oh,
Cascadia?
Cascadia.
yep, that was what I was going to guess. Good job.
There you go.
That too.
So that would be the end of it. It was 6-4. Do you want to do the tiebreaker one for no real reason?
Yeah, let's
All
fucking
right.
do the tiebreaker.
1 year marker. 1 windmill starting marker. Like the first player token. 18 water tokens. 18 wheat tokens. 18
Wheat.
barley tokens. 15 rye tokens.
Ooh, barley and rye.
15 hops tokens.
Oh.
Beer and bread?
Yeah,
Beer and bread. And the last ones were 30 beer and bread cards.
That was good because I like that because it's hard.
Yeah.
We're always like, what?
Okay, good.
And then we get the last second.
Well, it's like
so.
hard to. I'm trying to like fill in some of the gaps to get them guessable in the middle somehow,
Yeah, for
but also
sure.
not. So hopefully the game goes over well on audio.
Fuck it if it doesn't. I don't
Who
give a shit.
cares?
I had fun.
Who cares?
Well,
Fuck all you people.
We
It was
got
fun for
100
me.
million downloads. Fuck it. Who cares?
Yeah, they're all
try to
yelling
guess
at us and
along
guessing
with
it before us. I'm sure they're going to get
Yeah.
most of them before we
Right,
did.
probably.
For the top 5 of the episode, we are going with an old throwback from way back when. And it turns out that I think a lot of you can't even get the older episodes now. It looks like the new
At
person
least
in the
on
Discord
Yeah, that's
said
crazy.
that number 42 was the earliest one or something
know,
like that.
I was like, that's a
That's a
bummer.
fucking bummer.
Yeah.
I got to see if I can do something about that. I thought that I set it up so it could go back like 500 episodes. So I don't know why that's the case. I got to look into that. However, if you were around in episode like, I don't know, like 15, something like that, we did a top 5 that was top 5 games I wish you liked more.
And that was more you and Jeremy.
It was
Right?
no.
Or
This
was
was me
it-
and Natalie.
Oh, you
this
and
was when it
Natalie.
was.
Yeah, I
This was when it was
remember
just me and Natalie
this. I don't remember what
before
we
you
put on
joined.
it.
It was a long time ago. Yeah, it was one of the first lists. So this is going to be me wishing Natalie liked more, games Natalie wished I liked more, and games Jeff wished Devin liked more.
Correct.
So why don't we start with Natalie, and we'll go Natalie, Jeff, me, and come around that way.
Sounds
Does that sound good? Natalie,
Sounds
you
good.
ready for your number 5?
I am.
Hit us with it.
Okay. I might have even put this on my last list, but my number 5 is the unlock and exit games.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know if I wasn't into them at that point.
Yeah.
Back then, that was a long
But
time
I
ago.
wish that you liked them more. I know that you're kind of over them. Every time we kind of play them, you're like, oh, I feel like I don't like how I feel when I play these games. And then you're just not excited to play them. And I want to play all of them. And so I'm kind
Yeah.
of bummed.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's been a while.
Sorry,
we
but
could
not
probably
really.
we could probably play one. I mean, yeah, we really wanted to.
You are playing. We're going through that giant
Dimensions?
book thing.
Yeah, that's cool.
So at least there's a little bit of spin-off.
Yeah.
I'm happy we're doing that. Absolutely, we gotta get the next one going. Jeff, number 5.
My number 5 is Zolkin.
Okay.
Devin, I think, played it once and really just didn't
Noped
hit
it.
with her. And I think part of that is I know that game well, and I'm not going to not play the game well or like play it suboptimally when I'm playing her, but that's a game that you can just get lost in your
Yeah.
first
Yeah.
play. And I think we played it and it didn't click, and now it just sits there and I look at it.
Yeah,
But I wish she'd liked it.
Look
and
at it
you
longingly.
love that game.
Like I
That's
would
one
play
of
the
your
game
favorite
all the
games.
time with her if she wanted.
Yeah. Oh, it's a
But
bummer.
yeah. So Zolkin's my number 5.
Okay, cool. Number 5 for me is a game we have played not that long ago, and I am really fucking bummed. I loved it so much. It's called The White Castle.
Oh yeah.
Natalie did not like that game. Natalie, why?
give it another chance.
Natalie, please. Number 4, Natalie. What's your number 4?
Okay, my number 4 again is kind of like a general type thing, but it's like
General type thing.
legacy stuff. Or like
Yeah.
games that you like, play through a whole like series of things.
Which is weird for me because I typically loved campaign games, and now I'm like, I don't want to do campaigns.
Yeah, exactly.
anymore.
And so like that's like your thing lately. Like I don't want to do campaigns. It's
my thing lately.
Oh, I kind of want to because it's like a way
think
for
it's
us to
not
play the
playing
same
something.
game over and over again. And
True.
you're like, nah, and I'm like, damn.
I'll tell you this: there's a much better chance of me wanting to play a campaign game if it's cooperative.
Yeah,
I don't know why. It just is.
Yeah,
I would so
I
much
under- I
like
see
the
that.
game we played today.
like Decorum,
Isle of Dogs or whatever that was. I would play that.
Isle of Dogs.
I would love to play that game
I wish it was that.
with you.
That's like I did not like the name of that game. When
I
you
can't
were like
remember what it
race
was.
to
What
the
was it called?
raft, and I'm like,
Race
what?
Race to the raft.
I'm like, what? That sounds
That
dumb.
makes sense.
It wasn't
I like the
dumb,
game
but the
a lot,
name's
though.
kind of dumb. Anyways, go ahead.
All right, so you wish I would play legacy stuff. Okay,
Legacy
Jeff,
campaign
what's your
stuff.
number 4?
Yeah.
My number 4 is a game Dev and I just played a few episodes ago. Like she's on my rib. Was Zhang Guo.
Oh, she didn't like it.
She didn't like it. She'll never play with me again. But man,
Ugh.
I keep thinking about that game.
Yeah.
Like, I want to fucking play it again.
Right.
The card play was
Yeah.
just so awesome. And I knew halfway through, I'm like, Devin's miserable.
You're like,
this
dang
is
it.
not.
Like, no, I gotta have all my
I'm
fun
like,
now.
Yeah, I'm having the best time.
Look at this turn. What do you think about this? And then
What
I'm like,
if,
there it is.
Like, this is nothing against Devin, but if you just did not play that game for 6 months and then you brought it out as if it was a brand new game, would she know?
Yeah, she'd know.
Ah, fuck.
She'd be like,
damn.
nope, not
She's
this
at
one.
that point now in her gaming
Yeah,
journey
yeah,
where she's
she
like,
knows.
I'm a
Put that away.
gamer, so
Yeah,
I know
put
what
it
this is. Number 4 for me is a game that really, it's kind of could be used as a system, but I'm going to zero in this game. Natalie does not like negotiating at all. She loves Bonanza, but this other game that I want to play all the time that she does not love is called Chinatown.
Yeah.
She cannot stand negotiating, and damn it, I wish she would, because this is, like you said, Jeff, this is a game I would play as all the time.
Is it good
Yeah.
at 2 players?
No.
Okay, well.
No, you probably want like 5.
But even
You know
just
what
if
I
you
mean?
lumped in like negotiation. that's,
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, right. Natalie, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is a game we played once called Twilight Inscription, and Ryan hated its guts. And I was like,
did.
I kind of
Guts.
I liked it, and then we had to get rid of it because he was
we
like,
had to.
We had to. I forced it.
well, I mean, you were like, well, I'm never gonna be interested in playing this, and I'm gonna like, fine.
Yeah, we've done
But
that
I was kind of
both
bummed
ways.
about it.
I'm sorry.
But no.
I did hate it. I remember hating it a lot. Jeff, number 3?
My number 3 is Crokinole.
Devin doesn't like Crokinole?
She just won't play it with me.
Aw,
like-
even on that board.
I know. It's just she like, and if she does, she's just playing it because I want to play it. You know what I mean? And that's not what I want.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
But luckily,
worse
that's one
sometimes.
that
Yeah.
like Jack.
It's like when we're banging, I want you to want to bang.
Yeah, I want you to want to.
You know what I
If you don't
mean?
want to fuck me, I'll still fuck you. But
I'll still do
but
it.
I don't.
But it's not
want-
as good.
It's not
Yeah,
as
like
good.
I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's one. Luckily,
I'm so
sooner
with you,
than
Jeff.
later, Jack will be able to like.
Yeah, for sure.
know, play
and,
with you.
And Pearly again, I'm good at Crokinole, and she's like, do I play
like,
left?
"You're
That's
just gonna beat
probably
me
part
every
of it.
time."
You are
Yeah.
exceptionally good at Crokinole. Yeah,
But sometimes I just like, I'm just gonna play Crokinole. Like, I
Yeah.
look at the board on the wall. I'm like, I just want to play.
I want to play this.
Right.
It's
Play it.
fun. I'm looking at it right now. I'm like, ooh, damn,
we
that does
never
sound fun.
play
We don't
it.
play it, but we don't play it because neither of us wants to. It just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't ever
Yeah.
think to grab Crokinole.
I like see it every day, and I'm never like, oh yeah, that's a game we have.
Yeah,
right.
yeah. It's because right now it's just art. Right.
Right, just hanging on the wall. All right, number 3 for me is tabletop RPGs. Good Lord, do I love playing RPGs lately. And Natalie
good one.
wants nothing to do with them, and it sucks.
I'm pretty sure I know you're 1 and 2.
The kids, I don't think you do. The kids, maybe you do. The kids love them, but it's not the same playing with the
Yeah.
kids as it is playing with adults. So that's a bummer. Natalie, what's your number 2?
Sorry.
No, you're not.
Not really.
You don't care.
My number 2 is it's Witchstone. That's a game. I know you don't like hate it or anything, but
You wish I liked it more.
Yeah, like I love it, and you're kind of like about it, and so like whenever I'm like we should play that, you're kind of like
Do you,
and then we don't.
You still
really.
have your. You still have a
Oh, yeah.
copy.
Yeah,
Okay.
we have it.
Yeah.
But
at
I
least
like it enough that I'm
But
not
we've
like,
never
I'll never
played
play
it, the 2 of us, before.
I think we have.
No, we. Are
you sure?
I'm sure.
Because I've played it 2 or 3 times, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's all with other people?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, fuck me.
I know.
All right, Jeff, number 2.
Yeah. My number 2 is Trismegistus.
Right.
It's that game just, again, it was one of those things where I knew halfway through, I'm like, this is not going well for her. But I was like, I'm having so much fucking fun.
Yeah.
and the couple times I've played it since, I've had just as much fun. And I'm like, man, I love this game. I would love Devin to love it. And she doesn't. So that's it.
Oh, man.
That's it. I know.
It's a really heavy game,
It
right?
Yeah.
is. It's
There's
a lot of moving
borderline
pieces.
too heavy, but for some reason it just kind of
Clicks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a bummer. Number 2 for me is another all-encompassing thing. I'm going to use the Resistance as it, but it's social deduction. Natalie cannot stand social deduction. And
No, she can't.
some of my most memorable and most fun gaming moments in my entire gaming journey are playing the Resistance with Jeff and Dave and that group.
So fun.
Maybe some of the most fun. There's one in particular moment I can think of. I know you know what I'm talking about, Jeff. That happened at your house back when you guys were living with your mom, and that might have been one of my favorite gaming moments of my entire time playing games. And we won't really get to relive those with Natalie, unfortunately. So that's my number 2. And there's one even more than this, if you can believe it. Natalie, what's your number 1?
My number 1 is, you might disagree, but it's Quacks.
No, I don't disagree.
That's one of my
think that's a good one.
all-time
I thought that
favorite
might be on your
games,
list.
and you're very hot and cold on it.
Yes,
and
I was
because
just gonna
of
say
that, you're
that.
like kind of nervous to play it.
Wow, you're right into my soul there.
because-
She's
Nervous, yeah.
extremely correct
Because
about
you're
that.
like, this could
wanna
go
play this
like
game?
great,
Kinda nervous.
and
Yeah.
or you could
Yeah.
be like, I'm gonna fucking throw something across the room,
I've
and
had-
so you're like nervous to play it, and I'm like, I want to play this so much.
It's that shut up and sit down thing. I've never played that game and been right in the middle. I've either been like, this is the best game I've ever played, or like, I want to burn everything
Yeah,
down
I get
to the
that.
ground.
Yep.
You're right. That's a good one, Natalie.
It's been too long since we played that.
We can play it again. Let's bust it out. Jeff, what's your number 1?
My number 1, I think you know it, but I would like to play Coinbro with Devin more. It's just I've said this on numerous shows, but Coinbro is wonderful, and the only way I get to play it is if I pick it on game night.
I feel like
Yeah.
that could be in your top 5
Probably If I
games of
played it
all
more.
time if you played it more.
Yeah.
The way that I remember you feeling in the condo when we played it after Gen Con, you were like, oh my God,
this is fucking
this
great.
is so great. Yeah, you like loved
And I
it.
think at that point, if I would play it more, I would like to see more, like expansions on the more like what are those cards are called with the people on it, right? But when I've played it, I'm like, man, this is so good, and I just loved all those decisions. It was like maybe one of the first games I saw where like you're doing worker placement, but the color of the dice is different than the pip action. There's some sort of combination of that when you draft and take things. It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
And
a
she
good
just didn't
game.
like it. Huh?
Poor me. Don't get to play
It's
it.
like a bummer of a list.
Mine for Devin is Paint the Roses.
No. Is anyone having fun?
No. No.
Sounds like you're having fun over there.
we're
No,
not.
it does not.
We're not though.
We're not,
Like,
though.
oh,
You
Devin.
misheard. Yeah.
And it's funny because I remember at that moment I was like, I didn't know that she hated it that much, and then she said that I
It
was
was
like,
hilarious.
oh shit.
So funny.
Number 1 for me, Natalie. You said you think you can guess it. What is it?
Maria,
No.
Star Wars Destiny.
No.
Okay, what is it?
I don't expect you to like those games.
Oh, okay.
So it's okay.
I thought
that
you wished
don't.
I liked Maria.
No, because even if you did, you're not going to play. That's not a 2-player game. You need 3.
Right.
Okay.
And so we'd have to like dedicate time for that. That's
and neither
fine.
is like social deduction.
Social deduction, that's true, but social deduction is so much easier to get to the table.
Yeah.
If we're like in a group, we could bust out like me, you, Frankie, and Kyle could play the Resistance.
Yeah.
It could be fun.
Okay.
You'll
What is it?
never do it. It's Lords of Vegas.
Lords of Vegas is so fun.
Lords of Vegas.
Yeah.
Lords
I mean,
of
I played
Vegas.
it.
I know.
Yeah, but again,
This
wish you
is-
liked more. is
I
the
like
list.
Witchstone, right?
Yeah, true.
I
It's
wish
like
you
a
liked
eh.
Lords of Vegas more because every time we play with some people, like Andrew and Cheyenne will come over, I'm like, oh my God, let's play Lords of Vegas. And you're like, no.
You want
Or
to
we play
be,
with Brian and Heather, I'm like, Lords of Vegas.
Yeah.
Frankie and Kyle, Lords of Vegas. They would all love this game so much.
I
And
don't
it's like,
think Frankie
no.
would like
I think she might.
I don't
Frankie
think
would
she
like
would.
Yeah, of course not.
Frankie.
Yeah. Do you guys have any honorable mentions? I have one.
I have one.
Go ahead. What was yours?
Mine is is Nucleum. I have been loving Nucleum on TTS. I've been playing it solo.
Okay.
I haven't
It
played
is. I know. We put it on the table, and you were like, "Nope,
Nope.
and so we
Double
put it
pass.
away. So
yeah, I forgot.
that's why it's not on the list technically
Yeah.
because you haven't played it yet. But you don't want to, I'm pretty sure. And I have been just having a ball.
Well,
playing.
I
it.
mean, yeah, I'll definitely give it a shot. I'll try to play it.
Oh.
I don't want to
That's-
judge it without
That's
playing
the
it.
spirit.
No, I don't want to judge it without playing it.
I gotta find it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess.
Mine is-
I'll play it.
well, I
mine
guess I
is-
married you, so I guess I'll do it.
I have to.
My honorable mention is Monikers. Because that's a game where, like, I'm always kind of like Devin, like, always, like, pumped to play it. Like, oh, we should bring this. And while Ryan, I feel like when he plays it, he does enjoy it. Every time I'm like, let's bring this, he's kind of like, really?
It's never his idea.
I
to
can
play.
tell
Yeah.
you why. I think that's the best party game that exists. the second you talk about it, I'm instantly exhausted
Yeah.
because I can't play that game and not
Be all in.
be all in. So I'm like,
You
oh
get
my God.
crazy.
I know I do. I can't help it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, every time you say it, I'm not like, I don't want to play that game. I'm just like, I'm going to get so tired. Ugh. Did you not have any, Jeff?
I had polyomino games Devin doesn't really like.
Yeah.
I don't like, they're not my absolute favorite games, but
Yeah.
like I would love to sit down and play Planet Unknown with her or
Right.
something like
Yeah.
that. That I like that, and she just doesn't like that spatial kind of thing. And I also put like roll and write games, which that might be a little
She's
bit
not a big roll and write fan?
That might be a little bit more on me. She hasn't played a ton. And I think I need to maybe introduce it to her. But sometimes when we sit down for game night with the two of us, we play like a game.
A big
Yeah.
game.
Rarely
you don't
do we sit
light
down
stuff,
and
do you?
play something quick. So maybe I need to make a more effort to be like,
Here's
let's
something
play a
quick.
What's the reason for
30-minute
that, do you
game.
think? Is it just because you're like, we're not playing at the clip we used to, so I want to get something better
I think
in?
Something
That's
quality
probably
in.
it. Yeah, where it's like, all right, if we're going to do once a week or once every other week, we want it to be a game.
I wonder if you'd play more if you did play like
Yeah, maybe we'll
littler
just try to
stuff.
do like, I'll play Explorers. That Roll and Rides takes 25 minutes. Or
cool
we
looking,
try to
too.
do this Race to the Raft thing, see if we can do that, because that's
Yeah.
nothing. So,
Right.
yeah, maybe I'll try to do that.
Sweet. That was a fun game.
So that's going to do it for us tonight, everybody. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Instagram at Gamecasters or at Mad Board Gamer. Both of those accounts service the podcast. We also have a Facebook group. Just search Gamecasters and you'll find us there. You can also email us at thegamecasterspodcast@gmail.com. If you like the show, we'd love it if you consider giving us a rating on Apple Podcasts or anywhere else you listen that allows you to rate us. We've also got a Patreon. If you want to support the show, feel free to head on over to patreon.com/thegamecasters. There's also a merch store where you can find all sorts of different Gamecasters, Mad Board Gamer, Gateway gear. So head on over to thegatewaynetwork.com/store. Please follow me and consider subscribing on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamecasters. So for Natalie and Jeff the Mad Board Gamer, I'm Ryan, and you have been listening to The Gamecasters. Good night, everybody.
Oh my goodness.
That's funny. Okay, so
that's
Natalie,
funny.
say that one more time into the mic.
Cocksucker beats up motherfucker?
Yeah.
Which one, like, who would you root for? Like the cocksucker or the motherfucker?
I think I would root for the motherfucker.
Yeah.
But he got beat up.
He did. He got
I
his ass
think a
kicked. The cocksucker beat
motherfucker
him
I
up.
like better than a cocksucker.
I don't know. I like cocksucker.
I like suckers. If we're going the literal
I think I like
term of the
cocksuckers
whole-
better than
Well,
mother.
not literal term.
Oh, not the literal term.
What about step motherfucker?
There was another onion that we used to love. I think it was
Probably waving hello.
it was like something about like couple has mind blowing validation session or something.
Yeah. They're just being nice to each other. There's one where it's like, it's about this man who saves 4 from fire.
Okay.
Why did I say it like that?
I don't
He
know.
saves 4 from a fire.
Okay.
I'm like, what?
He saves a family from a fire.
Okay.
But he's gay. Okay.
Oh.
And so the article just
this
makes
one.
passive comments to him being gay. Like it'd be like area homosexual saves 4 from fire. And then the whole article is like Ralph Jenkins, who loves to hold and kiss other men, rushed into the house to save these people. And then he's like, he collapsed on the lawn, exhausted and gay.
Right.
Isn't that funny? I think that's
Yeah,
funny.
that's funny.